Femboy Cardi. 5, 4,
Really?
3.
Really?
Oh, there you go.
Hi. So what's your opinion on the US's soft power with Gulf countries and how, like, you don't want to be the moral police, but at the same time, like, they do have slavery and like all these other horrible things. Do you just like let it be, or do you like pressure them over time?
Pressure them over time with big trade deals where you encourage them to be more moral with their labor as time goes on?
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Also, please limit Hassan discussion to like 30 minutes a day. It's like brain rotting.
The
Thank
Hassan discussion just got 30 minutes longer.
Code Anator.
Yo, what's up? Hey, I just wanted to pitch an idea talking about the stuff you've been talking about with banning social media algorithms and like For You pages. Oh, sorry, I gotta turn you way up. Basically, my main thing is that I think I don't think you have to ban it out completely. I think there's a much stronger argument that can be made for people. If you talk about repealing Section 230 protections, and because basically the argument for Section 230
Isn't this what we
is
just
that you're
watched?
saying,
Isn't this what did we just watch this yesterday? I can't. Are you trolling me or?
not well. I was gonna just give. I mean, you might agree. This was based on that, but not. The argument I was gonna give is just that the algorithms are arguably like a form of speech. It's
Yeah, I
weird
agree.
to.
This is no, I agree. Yeah, this is where the idea comes from because you're kind of sort of taking on the role of a publisher if you're algorithmically generating feeds for people. So should you have the same Section 230 protections? Probably not. And then if not, then hopefully they would change their business model.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually,
That
I
wasn't
guess to be
good,
fair to you,
'cause
actually, I didn't actually walk through that whole. I guess I assumed that, but people would understand that. That you're right. I should have vocalized that.
That's
Yeah, that's
exactly
the.
what I was thinking. Like, I didn't hear you articulate that point. A lot of what I've heard has been more like outcome oriented.
Yeah,
and more
that
talked
this would
about,
just
like,
stop
the
it. Yeah.
bad effects
But
of it.
yeah, I understand. Yeah, because the idea behind Section 230 is supposed to be that you're not held liable for user-generated content. But if you're the one who's literally picking and choosing what everybody's seeing, there's a stronger argument for you being like in editorial control of the content. Therefore, you don't get the same protections. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep, that's it. Also, I'll see you at your event in Vancouver. I got tickets.
Oh boy.
So,
All right.
see ya.
Have fun. Be careful.
Bye.
Yep. Sleepy Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe Biden.
Hello? Hello?
Wait, isn't this guy like? Are you? Hi. What's up?
I love my sister.
Okay.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah. He's that guy's like. I was gonna say that guy's like schizophrenic.
Sorry. He's a tier 5. DRT.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so question is, do you think George Bush was a bad president?
I want to say yes because of the Iraq-Afghanistan war, and the fact that you're asking me this means that you got some other reason why he wasn't. Probably related to AIDS in Africa.
No, that's
medical
basically
treatment.
it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't have a comprehensive view on George Bush's presidency. I was too young to understand all the stuff he was doing domestically at the time, and he's obviously just known for the war in the Middle East stuff, which I think was probably not great. So I don't have a strong opinion on it, but I lean towards probably not a great president.
Yeah, I agree with that, and also probably with the financial crisis as well. But the reason I'm asking you this is because recently I had like a small argument in the subreddit. I saw a lot of people, or a few people, trying to argue the opposite, that because George Bush had some good policies like PEPFAR, that suddenly makes him on the net a good person or a good president or something like that, because he supposedly saved a lot of African people. But I think this is like a false reasoning that stems from the current Trump situation where everything is bad. So I just wanted to see if you agree that
I
him
have
doing
no
some good
idea how
things.
to. I would have to weigh so much. I just don't know. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean, like, my guess would be
just
probably not a great president. Yeah.
yeah, I think just the logic that if someone does a lot of good, like saving a few million lives, doesn't absolve him of a responsibility for instance, for the war in Iraq
Yeah, I would agree
and
with
the
that.
lives lost there.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Glad we're in agreement with that. I wanted to ask you also about have you, aside from like the meme clips we sometimes see on stream about the Looksmaxxing, do you think like this might be the next red pill thing that young men? I think it's kind of heading that way, that this will be like the next fad with young men that is also getting co-opted by the right wing, and we
Is this
don't have a
really
lot of-
like that popular? I feel like it's kind of not seen as seriously, but maybe I'm just not young enough to see it being treated super seriously.
No, I think it's pretty big, especially among young people, but even older people. I mean, I have a friend who is really into it, and he's not like he's our generation, basically. So
I guess it depends
think
on what do you
it's
mean by Looksmaxxing.
like the clavicular stuff.
That means that could
around
mean so much, like in terms, like, because I like
bone
arguably,
smashing, like the
yeah, that level of shit.
surgeries,
My guess is that's like a very not common thing, but I don't know. I guess I could be wrong. I guess we'll see. But
like men looking at all kinds of TikToks and stuff, like how to improve their looks and stuff like that. And
well, sure,
getting
that's
into
again,
the
but that's what
rabbit
that's,
hole.
but that's a way different thing. Like in terms of like men becoming like more obsessed with how they appear, I think that actually has
Yeah.
the potential to become quite a big deal compared to where we've been in the past. But like that's a lot. Like the bone smashing shit is almost just from the very light engagement I've had with this topic. That's like meme tier shit. Like the real shit is like maybe even peptides is probably way at the end of it. But it's more just like you have to do everything you can in life. It's almost like a little bit of a black pill thing. Like you have to do everything you can in life to improve your physical appearance. And if you don't do this, like you're completely fucking lost and like you're hopeless and some bullshit. I guess it would be black pill if you can do things to improve your looks, but I don't know how common it is for like the peptide injections and like the bone smashing shit. I feel like that's still like super ultra fringe. That's my impression. But again, I guess I don't actually know.
I think actually the people who are actually doing it regularly is maybe kind of fringe, but these are like very visible trends. Like everyone who starts watching videos like this starts seeing everyone is talking about like the different peptides, the different regimes, the different therapies. So even if they don't do them themselves, they are like part of the discourse. So I think they're pretty popular in that way.
Okay.
And so yeah, I was wondering if this is like maybe the red pill, the next wave, similar to how the red pill spread with Andrew Tate, that and it got like political as well. Do you think that something like this is happening right now with that community?
I have no idea.
I think it might be because like we saw Clavicular hanging out with all those guys, and
Yeah, but that was like a one-time thing and it hasn't happened since, right?
yeah, but I think they do hold like a lot of like right-wing opinions, don't you think? Or
They do, but I just don't know how like politically invested all those people are going to become and everything. I don't even know if the Looksmaxxing thing is going to catch on that much.
okay, well, that was pretty much it. I wanted. Did you said the Pitt finale? You weren't happy with it. What did you expect? I think it was pretty decent, no?
I just feel like there's not much got resolved, but maybe I guess it's just it is what it is.
I think it was similar to the first season finale, and maybe more consequential because like Robbie.
Well, I
had
feel like
his,
this whole like Robbie sabbatical thing has been
Yeah.
teased for like this entire season, and we basically got like, I feel like we got like zero resolution on that.
Well, I think like him going to the baby kind of represents that he won't be killing himself. It's like because represents like the accepting the new life.
I mean, yeah, I
That's
guess like
represented
we
by
can.
the baby.
That's a perspective that we can have, but I mean, that's not very satisfying to me, I think.
And also if he killed himself, the series would probably end. So, and this was just like season 2 finale, not like the series finale.
Sure, but that's also not very
But
satisfying.
I can get why if they're teasing something and they don't pay it off, you might not like that. Okay.
Well, it's not that they're teasing something and not paying it off. It's that it's like this is kind of like some of the central subject matter of the entire season. Like he's arguably the biggest storyline, and it's arguably the most important part of his storyline. And then I feel like we were approaching kind of the climax or some kind of climactic resolution, and it feels like they didn't really do anything with it.
What would be, like, would he have to kill himself or attempt suicide to be an appropriate payoff to that, or?
You can't think of any way to resolve that plot line other than a symbolic dance he does with a baby? There's a million ways they could resolve it. I don't know, they could do it through a conversation, they could do it through some interaction with some other character. I mean, there's a million ways that they could do it. It just didn't really feel like a satisfying end to it. Like, you think that, like, you would be confident saying right now that he solved what even changed his mind on it all?
Okay, but what kind of conversation would be satisfying? Like, oh, you had a conversation. Oh, thanks, I'm not depressed anymore. Thanks, I'm cured. Your conversation. I don't think that happens.
I mean, I can't write a script for you on the spot. Anything I write is going to be cringe. And then you're going to say, oh, well, that'd be cringe. And then you're going to say that the baby dancing was the best way to resolve that. But like, it could be something as the Whitaker guy, he overhears Whitaker talking about how he was suicidal and he was going to kill himself, but he was so inspired by Dr. Robbie. And now he's like taking care of the baby and the mom or whatever. And he's like, oh, maybe my influence here matters. And I actually do need to stay around. I don't know. It could be, there's a million different ways you could do it besides him dancing with a baby and singing. I don't know. That's like not really, if I were to ask you, why did Robbie change his mind about killing himself? What would your answer be?
I don't think he resolved that part of the.
Well, if you're going to say he didn't
he
resolve it, then that means
cured.
that they didn't. Yeah, well, then they didn't do anything with it then.
No, I mean that it's not something that you can cure from one conversation or seeing one thing. It's like a gradual process, and the baby is like the first step towards like him not being like sad anymore, or like.
What change has he had from the beginning of the season to the end of the season with regards to his disposition on suicide?
So, I think for most of the season, it was getting worse and worse. And then towards the end, he saw, like, I think the last few cases and the baby, like, gave him reason to see how important he is to other people, like saving people, like when he stayed overtime to save that last patient. And if he wasn't there, they would die. Like it was part of their talk at the end with the other guy, that him acknowledging that.
I guess I completely disagree. I don't think the hospital is a good way for him to be alive. Like, I think that like one of the whole points of his depression shit is that like if you have a ton of psychological issues, one of the easy ways to push those off is at work, especially if it's a job where you're doing some kind of like social good. You can lie to yourself and bullshit yourself into saying that you're doing something good. You don't have to deal with your own issues as long as you're doing your job and you're good at your job. It indefinitely kind of staves off those worries or those fears that you don't belong or you need to kill yourself or whatever else. I think that I think is epitomized in his conversation with the biker guy, where he says like, I don't think I want to be here anymore, and then the biker guy's like, bro, like the hospital, what do you mean, we love you here, whatever. He's like, no, like this hospital gives me meaning, gives me purpose, it gives me whatever, but like outside of that, like it's just I have nothing in my life. So to say, oh no, like he figured out at the end when he saw a baby and he stayed for some patients that actually his whole life needs to just be inside the hospital, literally never resolving any of his psychological issues ever, and that's the journey, that's literally nothing, that's the first step. He hasn't moved at all since the beginning of the season.
I think it was always, this is always at thoughts with him, because if it wasn't at thoughts, he would already have killed himself. Like this is like to an angel and a demon like fighting on his shoulder. On one side, he gets high satisfaction, a higher meaning from his work, and like actual like satisfaction, not just like staving off when he's doing work. It's like
But he's already getting satisfaction from the job, even in the very first.
yeah, I mean that's the angel on his shoulder. But the demons are also like getting heavier on the other one. So it's like a big dichotomy in him that on one hand this is the place that gives him the most like highest order satisfaction, but on the other it's also the place that makes him the saddest. I don't know, it's hard to resolve, and I think, but I don't think that dilemma can be resolved with one conversation or one thing happening at the last episode.
No one is saying that
or
anything can be
even-
resolved
even,
with one
even in one day.
conversation.
Even in one day.
That's like saying you can't cure a movie or a disease or anything in like a movie in an hour and a half. So you can never. That's not. We're not. This isn't the real world. I don't know why we're saying
Well,
this.
mental
Obviously-
illness, surely not.
I'm trying to find a word for how fucking retarded this argument is, and I hear this so often. Like, it's like having
Isn't he clinically depressed?
It doesn't matter. It's like having a character in the middle of like fucking the Wolf of Wall Street. A guy walks out into the middle of the road and gets hit by a car, and I'm like, why the fuck would they just end his life that way? I don't understand. What was the point of everything? You're like, well, sometimes people die in car accidents. It's retarded. Obviously, you don't cure mental illness in a single day. Obviously, that's true. But the entire point, the hospital is not a healthy place for him to resolve his mental trauma. That's not good. That's a bad. Nothing good is there for him in terms of helping his state of mind. So I don't understand how him going back into the hospital at the end to take care of a patient, even if it's a baby, that doesn't show any character growth or development along that path.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I mean,
so-
it doesn't have to be like a single like piece of dialogue that like, oh, he changes his mind just from this one piece of dialogue. Like usually, like you can do stuff like imply that he's had an arc behind the scenes. Like he has actually been considering these things. He has like he's realized that this is really hurtful and not good for him. And I think the bigger issue is that he has an issue with perfectionism. He expects himself to overperform at all times, but he's running into the reality that it's just not possible, right? But he's refusing to accept that. And I think that is the big thing. But like, yeah, obviously things like this it would be hard to resolve in a single piece of dialogue. But I mean, you can just imply that there's been more happening behind the scenes that we just didn't see up until that point.
Would him like accepting help from the wheelchair psychiatrist at the end, like saying, like let's talk, and like them going into a room, we see them talking, and the thing ends. Would that be
I mean, it
satisfying,
would-
or
It could be.
I don't know if it would be satisfying for me. It could be,
For
but
Destiny.
it's like, I think to me it would have to show like an internal change. That he's actually changed his mind on something and not just giving up and be like, oh, fine, I'll go see the therapist or whatever.
I think like maybe if he went to the therapist, it would have been like more satisfactory or more a more realistic path towards actual treatment of his issues. I think the baby was more of a symbolic step towards that, and maybe in the next season they show him going to the psychiatrist or calling the psychiatrist.
I don't
for help or
understand
stuff like
I don't
that.
understand how the baby is symbolic of him making any progress on that.
I mean, that's just my interpretation. I think like babies represent new life, new opportunities, new resolve, new.
Maybe not for him. It's not his baby.
It's part of the story. I think I'm talking thematically, not like direct. It's not his baby, but
Yeah, but
it's
you could,
like
I mean,
in
you
his
could read
care.
that the complete opposite way as well. You could see that as him, passing on, his life, being like, okay, you know what, it's your turn. You're the one who's gonna rise up to the challenge of tomorrow, and I'm gonna go kill myself. like
If,
that could
no,
be a
if-
resolution as well, right?
Come on, no. If that was the case, you don't pass on to a baby. He would have talked with like the who was the farmer daughter guy, the farmer. What was his
Whitaker.
name? Whitaker. He would have said something vague to Whitaker about passing on the buck and him riding off into the sunset with the bike, stuff like that.
I mean, you could do it that way as well. I'm just saying that moment to me was ambiguous enough so that it could fit either narrative to me.
I don't know, babies are not "I'm killing myself" symbol. Like they're not an allegory for killing yourself. I don't think I've seen that anywhere.
No, but it is a symbol of the next generation, right?
I don't think the baby was supposed to be allegorical of him killing himself. I don't think that's the case.
No,
I'm just
I don't
saying
think that was the actual case,
his psychological salvation, his mental salvation, will never ever be found in the hospital. That just can't be the case.
Yeah.
Because the entire hospital to Robbie represents.
It's an escape.
Yeah, it's an
right?
escape from everything. I'm trying to remember. Now I'd have to rack my brain. Even that whole like perfectionist. Freya, you mentioned some perfectionist thing.
Yeah, he was
I don't even
talking
think it was
to,
really
the really attractive doctor.
Yeah, I don't even think it's really like a perfectionist thing. I think that he's like when he took, what's the name of the one, the brown doctor lady who takes too long to do everything or whatever.
Something with an S.
He blows the fuck up at her
Mohan.
because she's having issues that she's bringing from home into the job. And it feels like he's like expecting every single person to be as like psychologically fucked as him and to totally and completely disconnect from his entire life in order to come into the hospital and work. And he's like taking that out on her. When the reality is it's probably normal that people's lives, will affect them, their real life and their hospital life and everything else. And he's just getting annoyed, I guess, seeing somebody else, I guess, like processing that on the job or having issues, which she shouldn't be having those issues. But like, I think that it's like a step further to represent the fact that he doesn't have the ability to, he doesn't have the coping skills to deal with anything that's happening with his life. And every single thing he does is just the hospital. That's like his survival mechanism. I don't even like to call it a coping mechanism because he's not coping with anything. It's like an escape for him. So I don't understand how him taking care of a baby represents something positive when it's just another. So what is the idea that as soon as this baby's healthy and out of NICU, that all of a sudden that he's gonna die, he's gonna kill himself, or that another baby comes in and it's gonna.
I can give you a theory, but it sounds dumb.
You think he's gonna
and
adopt the
you'll probably
baby?
hate it. Yeah.
No.
You know why?
Why?
Why I think that?
Because the baby didn't
because they one that it's an orphan, but they foreshadowed that like they said what was the main nurse called? The
lady.
main nurse
Dina?
was talking.
Or
What?
Dina?
Dina, yeah, she was talking to one of the junior doctors or another nurse about some kind of law that allows a doctor or a nurse to take custody of a baby in the hospital for like if the parents are missing or stuff like that. So I think that's like foreshadowing that one of the doctors will maybe not outright adopt, but become the guardian of the baby, and maybe that's.
I mean, like,
maybe that's him.
I guess, like, I mean, you could argue possibly, maybe, but I mean, I guess it's possible. That would be in my opinion, a very disappointing way to. I feel like they've done a decent job at showing kind of like a masculine approach to psychological trauma and how, especially men can bury it, and they don't always have the best role models in life to help them process it or deal with it. And there's a lot of unhealthy ways of coping or not really coping with it. And the idea that like, oh my God, the baby fixes it. That's like a retarded woman's idea of fixing a problem with a guy is like, let's just have a baby and our life is fixed. If the cop out
it's a
is
bit
literally just
cliche.
like we're gonna,
It's very cliche.
I don't even know how to say it's cliche. It's like it's cliche in an unhealthy way. It's not even like a positive cliche. Like, oh, my life sucks, but like a baby will make everything better and give me purpose. Like that just seems like a really bad, stupid, horrible message. Like it's not good. It's not like.
Well, yeah. I guess the other thing that also foreshadows this, I think, is one of his rants about how his life sucks. He talks about like not having kids, not being married, stuff like that, and conveniently a baby ends up in the hospital, and you have this convenient law. So I don't know. It's just
it does feel like it's leaning towards that as the resolution, which is not very satisfying to
No
me
way.
either.
That would be crazy. I don't believe that they would ever. That would be such a cop out. I can't believe it.
I hope they don't do that. That would be really nice.
Maybe.
I don't
maybe.
think they will.
It's a
I mean,
bit
it
too
feels like an
soap
obvious
opery.
arc towards like he needs to find purpose outside of work. Like it feels like a tacky resolution to that, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bit soap opery, but maybe it will happen. Who knows?
Well, I don't even think it's. I'm not saying it's soap opera-y. I'm saying that thematically it's bad. Like this doesn't even. Nobody. I'm trying to think in terms of movies or any media at all or books or whatever. Where like, my life is over and then oh my god, it's a baby. Now I have purpose or something. Like this is. I feel like this is usually a negative trope. Usually it's like a woman trying to get pregnant or something to save a relationship.
I mean, couldn't it be like, oh, I need to find love or something? That's probably a more common.
Well, yeah, but that's in the context of like a loving relationship, right?
Well,
You don't love your
the-
kid. Is that what you're saying?
It's not
The
one.
Last
It's not
of
his
Us
kid.
kind
It's just a
of-
random.
like there are some tropes about like the men, the single man, like taking care of a
Many
child
men.
or like a young person getting like new meaning in life from that, like in The Last of Us with Ellie and Joe, but that's like a bit like she's obviously like a teenager, but
Well, no,
there
but
are,
I
like-
think the Last of Us with Ellie is like clearly like the ability for him to recapture the childhood or the being a parent to a daughter that he lost in like a tragic circumstance, right? And it's the ability to the issue that Robbie is having is not the fact that he doesn't have a kid. And now, like, I would agree with you if his depression stemmed from his wife died and they were going to give birth or something, and he's always that's like his life dream is he really wanted a kid, and then this baby dropped in. Then that would maybe kind of sort of start to make more sense. But it doesn't seem like his depression stems from not having a kid.
No, it doesn't. But I think like kids in media, like it's like a cliche or like a trope that kids can give new meaning to people.
What? Give me. I need
who
one
are
example.
stuck.
If this is a trope, I need a strong
well,
example of this.
Okay, Mandalorian,
Fuck, I haven't seen Mandalorian.
Baby Grogu, or Baby Yoda.
I can't. I haven't seen it, so you can't bring it up. Fuck you.
Okay, I don't know. Can someone help me in chat, please? Leon the professional.
Jesus Christ.
Someone. I am. I am Panda Puncher wrote that. I read that. It's not from me. He said it. Children of Men. Someone said, but that one was a pregnant woman. It wasn't from just a child. Bad Santa. Kind of.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I got your arguments. I'll keep it in mind. Okay.
Gamata. Nice meme.
Should he watch Andor, DRT?
No one cares, bro.
Andor? Yeah, he should.
Everybody
definitely.
hates Andor. Everybody
Let's
that's actually
fucking
watched
go.
it hates it, bro.
That's what I'm talking
No.
about, man.
Everyone glazes it, even to like an annoying extent.
No, he's wrong.
It's a good series. You should watch it.
Critical Candor?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I just had a quick question. I was curious. Are you still on Vyvanse? Is that a thing you're doing?
Yep.
Overall, like, how has your experience been with it? I was just curious because I'm looking to get on it pretty soon here.
Talk to your doctor. If you have ADHD, I guess maybe it helps. If you want to fucking goon for 12 hours a day, that's all you use it for. I don't know. Why ask your doctor? Why are you asking me?
No. I'm not, I'm just asking you your experience with it. Like, did you have bad side effects with it, or like,
I
did it do
didn't.
everything you thought it would do?
It
Or
did everything I thought it would do. My body is built for amphetamines. I've never had a bad side effect on Adderall or Vyvanse. Unironically, I don't know why. But my experience might be atypical, so I don't know.
okay, based. All right, thank you. And then I just wanted to recommend the show Andor to you. Did you ever see that?
Ban him.
True.
Ban him. Am I supposed to lick this orb?
You can lick D's.
Good one. I don't think I need to, right? Do I have to lick this to go to the next place? No. Okay.
Parsec, where is Buddy Do?
Wait, this isn't going to take me home, is it? Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Enter the infinite. Oh, thank God. It's going great.
What do
What
you
do you
got?
want?
I was gonna ask about the Discord clipping stuff.
What about it?
Or the kick stuff. Have you ever been Alfred? Any of that stuff by anybody?
Okay.
We
Have I
watched a
ever
whole
been
video on
offered
this,
any of that
the-
stuff by anybody? Are you talking about has Kick offered to clip my stuff for money?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Have you ever been like approached by anybody about this?
No.
Okay, because I was watching the Devin Nash video the other day, and I thought it was pretty cool, but I thought it was pretty surface level. He didn't. He made a lot of like what I thought were kind of weak statements. I think it's just because I feel like he wanted to go further, but he just didn't really have like the factual.
I don't even know what
backing.
you're talking about.
Moon, you never know what he's talking about.
What is kick clipping? What do you?
Moon doesn't even know.
Come on, Moon. There's like a whole clipping
what is it?
ecosystem where there's like Discord set up so that it's like how Clav got famous. Because he just has like an army
Okay,
of
Devin
people
Nash
clipping
did a
him on
video
TikTok
where
and shit.
supposedly companies like Kick are investing a lot of money into having streamers getting their content clipped by people, and then there are companies that are like paying out large sums of money, I guess, for people to do this stuff. Broadly speaking.
Correct, yeah. So that's kind of how it like appears on the surface. Like, oh yeah, okay, so people are, creators are paying people to post their clips of their content, and it's just promotion. And I'd say they're like half correct on that, because most of the streaming industry is like built on this at this point. And just the majority of people who are involved in the clipping side, they're just playing by that simple rule set. But that's like a fraction of, I think, like the money that's actually being made. Most of the money I think is being made through like middlemen and shit, as it typically goes with like a lot of these pyramid scheme, operations. But what's interesting is that I've been a part of like a few of these clipping discords.
And you don't, and you've never approached me for, interesting.
You never talked to me,
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if it's something you guys want to get into. It's pretty shady shit.
Why is it
but
shady?
Because creators are paying these discords essentially to like shape narratives online. It's not just like promotion of their content. Like these discords exist not just to make people popular or like give people clicks, but it's like specifically to shape narratives online. Like whenever you notice something is like being suspiciously astroturfed online, it's not a coincidence. And like these discords are these people who are doing these kick clipping shit, they're to blame.
Do any of these that you've seen involve me?
I mean, I don't know specifically. I would imagine so. I don't think I would put like.
How can you not know
I wouldn't put that
specifically
above
if you've
Hassan.
seen anything involving me?
You're asking me because I haven't seen something about you.
No, I was asking if you'd seen anything involving me.
No, I haven't seen anything about you specifically, but I've seen it about other streamers.
Oh.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there were like other discords that were around.
Why don't you put together
I was in like
video
the biggest
on it
one. It's a lot of heat, man. Like I think Devin Nash was probably careful about it for a reason. Probably because he didn't want to make anything like super.
Well, what kind of stuff did you see? Give us some juice.
Sure. So it operates on like a 3-level scheme. The biggest thing that I think people are kind of a bit clueless on is that Kick is like entirely complacent in all of it. Inside of these discords, most of the time you'll actually, and I don't want to talk too much shit on Kick because of course we love Kick and we're streaming on Kick right now, but
Nice.
a lot of them are in these discords. Like a lot of the Kick staff are in there and they're entirely complacent on it because ultimately, right, the money all flows upwards. It flows up to Kick staff because they are the middlemen most of the time as like the community leaders in between the streamers and these clipping discords. So yeah, I think it'd be really interesting to look into a little bit more. I was thinking of maybe doing a little bit of a write-up on it, but I don't know what I want to do.
Okay.
Where's Buddy Do the Do?
What?
I don't know, man. How about you?
What did he just say?
I'm gonna
Where's
punch you in
Buddy
your
Do
nuts
to
with-
do?
I'm gonna
Buddy Do the Do.
punch you in your nuts. about that?
I don't know. Okay. All right. Well, I'll look into this. Okay.
You won't, but that's okay.
Be careful. I love you. Got him.
Jesus Christ.
What, Moot?
He comes in here with a fucking conspiracy.
Oh, so just because he can't prove every single thing he's saying, it's a conspiracy now.
That's right.
Okay.
How long have you been live today?
I got 20 minutes to go, Moot.
I've been here the whole time?
Yeah. Oh,
And I'm
Moot's
not
trying to
getting
end the
paid?
stream.
Sheesh.
Sheesh. Now that's what I call sheesh.
Sheesh. Yeah, I'll pull one more up, but... I mean, where's Sherveen, my guy?
That's cheating.
Nomadic Brian.
Holy shit.
What?
No, I'm not schizo like that.
Oh, that means he's super schizo.
Oh, wait, can I?
Yep.
God,
He's
every fucking
already
time,
schizoing.
dude.
There it is.
No, no, no. Can you hear me? Is my mic
Yeah,
fine?
we can hear you.
We can hear you, Mr. Schizo. I mean,
Okay,
not schizo.
first thing, really boring. I don't think the bot's working for syncing the subs, so I think there's a
yeah.
bunch of people in there complaining about it.
Good.
You need to tell someone that. I don't know how to do that.
For my actual thing, let's go. I feel like a while ago you said this thing, Destiny, where you, in the context of a fan thing, not everybody has to be political, and I think I really disagree with you on this.
Okay.
I guess to start with, I feel like this goes in contrast to a thing that you used to say a while ago when people would talk about platforming and people like not doing it too bad. So I think one counterexample would be, hey, Joe Rogan, he has this big platform. And if he didn't get political, a bunch of these people that were previously apolitical do not go into these very negative paths and the horrible outcomes that come with that. But what you used to say before was, if you can't combat these bad ideas, then it's probably like a better ideology, and why not just like switch to that team? How are these two things like in conflict with each other? What do you see the difference being here?
Why, how are they in conflict with each other? If Joe Rogan
I
was
feel like-
just doing like fucking MMA podcasts or whatever, then I wouldn't give a fuck about whatever bullshit. But the fact is that he started to get political, and then when he started to get political, it was some retarded shit. My whole point for FanFan was I don't think FanFan does political content, right? That's why for the longest times, I didn't really say much about Asmongold's shit, is because Asmongold was like a WoW streamer, and he kind of sort of commented on stuff sometimes, but I was like, I don't know, he's not like big into
Was it
politics.
FanFan or Emiru?
I don't know what he
I think
said.
it was fan. She started reclaiming the retard word or getting it back.
But if but then once Asmongold like his politics became like his fucking full-time shit, well now it's like, well hold on, now I'm gonna be a lot more critical of the stuff you're saying. Like you are fucking around hardcore here, it's not good. But yeah, I mean it just depends on how much a person engages with the subject matter. Or like
Do you
what
think,
their
like,
content is. What?
Do you think non-political people should become like more political, or do you think it's just like we
No,
have to
fuck
pick
them. If
and
they don't have
choose
the
who becomes
interest in it,
political?
then no, then just don't talk about any of it at all. Fuck off. These people shit this environment up way too much.
But if we have the better like lived up ideas, shouldn't we be like in the slow grinding fight to convince people of the?
But then let the people. That just
neoliberal
because
world
you're
order?
just because you believe in liberal ideas doesn't mean you have to do liberal political content. You can just do content and not talk politics. I think that's totally fine.
I feel like isn't this in contrast to the thing we were saying a while ago, how like Republicans are always on messaging, and it feels like liberals, we take our time off as soon as elections are done. Shouldn't it be like an ever-present thing where we're like,
Okay,
always
never mind.
on
I
our
agree with
shit
you. I
and
think
trying to
every
drive?
single person online that does content, all of it should be political now. We should literally only do politics. Every single person.
Not to like that extent.
No,
but, like,
every single person should be
having
talking.
the conversation.
Like when a baseball game starts, I need to know what both announcers think about Israel-Palestine, and I need to know what their opinions are about the fucking BLM movement. No, I don't know. Not everything has to be politics. We lived in a world at some point where everything wasn't politics, but now every single fucking thing is politics. And every content creator and no, I don't need to know fucking Joe Schmo's view on whatever. Just watch him. I just want to watch him play Hearthstone.
I guess the thing that for me it's like it's ceding ground if we're not having the conversations. It's like
why do you keep saying
this
things that
trying
don't
to-
have anything to do with what I'm saying? We can have the conversation. You can make your political arguments. None of this means that every single person has to do politics as part of their content.
okay.
Triple
as he got me. Dear leader never fails.
Fuck
he
yeah.
cooks.
Never wrong. Thank you.
Okay, stop. Hold on. This is the boss. This is the last one? Okay, never mind. Go. I don't care. I don't even need to think. I'd kill everybody in this game.
Ninagon.
Oh boy.
Whoa.
Hello.
Is it my people as
gonna,
angels?
I'm gonna
What?
do it, dude.
Why? Oh god.
Nynagon.
Yeah.
Oh, you got something to fucking say?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, I
bro.
do. I have a quick question.
Jeez.
Go ahead.
What about financial stuff?
Yeah, what's
Okay, I'll
up?
do it.
Yep. Can you hear me? Check, check.
I'm gonna kill myself, man.
Just
Go.
do the next. Just do the next one. Do the next one.
Yeah, he's gone. It's ridiculous.
That's
Fucking
it's retarded.
crazy.
It's retarded. These people are retarded.
Hello?
Yes. What do you got?
Yeah, I had a quick inquiry on the Pit, because I feel like I'm kind of going schizo a little bit, but not a really good start. But basically, I feel like the show is kind of like you have like the MCU writers, but like because it's on HBO, people launder it like a degree of quality to its writing or like its presentation. I feel like it's using its big budget to kind of compensate for like what I view as like just kind of like shitty dialogue, and I just wanted to see if you guys felt that way in any capacity whatsoever.
There are things about the show that I appreciate. I feel like season 2 was significantly worse than season 1, though. As sad as that is, I think. I thought season 1 was really, really well done, but I feel like season 2 just didn't go anywhere with anything.
I think the show's gonna have a lot of issues with it being a day, and it showcasing like a day. I feel like you get a lot of character development and shit over time, so I don't know. That's my thought.
I think I like kind of agree with that, but like I feel like it's kind of an easy out because like the thing that Destiny was saying, like I think in DRT Zero's right is that like you don't need to necessarily take some of these directions with the characters. Like the psychiatrist and the wheelchair guy feels like he should be like a much more major player than how he's kind of made out to be. Because as far as I know, like he's literally there in like 3 or 4 scenes. They don't really go into like I feel like the psychiatry bit of like the emergency department. Like I feel like it's only for like 1 or 2 cases, and then I don't know, they just kind of drop it. But it feels like weirdly relevant. Like the only reason I guess they wouldn't go into it is because they might be saving it for later. But
What you mean, like meds being distributed and stuff, like at the place, or?
I think so, or just like maybe like some of the more like diagnostic stuff. Like I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I feel like relative to the other specialties, they didn't really get into it as much, and I feel like they should, because in one way I feel like it's kind of underweighing like the more psychological or like the psychiatric issues, because you have Langdon who like is super addiction coded, but they kind of downplay.
I mean, you mean he was an addict? I mean,
yeah, but like what I'm saying is like in the framing of like how I'm seeing it, like if I feel like psychiatry is being like underplayed or like the psychological stuff's being underplayed, then Langdon fits within that frame, like within that psychiatric care frame.
I think one thing you got to keep in mind that's probably going to be really difficult for the show is that like this is it's an emergency room with emergency medicine, so I don't know how you're going to practice psychiatry as much for like an emergency intervention, you know?
I think
like most of that is going to be like long-term care kind of stuff.
I feel like though, if like in my head right now, if they don't start it for like season 3 or something, because they haven't started it earlier, I feel like any foray that they kind of go into it kind of risks like a weird.
I don't think there's gonna be a foray into it. I don't think you can have a much involvement from a psychiatry perspective from an emergency medicine department.
I agree, but I think they're already kind of teasing it though with the like it's kind of tangential, but like the thing with Robbie potentially adopting the baby, like I feel like it's playing with it. Plus Santos and her like self-harming plotline that kind of came out of nowhere. Like I feel like it's just kind of like verging on this like weird tier where you can't call it out because there is the potential for more nuance to be developed for it. But like there is something weird, I think, in the presentation where it feels kind of haphazard, and like it might just lead to like a super unfulfilling conclusion. I think like one thing that I kind of noticed was like it feels really weird for I think like Whitaker to randomly go off on Langdon, and plus like with the student doctor, I forgot her name. I think it's Victoria, just like randomly bringing up the like she wants to get into psychiatry stuff. Like it just feels like it's kind of funneling towards like these. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like
You're
if there's a
rambling.
path for. Yeah, no, I
guess we'll
agree.
see.
I am
Yeah,
absolutely.
I have no
rambling.
idea. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they can't do. There's just no way they could do psychiatry in an emergency medicine department. I don't know. Nothing you're saying is changing my answer for that. There's just no way. I don't know. But
Okay, yeah, no, it's. I think that's fair. Yeah, I think it's about it.
all right, I love you.
Have a good one.
Just because you don't
Needs
like a
Barb.
person doesn't mean you have to call him a rambler.
I'll call him something else then.
Oh, really? What?
I'll type it to you.
No, don't. I don't want to see nasty, horrible Mutin messages.
How's it going, dudes? Go ahead.
Okay, so Destiny, I've heard that your movie takes are like dog shit. I haven't said it, but I've heard it on your Reddit or seen it on your Reddit. So this is your chance to redeem yourself, okay?
Yes, I'm ready for the worst movie take of all time.
So tell us why you don't like one battle after another.
Oh God.
Thank you. Mutin has it. Mutin just realized it's a dog shit fuck movie.
Mutin thinks it's a dog shit movie. That's why you don't like it too. Like everything, you guys are in sync on everything.
I would have to go back and rewatch the entire fucking movie. My issue with it was I don't know what the fuck the point of the movie was. Like what I don't know. If I was to summarize, like, what did I take from that movie? What did it make me feel? What was the message that was being conveyed? I just don't feel like whatever it was trying to do. I just don't feel like it did it effectively. I don't know. That's my perspective on it. I don't know what the fuck the point is of the
You don't know what the point is of the movie. So like what do you think the director was trying to say with it? So when people praise it, what do you think they took away from it?
racism bad.
Seriously, racism bad. Well, what about the treatment of the movie? Like I feel like we've gone through this before, but you might have gone through this with someone else on stream, but it's like a meditation on different types of revolutionaries. Like there's Sensei, there's Leonardo's character, there's Perfidia, who's like the main woman who the entire story is built around. It's like all of them together. So do you not feel like it was making a commentary on how revolutions are messy?
That you could argue that might have been a goal of the director. I feel like it didn't do a very good job at that.
Okay, so like what about the way the plot is structured and the girl dad thing, and nothing resonated with you emotionally at all?
No, because I don't feel like it gave good attention or time to any of those things. So like the girl having a totally different dad, that's a thing that was part of the movie, but I feel like they just didn't really do much with that. Like there was a whole, like what was the point of her being revealed to be the daughter of the guy? Like
There was no point of it because life is messy. Like it's not meant to have a point.
Oh my God, it's
just meant
the
to
one
be...
thing. No, it is meant to have a point. It's a movie. It's of course there's supposed to be a point. Somebody is specifically showing you. It's not a random collection of images from somebody's life. It's a thing that a person is choosing to put in front of you as a director. So there has to be a point or a purpose to it. It can't just be life is random. Otherwise, it's not a movie or art anymore. It's just a collection of random images.
It can be life is random because it is a selection. It is a selection of things to do with life in general. Like in the revolution, like Perfidia falls in love with someone who she's not supposed to fall in love with, which would be Lockjaw, right? Like they fall in love, they're attracted to each other because they're opposites.
Love?
Yes.
I don't think there was love.
There was love, there was sexual attraction, there might not be love. Yeah, it might not be the type of love that you would expect to see, but it feels like Lockjaw definitely fell in love with her, even if she didn't love him at all.
Sure, I think there was like a weird thing that Lockjaw had for her, but I don't think she fell in love with him. I think she was just like using him in a way.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. I meant lust over there. Yeah, she was like lustfully using him, and they had a sexual relationship, and yeah, so that was a messy angle of it.
Sure. There's also
And then
something to
when
be
she
said for I
leaves
would
and
have to go back again and rewatch, but I'm not even sure if he loved her or if he loved like some idea of her or something that would come to pass.
He fetishized her.
Maybe, yeah. I'm not, but I would have to go back and watch more for for some thing on that, but okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, but the reason I bring up this movie in particular is because I feel like whenever you say like you don't like a movie, a lot of people can jump on it because you just say you don't like the movie, and it doesn't feel like you've engaged with the plot or engaged with anything to do with the cinematography.
No,
or,
we have, but people just don't
character
like the answers.
development.
Like I just did
We did
hear
a
it. You
whole
didn't like the
stream on
answer.
it.
You said that like, well, life is messy, but that's not a good defense of a film. My issue, I gave you what I thought were decent issues. If you ask me about a movie that I like, I can usually tell you like, well, this is how this movie made me feel, or I feel like this is a thing that the director really wanted to convey, and I feel like he did a good job at conveying it because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G reasons. Not just like not like appealing to some extrinsic factor from the movie and a fact of life to say that like, oh well, revolutions are messy. Like I guess like.
But that is a point to be made. That is a point that is important because a lot of people think of revolutions as a straightforward thing where A, B, C happens and then people
Do
get
they, though?
accolades. They do. They do think of revolutions in that way, and that's what most biopics are like. Most biopics are like Lincoln or something like that, where a big historical figure comes in and you already know the ending. You can predict the ending, and you can be like,
well, you
oh,
can
look
predict
at
the
this
ending
great
because we already know
historical
how it
figure,
turned
and,
out.
like, jack
But
off to that.
I haven't watched Lincoln, but I'm willing to bet, without ever having seen the movie, I'm willing to bet that in Lincoln, they try to set the movie up as though maybe you don't actually know what's going to happen, that there were significant issues that were thrown up in front of him, that like, how could he possibly have succeeded with
No, but
this,
you
this,
know,
and this?
you know how it's going to end. You know how it's going to end. That everything's going to be okay with the Civil War.
Well, yeah,
and
but that's
stuff,
because
so
it's
that's
a
gonna give you
because
that
it's
serotonin rush.
well, because it's nonfiction. You know how it's going to end because you know how it's going to end because there is an
Yes,
ending. It's not
exactly.
fiction.
So this is a fictional meditation on what revolutions are actually like. Like you have someone like an unsung hero like Sensei who's like going through all these things with the migrants and plotting things out for
Sure,
for
and that's
his
fine.
name,
And these are all like
Bob.
really interesting ideas that would have been cool to maybe explore in a movie. They didn't happen with this one. The majority of the movie was wasted on Leonardo DiCaprio's character running around doing fuck all, and
Or
then
in a car.
But that's the point of the movie, that he's like a fish out of water, and
That's
in
fine,
the
and that would have
beginning
been
of
a
the movie,
really
he's, like,
great
reminiscing
thing.
about his revolutionary time. He's watching the Battle of Algiers,
Sure.
and then by the time he gets his shit together to rescue his daughter. Now, the fact that he doesn't rescue his daughter at all is, I think, the point of the movie, that she was self-sufficient by the end, and she actually becomes some kind of protester by the very end.
yeah, but
So I feel like the
self-sufficient,
message
how
of
or
the
why?
movie-
What happened? Why?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Why?
What did she learn? What changed about her character? What lesson was gleaned? What development happened? Why was she self-sufficient by the end? What changed? What's the difference between her at the beginning and her at the end of the movie?
Her at the beginning, she was not politically engaged at all. At the very end of the movie, she drives several miles to a protest.
No.
and
I'm
decides to
asking.
get off her ass
First
and
of
actually
all,
be part of the revolution.
I'm pretty sure isn't she politically engaged in the beginning?
She is not. She's not. She's only preoccupied with what's going on in her high school.
That's decently
and her
politically
deteriorating
and
relationship with her dad.
I feel like that's pretty decently politically engaged. Like, doesn't he make a lot of weird, like the dad was like SJW comments or something in the beginning? Like, I think the implication was that she was already like decently politically engaged. No, of course, yeah, because doesn't she also think like her mom was like a freedom fighter or something,
Yeah.
and she didn't realize like
he
that.
taught her all about
She's
it.
politically engaged in
Yeah.
her mind, but she's not really politically engaged as in going out and doing things or following in their footsteps in any meaningful way. Which
You can say that, but
what-
I think you're taking a reading from there that I don't think that was conveyed in the film at all, and I feel like the opposite.
How would it be conveyed in the film? How would it be conveyed in the film as an all? Like if you were
That
to
she's not
direct it, or if you
politically
were to
that
screenwrite
she's
it?
not politically engaged.
Easily with dialogue.
Or it could be literally, it could be a billion different things. It could be her going to some protest or talking about going to some protest or having friends that are in these
Her
things or
friends are
not
gonna go to
having
a protest,
friends
she
or.
says, fuck it, I don't want to go.
Or I don't know, there's a billion-
Exactly. You
all
kind
that.
of want.
I know
like,
you're
the
going to say
most
that you want it to be
obvious-
shown in the most obvious way. You could show it in an unobvious way. You're giving me an unanswerable question by asking me how would you show it, and then any way that I tell you how I would show this particular thing, you're going to say, well, that's too obvious, so it's actually better where this director didn't show it at all. That doesn't make any sense. Like, what? No.
It could be just shown like by
No,
like
I
there's a
think- I
protest
think
at the
it
school,
went
she just doesn't
from-
go,
it
and they
went-
just continue on. Like
Hello, no. It went from. Thank you, Moon. Thank you for that. So it went from her being not very engaged at all to her being very engaged, her driving several miles to a protest. So I think that's typically the default state of most people. They're kind of engaged when they're voting or when things like SJW shit comes up, but they're not really engaged as in going out of their way to do anything. And that was her
My
character development.
understanding, like, well, hold on. I understand that, but if I were to look at this movie, I would imagine that that's like a function of her age more than like a function of like whether or not she's a serious political actor. I guess to some extent maybe she became slightly more politically engaged at the end of the movie, but I don't know any part of the movie that would have reinforced that or shown. Like, I don't think she's a meaningfully changed person from the difference between the beginning and the end. I think she's more or less the same
That's
character.
because it's a slice of life film. It's not meant to show you her entire progression until she's 80 and becomes
I didn't say her entire progression. I'm saying that
president
at
of
the beginning
America.
of the movie and the end of the movie, I think she's more or less the exact same person.
But she isn't though. Like she learns about her paternity. Like she understands now why her mother left. Like she sees the letter at the very end.
Yep.
Perfidia
Well, here, so
sends in a
you're giving me
letter.
facts of things that have happened. So now if I ask you, well, how did that change her?
I don't need her to change.
Then she
I
hasn't
just need to
changed. So then
see
she
that
has. So there's
that's an
no
action that
difference.
she wouldn't have taken at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I don't believe that's the case. I don't think there's an action that she takes at the end of the movie that she wouldn't have taken at the
Do
beginning
you
of the
think
movie.
if the events of the movie hadn't transpired, she would not have gone? She would have gone to a protest and would have had the loving relationship she has with her father at the very end.
I think so. Yeah, I think it would have been more or less the same. Yeah.
Okay, well then, yeah, that's a fine takeaway. I think. I think one of the reasons, like most people don't really understand what your take on this movie is. I think there's a very valid criticism to be made that the movie itself is very cartoonish, and the characters are very one-dimensional or cipherish, and it's played against some very real-life things that are happening right now, like the migrant camps, for instance, being analogous to stuff we have in real life. So it might not really jive with a lot of people. But I feel like when you give your take on this movie, it just felt, not to me, no. Not to me, okay? Like to other people on Reddit and stuff, they're like, oh God, he has like the most dog shit movie takes. And I was just like, okay, here's a chance for you to flesh out why exactly you didn't like the movie. What about Oppenheimer? What is your issue with Oppenheimer?
Okay, hold on. First of all, I have given my takes. I think people's issues are just they just don't like my take. So then they say that, oh, well, it just doesn't make any sense or whatever because people just don't want to actually engage with it. That's my perspective on it. Because I can give reasons for all of this. For Oppenheimer, because it's a Sloppenheimer movie. It's just got the good name for it to be Sloppenheimer. Too many A-list, B-list actors. Too many random scenes. Too much music. The Cillian or Killian, whatever that guy is, looks weird now.
Cillian Murphy.
If it was a run-of-the-mill biopic with just Oppenheimer's face and no interspersed space shots of the film, would you have liked it?
If it was... Wait, say that again?
If it was just like shots of his face, like close-ups of his face with no interspersed space shots, like it has a lot of space shots of like shit exploding in space, kind of evoking, I guess, the bomb or whatever. Like if it didn't have all of that interspersed in, would you have liked it as a more run-of-the-mill biopic?
No, I don't think... I just don't think it... I don't know what... I don't think it told... Again, I just don't think it told a very good story. Like if you had to summarize, what was the story of Oppenheimer? Like what was the point of that... Like, I think it's actually even worse because I think I know the story that he wanted to tell. But what if you had to summarize, like, what was Oppenheimer about that movie? How would you summarize it?
I think it's just about the creation of the bomb and a person's internal struggles with creating something so powerful and the scientific achievement juxtaposed against the real-life consequences of it.
Okay, I think I agree that might have been the purpose of the movie. I think if that was the goal, I think it just did an atrocious job at trying to demonstrate that.
What did you think the point of the like before I said that spiel, how would you categorize the movie? Because isn't that the most like
I would have said that.
mundane,
I would have said more or less
obvious?
the same thing. That it was supposed to show the struggle of him trying to be like a scientist who explores and learns and engages in things, and like the morality of that, and then like the creation of a weapon, a tool of war, and then the what was the first thing you said?
His internal struggle juxtaposed against the real life consequences of a scientific achievement.
Yeah. Oh wait, yeah, that was it. That was all you said, right?
Yeah, that was all I said.
Interesting that you left out the entire black and white Strauss plot or whatever, which I think was totally retarded and unnecessary. And I'm glad you left that out because it literally had nothing to do with the entire fucking movie other than Nolan feeling like he needed to throw in a 7-dimensional Twister Turner thing or whatever to name drop John F. Kennedy's name in there. But yeah, I think like imagine me telling you like I've got this idea of like I want to juxtapose like a scientist research with like the real life consequences of like creating a nuclear bomb, and you're flipping through the script and you're like, geez, wow. So like where's the part where you like show like what happened with Hiroshima and Nagasaki? And I'm like, actually, we don't have a single fucking scene of that ever happening or any part of that whatsoever. Like I don't know. That's just wild to me. And then like the obsession, and because instead they turn like the entire moral argument is like whether or not he's a fucking communist or whatever, and then his allegiance to the Communist Party, and they make that like the whole thing. I just think I thought it was retarded. Just dumb.
But that would have been true to what was happening at the time. So you didn't like the black and white and the integration of the trial. Yeah, okay, I think that's fair. So to be clear, I think these movies are Oscar bait. Like they were written with. I think they were put in front of a committee at the screenplay level, and people were told this is going to win Oscars, especially something like Oppenheimer. One Battle After Another, it's like from a big name director who I think is overdue for an Oscar, so it was kind of like an obligation thing.
Wait, who is the One Battle After Another director?
Sorry?
Who was the one battle after another director?
PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh, that sloppy fuck. I just want to say slap on him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. I don't have anything personal against
Have
him.
you
so
not
go
liked
ahead.
any movie from him? I'm sure you like There Will Be Blood. It is very boycotted.
Yes, because he kills the
You
guy
did
in
like
the
it,
end. That was
okay.
the best part. I like him. He killed the dude. Hell yeah.
And the milkshake part. Yeah, so these two directors, I feel like they are Oscar making directors. So like when they make a movie, I feel like people are like, we're going to greenlight this because these directors are going to get us Oscars. For sure, that is part of the conversation. Like images of that golden statue is definitely flashing through people's minds. So it does factor in, which is why they make it accessible to so many people. It's not going to be like I don't know. I feel like the movies you might like are more independent movies. So when you're watching an Oscar bait movie, I'm wondering if you're actually engaging with it.
I'm sure there are
understanding that
Oscar
it's
bait
Oscar
movie.
bait.
I mean, what are all the movies that have won Oscars? I'm sure there are tons of Oscar movies that I liked. Let's
Yeah,
see.
I'm sure you have, but,
Historical
like-
Best Picture films. Is there like a list of all the films that won Best Picture?
I'm sure there is. Yeah.
Academy Award, Best Picture. Winners. Okay, hold on. Old
What was
movies.
the last one you liked?
Yikes. How? No! Did Frankenstein get nominated? No shot. Is that real?
Yes, it did. It did.
And
Everything You Hate
Sinners got nominated for best. I'm just too old. I just can't. I'm just aged out. I've aged out of movies. Best Picture?
Sinners was fine.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. What did you just say? Sinners was fine. Best Picture?
It was fine.
Best Picture though?
But what were the good movies last year?
There was a time that these movies were so much better. Like the standard Oscar-winning movie was so much
I bet
better
there
than
was.
we have right now. When was that time? Was it 1995 or whenever? Like when you were a child?
Maybe. I never watched Anora. Was that good?
Honora is good. See, that's the thing. You're not watching the stuff that wins like the Palme d'Or and shit at Cannes.
What? No, hold on.
So
That won
I
the
think you
2024
might,
Best Picture. Nice try. Okay. That was the 2024 Best Picture winner. Okay. Dune Part 2 was nominated. I like that movie. I thought that was good. The Substance. I thought that was a good movie. These were nominees. In 2023, Oppenheimer won. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. The Barbie movie is fine. I thought that was cute. Oh my God! Everything Everyone Wants in 2022.
That was the year.
There we go.
Top Gun Maverick.
And
That's-
Top Gun
that's not-
Maverick.
wait, hold
Hell
on.
yes.
So what is so great about that movie? Why do you love it so much? I've never understood your love for it.
I thought it was. I thought it was like a very. And I admit this. I have a huge bias towards movies that I consider to be very, very, very tight. As in, every scene is like necessary. I call these like. I don't like to use the term perfect movie because people overrate that. But like when I think of like the Pirates of the Caribbean, or if I think of like The Matrix, the first one, or if I think of like or if I think of like The School of Rock, these are like tight movies. Like every scene is important. It all builds towards something consistently. I appreciate that a lot. I felt like that movie was like very. I thought I did a really good job at juggling like A, B, C plots and then having all of them kind of like reinforce each other thematically, and then it's over like a cute, nice theme of family
This
togetherness.
kind of makes sense though, because that's probably why you don't like One Battle After Another.
No,
because I
it's
feel
not.
like-
No, it's not. No,
Yeah,
no. You're about to say
yes,
something
hold on.
retarded. Can I tell you what you're about to say? Then tell you why it's retarded before you even say it. That you don't like it because it's not a A B C D E F G super linear plot and it's too blah blah blah. No, it's a dog shit
No,
fuck
no,
movie.
no. I wasn't going to
You
say
were
that
gonna
at
say
all.
that. Now you're
You
struggling to think of something
predicted-
different. Go.
You predicted very inaccurately.
Go ahead.
So let me tell you what I was
Yeah.
going to say. So there's many scenes which you're just supposed to enjoy for the amusement or the bumbling fool that is Leonardo DiCaprio. Like you're just supposed to enjoy him in those scenes, I think. Like when he's trying to find like an outlet for his charger when they're trying to escape and Sensei's being all calm. Like those scenes are just supposed to be fun.
They're not supposed to be fun. I totally disagree with you so much. All of you guys trigger me with your movie takes. I disagree. I think that those scenes that you picked are some of the few scenes in the movie that actually even matter. The point where he's like being a bumbling fool and the other guy is doing a shit or whatever, that's a meaningful scene. You're showing through comedy the difference between him and his ineptitude as some fucking radical versus the other
It
guy
doesn't
who
service
is...
the plot. It doesn't
What?
service the plot.
No, but it doesn't. But it's still meaningful. It's illustrating some fact about the character in a meaningful way. Same thing with him. There was the other thing. But like these are meaningful. Just because something is like humorous or shows like a scene to be enjoyed by itself doesn't mean that it doesn't tie into or reinforce the themes of the movie or whatever.
Okay, so I'll tell you why her paternity was important then. Her
Okay, tell
paternity
me.
is important because
Wait.
Rothschild didn't have that.
I want
First
to
of all,
challenge you.
he
Wait.
wouldn't
I want to
even
wait. I want to
be-
challenge you. Wait. I got to challenge you before you say it, so you don't think I'm just moving the goalposts. Okay. I need you to tell me a way that the paternity is important in a way that's not just like stating a fact. I need to know how did this impact the characters? How did it cause a divergence
The
of their life
themes?
paths? Yeah, how does it impact the characters? What does
Sure.
it do to the character? Okay, now go ahead. Talk to me about the...
Yeah,
Yeah.
the paternity is important, not just because that inserts him in the plot, which you don't want me to say, but it does. But apart from that, Lockjaw, the entire idea that he would be such a competent fit for that Christmas club or whatever he's trying to join, but they don't want him to join simply because he fucked a black woman and sired a black child, that shows how stupid something like the Christmas club is, because something as silly as this would make them not only take out an actual candidate that would be good for them, but they also sacrifice one of their own goons for all of this. So it's kind of, it plays into the theme of like how extreme these organizations are in their hate, I think.
Okay, but you didn't... that has nothing to do with the paternity thing. That just had to do with him...
Yes, it does.
No, that had to do with him falling in love with and fucking a black woman. Like, the paternity,
Yes,
the
but
child thing was...
that established his paternity.
No,
It
no,
was
wait,
not
but it was, but the
immaculate
point wasn't that
conception.
it didn't matter that he had a black child. Like, the only reason the black child mattered is because it was evidence that he had a relationship with a black woman. That was the big deal. Like, the black child he had to get rid of because he didn't want people to know that he was in love with a black woman.
Yeah, exactly. That's the entire paternity thing. If there was no child, there would be no way to establish the fucking.
Okay, I guess I'm sorry. When you said paternity thing, I thought you were talking about the reveal to the girl that wasn't her dad. That was like, in my mind, that's like the paternity thing. But if you're saying like, why did he have a kid? I mean, I understand like for a plot device, why him having the kid is evidence of him having a kid. but I don't think like that's like a big... Like, he could have just had a black child that he needed to cover up the existence of. But there was like a point where they made it like a hidden paternity that ends up getting revealed later on. But like, I don't know what the point is. It didn't... Hold on. Wait. Oh my God. I'm so triggered. I'm sorry, chat. Hold on. Somebody said, it helps her realize how caring Leo is versus her bio father, thus strengthening the relationship. But Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't even know that it's not his kid.
Yes, that's a stupid comment.
True.
He never finds out, even at the end. She
They're
never
on
tells
your
him.
team. That guy's on your team, just so you know.
I know, I don't play team sports, so I don't need that person.
I do.
Pipe down. But yeah, so the entire point of it is how anal they are above these silly rules that they're willing to let
How
go
is
of this
that
man. And
silly?
this man,
That's
like,
a
he's
really
just-
good rule. If you have a racist organization, you can't love people of the race we hate. I think that's a fair rule, no?
Yes, but like to establish the paternity, they had to go out of their way to get him to actually establish it. No one would have ever found out. That's
Well,
what's
hold on.
stupid.
Wait. I thought, I can't remember the exact point, but didn't it come to light somehow that he had a relationship with this woman? Wasn't there like some reason why people had a suspicion? I thought that there was...
No.
Are you
I
sure?
think he had a suspicion that he could have fathered
No.
someone.
Like somebody suspected that he had a relationship with that black woman, and then he tried to say that he got like raped or something, and then they said that like, well, you know, I don't know if they knew that he had a kid that he had to cover up or not, but like somehow it came to light. It wasn't just that.
Yes, but even if they had a suspicion, only they would have done a background check so thorough so as to uncover this seedy information. So they're doing all this for themselves to make sure, to purity test, essentially.
Well, but this is a good purity test. If you have an organization of racists, you want to make sure that everybody's racist. Isn't that fair?
That's true, but like it doesn't make sense because this person had this one transgression and you're going to throw away the entire person just because they fucked a black woman once?
One transgression? You are a lover of black people. That's like a pretty bad transgression for a Ku Klux Klan spinoff, no?
So why did he have only the one child then? Or only this one person in his
Even
history?
one is a pretty big deal. I think having a kid with you're supposed to hate black people. How can you be
Even
banging
one?
them? Yeah, you can't be banging the enemy if you hate them so much.
Okay, we've gotten sidetracked, but the point is the paternity establishes more than just the need for Lockjaw in the plot. It's not just, oh, let's insert Lockjaw in the plot somehow. It does establish like how anal these organizations are. So you're asking for something thematic. I gave you something
I
thematic.
feel like
Do
how
think it's a bit
anal
of a
the
stretch? I
organization,
do.
that's not anal. How anal the organization would be like, we got like a yearbook of you in the 2nd grade and you were in choir and like half the choir was black and you have to go kill this person you sat next to and held hand. Like that would be anal. Like why the fuck do you care who this guy was friends with in 2nd grade? Fucking somebody as a revolutionary while you're supposed to be, I don't know if he was a cop or some kind of enforcer for racist people or whatever.
But if he said he was raped, okay, let's say he said he was raped or he just had whatever, he was drunk or whatever.
No one's believing that.
Why would the child present a problem? The fact that sex happened would have been the issue, not that there's a child. That means that this organization is concerned with optics, purity testing, and he wants to get rid of the evidence. And I think that is the reason why they made such an extreme character her father and not just a random person. Because you were asking me about the paternity in particular.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. But I disagree. But I hear it. I'm hearing what you're
About
saying.
so in this movie when you're saying things like, oh, like you like tight movies, every scene has to have some meaning. You just said that it's good that they showed him being bumbling, etc., and ruffled, because it establishes how different he is from Sensei. I understand all of that. But like, what about a movie like, I don't know, like, have you seen The Big Lebowski?
Yes, that's a pretty
Did you
tight
like
movie.
it?
Yeah, it was okay, but that's a pretty.
You thought it was you thought The Big Lebowski was a tight movie? Do you remember the scene where he sees someone jot down, I think, a number, and there was a notepad, and on top of it, he starts shading the notepad, and then he finds the number, but nothing happens with that number? Do you recall that scene?
No, it's been a long time since I've watched it.
That means that movie is not tight. There was a scene that was not needed for the plot. The only point of it is that these movies, it's doing a parody or a satire of these types of movies, these types of detective movies. So it's not needed. So yeah, you do like movies that have silly scenes that have no meaning.
Okay, first of all, I don't remember this exactly. It's been a long time since I watched this. Number one. Number two, yeah, of course. There are
You
movies.
just called it a tight movie. You called it a tight movie.
Yeah, I thought it was. It's been a long time since I watched The Big Lebowski. I don't remember a lot of. I don't remember. Hold on, it's been like 15 years since I've watched this movie.
I know,
okay,
but 15 years ago when you saw the movie, you thought to yourself, this
hold
is
on,
a tight
because this
movie.
is what we
When
were.
you
Hold on.
all the scenes.
The reason why I liked The Big Lebowski though was not because it's a tight movie. It was because it's just like a goofy, funny movie though. Like I didn't like it because it's like a super like concise sort of. I shouldn't have said it's a tight movie. Maybe.
So why can't you bring that same attitude to one battle after another? Why can't you activate that mode for this movie?
I could. I just don't like anything about this movie. I don't think there was anything redeeming about it. Like I like Interstellar. I don't think Interstellar is a tight movie at all. I think that movie gets super jarbled in a lot of. The Dark Knight Rises is a complete disaster of a movie. If you look like for 2 seconds at it, even The Dark Knight
when
is.
You said I have a bias towards tightly plotted movies. You just meant like 50% of the time.
I have a bias towards brunettes, and both of my ex-wives are blonde. I don't know what you're saying. I appreciate movies that are tightly constructed.
Bottle blondes.
What?
I said bottle blondes. They could be bottle blondes.
What does that mean? Hair dye?
Hair dye, yeah.
I don't think that's real. I don't think women should say that. Like when women are like, I'm a redhead or I'm brunette, I think you say you have brunette hair. I think that's fundamentally different than actually having the hair. But that's another thing. I'm just saying that these are things I tend to appreciate about movies. I think that if you have this, that's going to be a reason I don't like the movie. But that doesn't mean that, or I'm sorry, that'll be a thing I don't like about the movie, but it doesn't mean I won't like the movie. That won't be the sole reason. There are movies that can have redeeming qualities that, like, even though I don't like this or that, I think I still like the movie.
So when you walked into this movie, were you like, I'm going to engage with it as though it's a hangout movie, a cartoonish movie, or were you like, this is a political movie and I need to be on political mode?
I try to go in neutral and I just
whatever.
take the movie I just take it as it is. I just, whatever the director wants to show me, I just sit there and I open my eyes and my soul and my heart and I just receive what the director beams into my eyeballs and my earballs.
Okay. So you didn't like the scene? So you not like the chase scene at the very end where they have all those vistas of California with all those hilly terrains?
Not in particular, no.
Okay, so you didn't like it on a visual level either. All right, just trying to suss out why you didn't like it. So I think both these movies.
Well, so first of all, hold on. When I say
when
we say why you don't like a movie, so the default is not liking a thing, and then they have to show you things to make you like it, right?
No, that's a wrong approach. You should go in wanting to love a movie, not to fight with it.
It's no. You should listen to what I'm saying, wanting to hear what I'm saying and not wanting to fight with it, okay? So let's try this again, okay? The default is I'm seeing a collection of random flashes of light in front of me for the next hour and a half, okay? It's not like my default position is I'm going to like this, whatever, and then let's see if they find out. It's just like, I don't know, I'm nothing. I have no expectations, or obviously I'm expected to be in English. There's going to be some expectations from the director, but like for the most part, it's like, yeah, show me what it is, and then like if I like it, then I'll like, oh, these are the reasons why I like this movie. I'm not going to come out of a movie and somebody's like, oh, did you not like it? And I'm like, well, I couldn't think of a reason why I didn't like it, so I guess I like it. That's never going to be the case. Like if there's a thing I like, or if there's a thing anybody likes, you're going to be able to give reasons why you like the thing. Not like an absence of bad things, but like the presence of good things.
That's not true.
Oh my God!
You should be able to say why you don't
there
like
is
the movie.
no. You can say why you don't like it, but there's no possible world where you could disagree. That is the most agreeable statement in the universe. That when
No,
you
it
like.
isn't. When I dislike a thing, I can tell you exactly why I disliked it. So that's why I picked out the things that I told you that you might feel about Oppenheimer are things I felt. Like, I don't like those space shots interspersed in with his inner thoughts. I think that's silly. I think it
Okay.
was done with the motive of like making it bigger than a regular
Well,
biopic.
well, to be clear, hold on. I think that that's silly, and I bring that up as kind of a meme example. That's not even in the top 10 reasons of why I don't like Oppenheimer. But I think it's emblematic of the reason why I don't like Oppenheimer, which is that I don't think Nolan is very thoughtful about what he shows to you when he's trying to get you to think about a thing. I don't think Nolan, or at least for some films that he does, for some films, I feel like he spends a great deal of time thinking about what he's showing you. But for Oppenheimer, I don't think he thought much at all about what is he showing you on the camera to make you feel a particular thing, and why is he showing you that thing. And I think the flashing explosion things, whenever it cuts away from Oppenheimer's brain, or to show you fucking clouds or mountains, I just don't think he thinks very much about it. I think he had a high CGI budget, and he was like, oh, let's fucking go. I'm sorry, a high special effects budget, because I don't think those things were CGIs. He was really blowing retarded shit up in front of a camera.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. So part of the marketing of the movie was like, look at our actual shots of space or whatever. And I don't like that you need to have that extra textual information going into the movie to really enjoy that and be like, wow, they didn't CGI this. Like it was actual footage, which I think they try to do for the marketing. But apart from that, like, yeah, but I think when you kind of like criticize these movies, it feels like you're being contrarian because you're not able to pick out those unlikable things. You're only being like, oh, I didn't find good things in it. So maybe that's
What name it? I just named unlikable thing. What movie do you think I haven't named unlikable things about?
I think you did in this conversation after being coaxed.
I usually do, and then people don't like the things that I pick out, and then we fight back and forth, and then eventually I meme them, and they meme me, and then we just go. Then we just
That's
meme.
not true. I feel like whenever you've discussed one battle after another, it just felt like you were very detached from the movie. You didn't find anything, or you weren't very concentrated on the plot. Like you were just very much like,
There
oh, it
isn't
just
a
wasn't very
plot.
good.
Yeah, there's
The plot doesn't exist.
Well, there's
Where's
barely
the
a plot to the movie, but also like I'm pretty sure if you find the first
plot
time.
in 2 sentences, like the plot of every. What's the plot of like any? What's the plot of The Matrix?
No. You have to say the plot of one battle after another.
I have to say the plot of one battle after another.
Also, I can simply give.
It's a girl who gets kidnapped and her dad tries to save her. I don't need anything more than that. That's a synopsis.
Wait, did the dad? Wait, am I Did the dad even save her at the end? Didn't she save herself?
No,
and the
I
dad
said he
gets there?
tried to save her. He doesn't have to save her.
So the dad's like the stoner loser, doesn't do anything. She's like going through her character arc of like the dad with, she is biologically the daughter of Lockjaw, and that didn't even matter at all because it was completely irrelevant to literally anything.
True.
Like they just completely scrapped it.
True.
And then at the end, her dad who's trying to save her the whole time.
She gets kidnapped because of it.
Her dad trying to save her the whole time, who's completely useless in the whole movie. He doesn't grow at all. He's still the same stoner loser.
You don't understand what a fish out of water movie is, and that's not my problem.
I just think the idea that like you have to be like a cinephile to enjoy something that like just gave you nothing to enjoy.
You don't have to be a cinephile. You just have to know that not every movie is going to have a hyper competent lead. And sometimes a movie will give you a not very competent lead to show you what it's like when a not very competent person attempts something, which is what this movie is.
What if you don't like this type of movies?
Well, also, this has nothing to do with a competency movie. That has literally nothing to do with
Bond or Mission Impossible.
That has nothing to do with the issues with this movie, also. But
yeah, but this new person's issues.
Well, no, but I'm saying like I don't even know if I would say it's a movie about lack of competency necessarily, because it's so hard to.
Yes, it is. The lead actor in it is incompetent, and you're with him for a lot of the movie.
Yeah, but I just. It's hard to even say what it's hard to say what the movie's even about because it's not even fucking. It's not anything. The movie's just not anything.
You just said like maybe 5 or 6 minutes ago, you said his bumbling and his incompetence contrasted with Sensei, which is played by Benicio del Toro. For people who can't remember, the contrast of that was interesting to you.
No, I said that this is what the scene was supposed to illustrate.
Yes, and you said that was one of the better scenes in the movie, was it not?
Yeah, because at least it was. I'm just saying that it was purposeful. But like none of these things. But it doesn't reinforce. I guess yeah. Like it was cute. Like there are cute scenes. I guess
that you might like a fish out of water movie, but you just don't like this one.
Sure, but it has nothing to do with it being a fish out of water movie or not. It was just a bad.
Okay, I'll accept that. Yeah,
movie.
That's fine. I feel like when you're describing this type of movie though, like it's really important to get super specific on what you don't like, because like when you say you don't like this movie, like the plot had no point, it's kind of a knock against many movies that don't follow a very linear, like I know you hate this, but like there's a lot of movies that don't follow a very linear plot. There's like great American filmmakers like David Lynch who have lots of scenes that have no real meaning, but you're just supposed to enjoy the scene for what it is.
What?
It's
Wait,
like a
wait,
mini
wait.
movie
Nate, can you
inside a
name?
bigger
Can you
movie.
go through
And you
like?
don't need to be a cinephile to
Can you
acknowledge that
find a
and to enjoy
movie or
that.
think of a movie like that? I think there's a lot of Lynch movies I haven't seen. You're telling me that if, like, give me one tonight and I'll watch it. You're telling me that I can find a
Watch
Lynch movie.
Mulholland Drive. There's
Okay, and
watch
you're telling me that if
Mulholland-
I watch this movie, I can come away thinking like, wow, here are these scenes that have absolutely no fucking point whatsoever. Now, when you say no
Yes,
point,
yes,
are you
yes.
confusing no point with like doesn't directly advance the plot? Is that what you mean when you say no point?
It
Because
has no point. There are whole scenes in the movie that has no point. I don't know if anyone in your chat has watched it, but if anyone can recall the scenes in the diner of a monster behind like a garbage can or whatever, it has literally no point. It's just meant to shock you.
David Lynch literally tells people, well, if it's meant to shock you, that's the point, got him. David Lynch literally tells people to fuck off if they ask him to interpret his scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
They're dog
You're not
shit
supposed
films.
to interpret
Okay,
it.
you know what? Then maybe I just wouldn't like David Lynch films. But that sounds like a
Yeah,
that sounds
maybe
like
you
a
wouldn't. Maybe you
massive
wouldn't. And that's fine. It's
exception.
fine.
But that sounds like a
It's
massive
fine.
exception to the rule, not like anywhere near the norm for even a genre of film, let alone for a huge subset of movies or whatever.
Yeah,
and
that's
David
true, but,
Lynch
like,
is
then
dead,
you
so
should
fuck him.
say that I don't like this type of movie. Not that the movie itself is bad, because if you're unwilling to engage with a movie in its own terms, that's totally fine. You can just be like, I don't like foreign films. I just don't like reading subtitles, which could be fine too. But like, as long as you're interpreting why you don't like a movie accurately, I think
Hold
most
on. Do
people
you
will
think that this
resonate with
film
that.
is selling itself as a film that has a lot of pointless scenes in it? And that's why I don't
Which
like
one?
One Battle After Another?
No, I think it has a pretty good thread running through it, but I don't think every scene is meant to be meaningful. I don't think every character needs to have, like, for instance,
Hold on.
Leo's
Wait.
character
No,
does not
wait.
know
Hold
in
on.
the end for
You're
it to
so
have a
wrong.
point.
Give me any scene in that film and I can tell you what the purpose of the scene was. That every scene was supposed to be meaningful. It was just a dog shit plot with dog shit character development and dumb decisions on how much time to spend on everything. Give me what is the scene you think was pointless in that movie though? Every scene had a point. It was all supposed to build towards something. It just sucked. Or I'm sorry. I just feel like it was inadequate in what it was trying to build towards.
You think every scene in the movie had a point? Okay, hold on, let me think. We just said the entire paternity thing didn't have a point, so every scene related to that would not have a point.
I'm sure the point. It was. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of ways that you could read it. That like the I mean, like
church
a
scene
huge part.
wasn't necessary.
Well, no, because a huge part of the girl's life was finding out that like her foundation was a fucking lie, and that her mom wasn't actually the person that she thought she was. And now she found out like her mom spiritually wasn't the person she thought she was, and now she found out her dad physically isn't the person that he thought he was.
Oh, good. So
and
you
now
do
maybe
understand the point of everything.
well, I don't know. Maybe it could have been, but maybe the fact that that America was founded as a white supremacist country and her dad is literally a white supremacist dad. Maybe there's like a narrative that you're reading. I'm just saying it was dog shit because it didn't fucking matter. It didn't like discreetly. I can
No, you're
tell
doing
you.
a bait and switch. You're doing a bait and switch. Just a few minutes before, you said that there are several parts of the movie that don't need to be there. Like her being half black, like her having a dad who's a white supremacist, or Lockjaw being her dad didn't have any point. You can't now be like, oh no, actually everything did have a point, but it just didn't deliver for me.
Okay, let me expand further on what I was saying. I thought it was obvious. What I'm saying is that it doesn't treat the themes that it wants to explore with enough seriousness or detail to warrant having the themes in the movie. So when I say I could tell you what the point of every scene is, I can tell you why a scene is there or what it's supposed to like be for. But the issue is that I don't feel like it explores any of those ideas with any amount of seriousness or depth that would warrant having them in the film. So I can tell you like, oh well, this scene is supposed to be here because it illustrates her having whatever view about her parents. But I don't think it does enough with that to warrant having that entire thread in the film. They should just toss it and develop something else.
Oh, we should call up Thomas Pynchon, who's a novel writer, and tell him to toss out the entire novel and write something new.
True.
Well, the thing is,
It's
like,
an
if there's like
adaptation.
50 purposeless like B plots that like are never developed, and then at the end you're telling us that this is supposed to be like a Lynch movie where like there's like nothing to take away. It's just completely meaningless.
I didn't compare
And if
this.
you try to
okay, hold on.
investigate a
Person
Best
who-
Picture
person
movie
who's
any
talking.
further,
I didn't say this is supposed to be like a Lynch movie. I said there's many great movies out there that have many scenes that don't have points, and that Lynch would be a director who does that. I didn't compare this movie to that. I think this is a well-plotted movie with very accessible. It's meant to be for the masses, and Lynch is not. So don't put words in my mouth. Who even are you?
That's
I'm
prying mind.
number one.
Okay.
One battle after another hater.
Based.
Okay. Oh my god, are you the guy who plays Raid with Destiny? Is that you?
Arc, not
That was a
Ray.
while ago,
Oh
okay.
my god.
Ew, okay. I mean, if you like Raid, it makes sense that you wouldn't like one battle after another.
How did this cat
It's
get
just like
revived?
if there was
Why?
if any of the B plots were like developed more than like 2 seconds.
What
It would feel
B plot
meaningful.
would you like developed in this movie? Please
Like
tell me.
the daughter thing, like him doing the test and like the dramatic scene of like, do we know if she's the daughter? Like we already know. Like before the scene even like happens, we all know that she's his daughter. And then
Yeah.
like after that, there's literally like nothing happens. Like she gets kidnapped, and
Right.
then after that, she's not
Did you know
investigating any
Neo was
further.
going to take the red pill or the blue pill before he took it?
It's not the same comparison.
It is. That's why you don't have a response. Thank you. Thank you for your input.
Yeah,
Just because you know something's going to happen.
Okay,
doesn't mean that
stop.
it's a
Hold
big
on.
show,
I'm just
my
getting
friend.
baited and triggered so hard, okay? Listen, there is a point to Neo taking the red pill, and because him deciding to confront reality, however uncomfortable it might be, is an entire divergence
not what I
from the
was
path
responding
that he was on before. But I'm saying, when we say what's the point of her paternity test, when she learns what changes in her life, what changes in his life, what matters at all?
What changes in her life is now she's a target because she's his daughter. How is that hard to understand?
She was already what do you mean? She was already if anything, she becomes not
Who's
a
a target
target because
because
they
they're
kill the guy. That all gets dropped.
She was he is determined to kill her because she's his daughter.
Yeah, and then like 2 minutes after finding out that she actually is his daughter, the one guy gets killed. I don't even know who the guy who got killed was. And then this guy goes back to his office and then he gets killed.
And he didn't even kill her.
Yes,
He
but
gave her
she
to some
wouldn't-
henchmen.
She wouldn't have a target on her back if she wasn't his daughter. He would have dropped it if she wasn't his daughter.
I understand
That's
that
the point of
I
it.
understand that it works as a convoluted plot device. But I'm just saying that like
And
it
before,
does
when I brought up the Neo thing,
it doesn't
just
seem
put
to
a bow on
meaning
that. When I brought
it
up the
doesn't
Neo
meaningfully
thing, I
cause
brought that up.
yeah.
I brought up the Neo thing before because this person, I forget this person's name. Sorry, I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm just playing, okay? But that person, when they were just like, oh, we already know she's gonna be his daughter. Like, yeah, most movies you can predict the thing that's gonna accelerate the plot
Well,
or take it to the next level.
is that
That's
it's
not
like
a,
it's
that's
like
not a
super
knock
dramatic.
against the movie.
It's like super dramatic and like it's supposed to be this super important thing, and then it just literally doesn't matter at all. Like 10 minutes after it happened.
So, like, for instance, when we know
It does matter because the only
we
reason
know
she's
we know that. Hold on,
chased-
wait. We know that John is the fucking brother, sister, whatever to Daenerys, right? Like, that's
Yeah.
not. But the main dramatic part isn't supposed to be, oh my god, like we're finding out because we already know that. It's supposed to be how are they going to respond to it, and that's where the chief, in my mind, that's why a lot of people were upset. That was a chief complaint about the whole ending of Game of Thrones. Like, what the fuck was the point of this huge reveal? It didn't even do anything. Nothing really even changed that much to have this reveal. It's not that we already knew what was going to happen, so that's why it wasn't a big deal. It's that, like, the world didn't seem to respond to that earth-shattering revelation.
Okay, hold on. We're not going to do this thing of comparing television with movies because television has a lot more time to develop.
Sure, we don't have to compare.
characters
I'm just saying that that's what we mean. That's what we mean when we say that, like, it doesn't, like, what was the point of revealing this? We already knew this piece of information, and it didn't seem to cause a meaningful divergence in the path of the characters in the media, in the film or whatever.
You suspect that, yeah, she's the daughter, but you have this dramatic moment because there has. Would you have liked it if he got it like in an envelope saying that yes, this is your daughter, and he moves past it quickly? Like I don't understand.
It would have changed anything. It would have been the same movie. That's the problem.
Yes, it would have been the same movie, but also if like we cut to a scene of Neo in the Matrix, that too would have also been the same movie. We don't need a dramatic.
Yeah, but it mattered in the
moment.
plot.
Wait, no,
whereas, like, the daughter thing didn't matter at all.
Oh, you're killing. Wait, what do you mean it would have been the same movie if we cut to a scene and Neo is in the Matrix?
If we saw Morpheus offering him the pills and immediately the next scene is him in the Matrix, it would have been fine. We don't need to have the entire thing of like him choosing the pill or him having that dialogue of like, ooh, what should I choose?
We absolutely do. That's like the main theme of the Matrix is him choosing.
Yeah, the main theme of this is her paternity. I mean, the main theme of this is you might not turn out to be where your parents are. So we do need that big paternity moment.
Yeah, but it didn't matter for the rest of the movie.
It didn't change anything though. Her life didn't change at all.
You can keep saying the same thing. It doesn't matter. Like it does change the outcomes of the movie because now she finds out that her dad is not who she thought she was. She might have white supremacist. Not
Okay, wait.
tendencies,
Let's
but
hear.
she
This is
might have
easy. Let's
genetics
imagine.
of the person
Imagine
who
that
absolutely hates what she is.
What if that paternity test comes back negative? What changes?
What changes?
Yeah,
Like,
let's
she
say it
doesn't
comes
have a
back
target on
negative.
He might have released her. She might not have.
Wait,
a target
didn't he
on her back,
already basically?
might not be
I don't even remember what
determined to
happens
kill her.
after, but like we could think of another plot device for her to get away. But like, let's say it comes back negative, like, and then let's say that the guy in the car, I don't remember who this guy is, gets killed by her or whatever, because I imagine she'd still want to kill him and be with her dad. What changes in the movie? What changes afterwards?
Do you mean plot-wise or theme-wise?
For the characters, for the themes, for the plot.
For her, the realization that her dad is someone who hates her. Do you not think that's an important part of her character? Like important part of.
It doesn't seem to matter at all.
Interesting.
No, because I don't think anything happens. This is what I'm saying. This is why. No, hold on. You're relying on extrinsic.
No, I know what you want. You want to look at the camera and have a dramatic monologue of, "Oh my God, how will I grapple with the fact that my dad is a white supremacist?" That's not going to happen. Like,
I understand this. I can't. I don't know how to. I don't know. Listen, I understand this. This is why I'm saying I'm disconnected, because in the past, when you watch a movie, it's about the director showing you things and then making you feel things based on what he shows you. But now the way you guys watch a movie is like you see a thing, it's like, oh, well, I know in real life what this thing feels like. LOL. So I don't actually need this to be communicated through the medium whatsoever. Because LOL, it must feel bad to have a dad like that. LOL, I don't need to be illustrated in any way, size, shape, or form on the fucking screen. That's so. But I understand people might watch movies like that now. That's fine. I hear this response from people. But holy fuck, why even watch a movie then? It should just be like a audiobook. And then she finds out he's the dad, and that's it. But you can imagine what that's like, because we don't need to show you. You can just imagine it.
But what? So you're not even giving me an alternative of like what you wanted her to do. Did you want her to like stab him? Would that have made it like?
The alternative is that like
have some reaction or response.
One of the B plots.
Or what was even the point? What did that change in her character? What was her even response to finding out? I feel like I don't even remember this part that well. Didn't she just like laugh at him or something? And then that was it. Like, what the fuck was the point of any of this? I don't know if she looked at her dad, Leo, any differently. I don't know if she looked at herself any differently. I don't know if she considered her place in the world any differently. I don't know if it made her view her mom any differently. And all these people seemed like they'd be really heavily impacted by a whole change of paternity like that. It just seems like it carries on as normal. LOL.
Life does not carry on as normal, though. She is changed by the end of the movie. And the fact that she doesn't reveal it to her dad might mean something. Like, you can take away, like, I don't know, you want her to have some kind of, like, dramatic reaction to this. And it's just not that type of movie. Perhaps she would have after the events of the movie. The events of the movie are cut off at a certain point. It's a slice of their lives. It's not meant to be like a biopic which covers her from like.
It's not like you're just
such a long
they
movie.
Had no time. They had nothing. They had no time.
And it's a long movie where nothing is even happening for like 80% of the movie. It's like, how could they possibly have had time to show this when they have to show another scene of Leo driving with the sensei guy?
You want this to be a drama style movie, or like a movie like Everything Everywhere.
No,
All at
literally,
Once,
you're confusing director shows something on the screen with director shows something in the most accessible, basic way possible. You're saying that like it either has to be like that, or there could just be no response whatsoever. That's why when I asked you how would anything be different, you couldn't even give an example. You couldn't change anything. There's not a single thing that would change.
This is not the type of movie where like people like sit around like in Everything Everywhere All at Once. One of the reasons I didn't enjoy it is because they have like 2 or 3 confrontations between mother and daughter, where like the mother is like kind of giving her disappointed face, and the daughter is giving back like, "Ooh, I wish you would just love me" face. And this is just not that type of movie. It just isn't. It's meant to be thematically a lot bigger. It's meant to be about the state of the country. So they're not going to zoom in.
First of all, you're totally wrong. This movie had zero commentary on. Actually, I think that was one of the biggest disappointments that some people had, was going in expecting this movie to comment on the state of the country or politics at all. It had zero. There was zero. There was nothing in this movie about state of the country. Absolutely nothing.
You must have missed a lot of sensei scenes then.
Oh my god.
Oh
my god.
Like the non-binary kids. That's like the only political thing.
Sorry. I can't hear both of you at the same time. Can one person speak at a time?
Okay.
I know you need 2 of you for one of me.
Kind of
but
socio-political was like the dad, like, oh my god, the kid's like a non-binary kid, and he like misgendered them or something. Besides that, there was literally nothing political about this movie.
There's nothing political about one of the main characters harboring and taking several migrants to refuge.
Oh my! It's like a fact of the matter thing. It's a political movie because we see a thing that happens in the real life, in the real world. Yeah.
Completely irrelevant.
The Manchurian Candidate. Oh my gosh, there's political assassinations happening, but that doesn't make it a political movie. It's just in a political setting, and everyone's a politician.
Well, because it doesn't comment on politics. It's just like a set. It's just like a fucking theme. It's like they're wearing fucking pirate hats, and this is what it is, and it's just completely meaningless to the whole plot.
At the top of this conversation, I did say the entire movie is meant to be a meditation on the types of revolutionaries. Like, there's people who at some point were part of a revolution and they've now checked out. That would be Leo's character. That would be the Perfidia character, who's just attracted to chaos. Like, she seems to move from chaos to chaos. abandoning her family and is not very interested in familial life. That's another type of revolutionary.
Yeah,
and then you have
she
Sensei.
just has like some dumb letter that like to address like her completely abandoning her.
And then you have Sensei. You have Sensei who does the everyday mundane work of like keeping migrants safe and keeping refugees safe. So you have different types of revolutionaries. That's the point of the novel, and that's the point of the movie. Now you can't say this is not a political movie. You can say that you don't like that it's a little bit cartoonish, or it has all these ciphers, or it has caricatures. You can say all of that, but to not even acknowledge that it's a political movie.
No, because when
really
someone says
stupid.
like it's a political movie, there's like this idea.
It doesn't say anything
commentary.
interesting. Yeah, it doesn't say anything interesting about politics. It really doesn't. There's no interesting commentary here at all. Like, oh my God, racist white guy actually fetishizes black women. LOL. Or some revolutionaries are competent and some aren't. LOL. Like it could have been interesting. There could have been a whole lot of stuff about that, but there wasn't really. I feel like I feel like an hour and a half of this movie just Leo running around like a fucking retard. With not much is even happening.
That is the point of the movie. That is the point of the movie, that this once celebrated revolutionary is now bumbling and idiotic and doesn't seem to have any purpose in life and is totally out of touch with his former skill set, if he had any. That is the entire point of it.
If that is the entire point, then it's a
If he
piss
was
poor job at
hyper-competent, he
doing
would
that
be
as a
James
movie.
Bond.
It's just not a great. Then it's just not a good movie. That's it.
Like he's not even remotely competent. Like his daughter.
You don't like
like
fish
at
out of
the
water
end,
movies.
you
That's
know when
what I
his
said at
daughter's.
the top.
This is not a fish out of water movie. It's a dog
Yes,
shit
it
movie.
is.
It's a bad movie.
The problem with this
Alright.
movie is it's just you know what it is? It's one B plot after another. We have like the revolutionary B plot.
Oh,
we
did
have
you
the
come
the
up with
paternity
that
B
like a
plot.
long time ago
we
and
have,
was waiting for this
I
perfect
came
moment to
came
say
up
it?
with it
One
2 seconds
B plot
ago.
after another.
2 seconds,
Loved it.
one B plot after another. And then it's the stoner loser dad who doesn't do anything. And then it's her not telling her dad. And then it's my mom abandoned me. And then she just sends me the letter at the end that, this is why
Give
I
me a
did
movie
it.
that you like, person.
And then this is like.
Give me
the
a movie
thing
that
is,
you like.
I don't have to.
Say Casablanca.
This is not the point. The point is that I have to give you.
No,
a
no, give
movie
me
that
a
I like.
single movie that you like. Give me a movie that you like.
He likes the Super Mario movie, dude. He has the media literacy of a child, bro.
Okay.
Like
you
the
can do
problem
this
with
for
this
any
movie is that
You know, I can
nothing's
do this.
developed.
I can do
Nothing's
like,
developed.
Matrix is all about Neo taking the pill and like going through the Matrix and
Yep,
like
it
fighting
is.
with
True.
Anderson and like
It
at
is.
the
Yeah,
end,
true. Yeah, and it all works to that, and it reinforces that. Yes, true. It is. Yeah, true. I agree.
True, and so everything he said about one battle after another is also true. Like you just can't keep saying what happens in the movie with like
Imagine if the Matrix. Imagine if the Matrix had 2 hours of Neo and Morpheus driving around the city, like looking at the sexy red woman and looking at how fake people's lives are. That would be the equivalent of this movie. Okay.
What was the point? What was the point of Monica Bellucci kissing Neo
Which one?
in Matrix 2?
We don't talk about that movie. Nice try though.
There's only a Matrix
It had
one,
no
what do you
point.
mean?
It was just supposed to be a
There's not
hot
sequel,
scene.
what do you mean?
Yeah, probably, but that's a Matrix 2. We're not talking about Matrix 2. Okay, that's a totally different movie. That fucking Morpheus slices a car in half with a katana in that movie. Okay, that's a different movie.
Matrix
all right?
2, okay, hot take. Matrix 2 is better than Matrix.
It doesn't surprise me you would think that. Yeah.
It's just
sounds- that totally lines
how
up.
do you enjoy a movie where like everything is like there's like these like 5 fetus plot lines that are just completely not fucking developed, and there's literally like at the end of the movie you watch the movie, you get out the theater and you're like, what the fuck was I supposed to get away from that? Does that have to serve you at all?
No. Have you tried reading any of this author's books?
Oh my god.
They are exactly like that. This
The
is an
legendary.
I
Have
have to
you
read
done
the
the
book
book
for the
adaptation?
movie
You have to read the
to be
book.
good.
You don't have to read
You don't need to read the book. It's
you
all
gotta
on
read the
screen. They're wrong. She can't
book.
argue properly.
3 hours
I'm sorry.
with
The whole
Uh-oh.
point is that community action is
One of the
more
best
efficient
directors in the
than
world,
political
but he can't-
extremism.
he
That's
can't
why every
communicate a
single
single
politically
thing.
extreme person in the movie sold out immediately when they faced adversity. Sensei's the
Yeah,
goat
that's-
because he
that's
got
not
him
that
out of
point. Yeah,
jail
exactly.
within
That is
fucking
true. Like,
hours.
Wow.
That's
that
true.
sounds like it'd be
But,
really
like,
interesting to
we didn't
explore
even
with some
get-
depth
we
on
didn't even
screen
get to
rather
the
than to just
thematic-
fucking
They
show
didn't
it.
do that.
thematic
Literally
reasons.
every single revolutionary sold out. Leonardo DiCaprio was a fucking retard throughout the whole
Yeah, it was
movie
a
because
fucking
it's
joke.
all
It was some
aesthetics.
fucking Marvel
No,
fucking joke. It was just a
the
punchline.
No,
The
Marvel jokes are better.
The punchline is extremism.
Marvel
is all
jokes are better.
aesthetics.
Marvel jokes are better. You know what? The next time, you know what? Maybe tomorrow night. Maybe we should watch this on. Can I watch a movie on Kick? We should watch One Battle Tonight, and I will tell you. We will watch the whole movie. And why horrible?
This person who just joined. I'm not really sure why this person joined, but he is right though that every character in the movie, except for Sensei, I don't know if Sensei ever sold out, but every revolutionary did sell out by the very end, except for one. And that is the point of the movie. The revolutionaries are messy. They're not like Lincoln. They're not always like people that you might think are these people that you put up on a pedestal. They can often be disappointing, but at the end of the day, like he said, community action is what matters, which is what that girl takes away as well. Like she forgives her mom and she goes to the protest. That is the point of the movie.
Yeah, she would have done that anyway. What, just curious, why did the guy get arrested at the end? What was the point of that?
Which guy? Who are you talking
The
about?
sensei dude. Why does he jump out of the car and it's like, oh, I was drinking. Why does he do that?
Oh, you forgot. No, you messed up.
Why? Was there a
It's 'cause
reason for that?
He was like tanking the heat, like the police heat for
Yeah, I know, but why did he have to
Leo.
admit that he was drinking? Why couldn't he just like chill there and talk to the cop for a little bit
I
and
don't
then
know. It
let's...
was just some fucking aura farming shit. I don't know.
Okay, true.
It's like you need everything to fall
I know,
into
yes,
this
that's it.
little
This is like the
box of,
fallback excuse
why.
that every chatter uses when a movie has no like comprehension. Like, oh, you need it to be more
Why
explicit
don't you
when
have
there's...
fun?
Yeah, true.
It's literally like that discussion of like the person who like rates every movie good, and they're just like,
What?
oh, everything's about having fun. And
Okay,
like,
but that's
and then,
base though.
well, yeah, but like the thing is like this is like a best picture. Like this isn't even like that type of movie. This is like a movie that you're supposed to like seriously engage with, and like everyone's
but
like
that's-
hyping
that's
the fuck
a-
out of this
that's a
movie.
problem with
Everyone's
you,
like,
though. Like,
this
you
movie,
think- what
this
if this movie
movie
was a
is
musical?
fucking
Like, have
cute.
you
This
not
movie
heard
is
of
like the
Moulin
best
Rouge?
fucking movie of the year. And then when you watch it,
Yeah,
and it's
it is the
literally
best.
it's
It is
literally just
probably
fucking
in the
IMAX
Oscar
slop.
category,
It's just
it might
IMAX
be.
slop.
True,
Okay,
it is
no,
IMAX
so
slop.
this is the problem with all of you. You think that Oscar-winning movies are the best movies of the year. Now, people who actually watch
The reward
a
is
lot of
called
movies don't really think
Best
Oscar
Picture of the
movies are
Year.
the best movies of the year.
That's the name of the
They
award.
don't. They just think they're Oscar movies.
It's called Best Picture of the Year, is it not? Checkmate.
It is, but
Checkmate.
it is your
Too late.
bias to think that the Academy Awards, their boards or their voting body votes for the best pictures. They are biased just like anyone else. They're just Hollywood people. So to call these the best movies of the year would be like just saying that this particular body liked this movie. It doesn't really
you're
mean anything.
defending
There's so
the
many
merits
other
of this
bodies like
movie.
they have
You're
the
defending
Cannes
it.
Film Festival, they have the New York Film Festival that award a different set of movies, more foreign movies, more independent movies. So that's why I called it Oscar bait. It is meant to be pleasing, crowd pleasing to enough people that it wins an Oscar.
Cringe.
I mean, that's what happened. They made an Oscar bait movie and it won.
Exactly, because of the state of film today. David Lynch would have hated this movie if he was still alive, guaranteed, 100%. David Lynch would have been the #1 critic of this movie.
Probably, yeah. It's not in his style. He probably would have been, but
And he would have been right.
He would have had some really great reasons, I think. unlike you.
Absolutely, it would have been this exact. I might be channeling Lynch from the grave, actually.
No, he wouldn't
with
say like, "Oh,
every-
this scene doesn't have a point," because
He'd say,
he
yeah,
would be
it's like, what the
hypocritical.
bloody point? Was he British? He would have said, what in the bloody hell is this scene even doing here?
No, he's American.
He
All of
would have
his
said it
movies are
anyway.
American.
Most Americans are fake anyway. They're all Brits in disguise, unfortunately.
Well, so do you buy? So wait, is your mind changed on like the theme of the movie? Do you understand how revolutionaries are meant to be perceived through the movie?
I don't know how to
Or-
convey. I don't know how to convey.
There was literally not a single person who missed the subtext.
Yeah,
of, like,
everybody
the
knows what it is.
revolutionaries
It's
are
not
washed.
about like what the thing is. It's about like, do they pay serious attention to it on screen and like give it time and develop it with like the.
But if they didn't have a bunch of different revolutionaries, then you'd be like, oh, there wasn't enough contrast between the characters. You would have said that.
What?
If they didn't have a bunch of different characters moving from one to the other, like they start with Perfidia, she leaves the movie, I think about 20 minutes in, then they move on to focusing on Leo, then they move on to focusing on Sensei a little bit more. If they didn't have these contrasting characters, you wouldn't see how the revolutionaries contrast with one another.
I don't need to see them contrasting with one another at all. I mean, if you want to show that, you can, but I don't.
I just don't like.
You just said
like,
that
the
the
movie's
movie
trying
needs
to
to
do
have
like.
a point, and that's the point of it.
Okay, if
movie's
that's
just
the
doing too
point,
much.
it's a bad point.
Is it doing too much or is it doing too little?
Well,
It's doing
it
too
has-
little while trying
I
to do
can't.
too much. Like there's like 10 different
Okay,
fucking.
that's not an actual.
lines
That's
that it's
not
trying to do.
actual media.
No,
literacy
I can explain it.
or-
I can explain it. Oh, media literacy. I knew you were gonna say that. The idea that like this movie was 3 hours long and you're defending it like it's not a TV show. It can't develop anything, or it's not like a book. It can't.
It
like,
did
define
develop.
anything.
It did develop the
It's
thing.
3
Engage with what we're
hours. It
saying,
should be able to
developed.
define any like a single thing.
It did develop the thing. It did develop the character study of different types of revolutionaries. What more do you want from it? It's not going to go into the
That
personal
was like the
lives
first hour
of
of
each
the
one.
movie.
What?
And then like that point's not revisited, and then it's actually mostly just about the plotline of like the daughter and the dad. But like the revolutionary thing is literally just like some subtext, some theme, but it didn't actually matter at all to the plot of the
Okay,
movie.
so you want everything to be text and not subtext. You want like the single entendre.
Hold on. Wait. I'm so
No, it's
curious.
just
Wait,
not,
no,
like, it
wait.
can be
I'm just okay.
subtext,
Wait,
but it has to
wait,
be,
wait.
like, meaningful.
Wait. What do you think in this movie was subtext?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Or?
No. What do you think in this movie was done subtextually? I feel like this movie was literally like white nationalist guy not actually has kinky, degenerate BDSM sex with black women who they are raping each other. You're telling me this was a movie with a lot of subtext?
No, I didn't say that. I think the person who was talking about things said, what's the person's name? Who's Bing? Who are all these people?
I'm Prying Mind. That's me. It's me.
Okay, Prying Mind. That person said that this movie has only subtext, no text. So I was responding
I can't
to
speak
that.
to
No,
him.
I'm saying I said specifically that like what you're trying to say is that like this like revolutionary thing is like it's kind of like this under like theme, and I'm just saying that it's not developed at
It's
all.
not an
But, like,
underneath.
none of
It's
this
not
stuff.
theme
But
underneath.
none of this.
It's text. It's text. The subtext is on paternity, on white nationalism, all that shit
No,
is
it was really
subtext.
very explicit. That's what he was saying. Like, it's explicit. Like, him being, like, the fucking, you know, the racist dude who's, like, into the fucking, fetishizes black women. That was not subtext at all. Like, it was very explicit.
I don't think that's I didn't say that was subtext. I think her grappling with her paternity was subtext. Her being concerned about her paternity, her mom and dad would be subtext.
Now that's
But,
what I
that was
call a
literally,
cool
like, the most
story, bro.
dramatic moment of the movie.
The reveal is dramatic, but we don't know how she feels about it because she never talks about how she feels about it. There's no time to.
Oh, true.
to
And we
talk
never
about it
even
because
get
she's
to know
not
how she
gabbing
feels
with a
about it,
friend.
right?
She's not gabbing with a friend on the phone like, "Ooh, I just found out my dad's a white nationalist."
Wait, do we even know what she does feel about it?
No, I'm not entirely sure what she feels about it, and I don't think the movie wants to communicate that to me.
What she feels
So it's
about
not, it's not unsuccessful.
Oh, okay.
It's just like it's just weird that the defense of this movie.
Exactly how she feels about it. She probably feels some discomfort, but at the end, her love with her dad seems to have enhanced, knowing that he's not her dad.
Why?
Like at the
How?
very end,
That's
it
a
seems like
really
she's more engaged with her dad.
That's a really big point. How did we get there?
What do you mean?
You just get that's a
Her own
really
story
big
because PTI didn't say anything, so she just had to make her own fan fiction.
Yeah, this
How
is
do we
fan
get
fiction.
to-
You're
how
fan
do we
fiction
get to
writing.
how Leo?
You're
Wait,
fan
how do
fiction
we-
writing
how do
about
we-
like, well, maybe she actually it affects her a great deal, but we don't know. Or you're writing fan fiction now. This is fan fiction.
Yeah, because it's not in the movie. I'm saying that that's possibly what happened, but it's not meant to be shown to you. You guys want it to be about that, but it's not about that. It is a study of revolutionaries. Her feeling a certain type of way about her dad is part of the subtext of the movie. Like, she's probably uncomfortable about it, and I can tell from the end because she's got a repaired relationship with her dad.
If this was a study of revolutionaries, I feel like we would actually explore the revolutionaries. Like, what is it that
And it
makes
does.
it doesn't at all? What
just
makes
shits on the
Leo? What, hold
revolutionaries
on.
as a
What
joke.
makes Leo or pro?
It does not
what
shit
makes
on the revolutionaries.
no,
It is-
hold on. Wait,
it's a
I'm
joke.
asking a question.
Did you not learn
What-
anything from you
what
guys?
makes-
need to
what
need
makes-
to think of Benicio del Toro's
Yes,
character.
gotcha. What
when you're
makes any
talking
of
about
these
how they
characters?
treat revolutionaries?
What makes any of these characters different from one another?
I feel like we said it like a couple of times now, so this time pay attention.
Okay, let me ask this because you're about to state a bunch of facts. You're about to state a bunch of facts. Stop. You're about to state a bunch of facts. Can I? Let me. Are you gonna waste the time? Okay. My question is why? Like, why is the one guy competent? Why is Leo not competent? Why is the black woman? Why are they not competent? What's the huge differences in these people? Why?
Because Leo at some point probably just checked out of it. After his wife left, it doesn't seem like he was politically engaged enough.
Okay, that would have been an interesting thing to like explore and not just do a time skip through. That's why I'm saying it doesn't explore any of it. That's why you just had to say probably checked out.
You don't want this movie to be a drama movie, and it's not. It's not a soap opera of like how they feel. It's
what do
not
you think
meant to
this is
do
a movie?
that.
What kind
It's
of movie
meant to
is this if not a
skip through
drama
time.
type of
So
movie?
it did what it's supposed to do.
Is
Now,
it an
if
action
you want to
movie?
see a drama movie about a person?
You're not.
Like,
You have no
sitting
response to
around,
this.
you
This
should
is a
watch The
filibuster,
Whale.
by the way. This is a filibuster. Okay.
I know, it's a great one too. So if you want to see like a movie about someone like contemplating their existence and like really parsing it out with no other action in the movie.
No, I
that
don't have
movie
to.
would
But
be The
you
Whale
said
or
that it was a
something
study
else.
of revolutionaries. It's not. It's clearly not.
Yes,
You
it
can't.
is. A study
Then
of
if I would ask you to
revolutionaries,
meaningfully
plural.
describe why
The study
any
is
of
that they're
them.
all
No,
useless
stop!
and-
Shut the fuck up, Prying. You keep saying retarded shit, then she attacks your point and does deal with mine. Stop. Well, for 1 second. Sorry. Hold on. You keep saying it's a study of revolutionaries. It's not.
Yes.
I don't know why the Sensei guy ended up being more effective than Leonardo DiCaprio.
Because sometimes people are just more effective than other people. It's
my
like
God.
asking
Okay.
me why
All right.
I'm
Okay.
competent at this conversation and you're not.
Okay. That's so. What you just said was not a study of revolutionaries. You're saying it's random chance.
It's not random chance. People It's not random chance. Okay, I don't know. So would you like me to tell you how Sensei was raised and how Leo was raised?
Yes,
And
that would be interesting. Yes, maybe he saw something, witnessed something, had some influence. That would be that would be
all those dots.
That would be a study. That would be a study of revolutionaries.
Yeah,
it wasn't. It wasn't.
In your head.
Yeah, you connect. You creating fan fiction for all these characters is not a study of revolutionaries.
Is probably more passionate about
probably. You don't know. You're not speaking to the text.
Leo and Perfidia were.
You're not speaking to the text. You're just making your fanficking.
Into chaotic action. He's not into chaotic blowing up of building. He is concerned with the passage of migrants from one place to another and keeping them safe. So he does not probably want to make a splash. Now, this is not fan fiction. This is just me reading between the lines.
No, you're not. You literally have no basis for any of that.
Like a little child.
His backstory could literally be his parents all got. Maybe he grew up and maybe.
You want to see a little like backstory? Like
no, I didn't have to. You said it was a study of revolutionaries. That implies a study of the people that are revolutionaries, not just.
No, that's not what it implies. That's not what it implies. That would actually be the antithesis of a study of revolutionaries.
God.
If they
You're in hardcore debate bro mode, so I accept it as I beat this boss. Okay.
One person instead of the whole community, you wouldn't see a contrast. You wouldn't see Perfidia selling out at the drop of a hat. You wouldn't see other people holding out a little longer and then selling out a little bit more. You wouldn't see Sensei being consistent. If they showed all of their backstories, would you like Regina King?
We got the 1 hour backstory on the revolutionaries.
You want like Lockjaw's backstory of like why he turned out to be a white supremacist? I don't need a backstory. The movie
that would actually be interesting, by the way. Yeah, what you're talking about would be a study of revolutionaries. Yeah, that would be interesting for why the people ended up the way they did. Why are some people competent and some people aren't?
TV show on this, and then you can go into the backstory. So there's this movie called, there's this TV show called Haunting of Hill House. In it, they go into each character's little backstory, and that would be perfect for you. Because it shows you, like, from the time they were children to when they were adults, all of their motivations, and each episode is dedicated to one character. That's what you need.
Well, if that movie was trying to be a study or a backstory study or a study of revolutionaries or whatever, and it was dealing with them, then that would make sense to do that, yeah.
Do you think the revolutionaries were, like, portrayed as, like, being, like, good?
That is the point of the movie. That revolutionaries don't always have the best motivations. Like Perfidia's character, we're not really sure what she stands for. It just seems like she's attracted to chaos. Whereas someone like Sensei seems to be much more passionate, which is why he sustains through the movie. He's unchanged. Like he does not sell out. That is the point of the movie. That not all revolutionaries have the most noble intentions. Sometimes they're just attracted to chaos. They're just attracted to notoriety.
Doesn't he literally give up his entire illegal immigrant smuggling ring to save Leonardo DiCaprio's character? For what reason? Is that one little girl that Leo doesn't even save, by the way, worth more than all the illegal immigrants that the Sensei guy was helping?
He might have just made a split. He might have just made a split decision in that moment.
Oh,
so
more random. Another random explanation. It's just random.
It's not random. He made a split decision in that moment, and I don't think he sells out in the entire operation just for Leo. His priority in that moment is to keep Leo safe, so that he saves the life of someone. Yeah, that's true.
At the expense of his entire operation.
Why is Lockjaw a white supremacist? Why does Regina King's character care about this girl? Like she's a random person. Like you're asking me questions about the character.
Yeah, because you said it was a study of revolutionaries, so I'm asking you questions about the revolutionaries. Yes, that's the point.
You can ask me questions about the revolution. Yeah, you can. But the point is that there are different types. And you can't ask me about the exact reason. Like, you can't ask me about, like, why did this revolutionary make this decision at this moment
Wouldn't that be a study of revolutionaries?
To, like, ride with it.
No, their decisions are not random. That's the opposite of storytelling. There has to be reasons why people act the way they do.
Their decisions are not random. No, I'm just saying I don't know why they made that decision. I don't know
Isn't
why
that bad? Shouldn't you want to know why they made the decision?
Wouldn't that make it a study of...
You're not supposed to know why they made these decisions. No, you're not supposed to know exactly why.
You keep saying exactly. We don't even have an inkling of...
don't understand.
So you want a precise reason why
now the hyperbolic straw man again? Yes. Good, true. Do you want them to sit down and stare into the camera and tell you why they made their decisions?
Yes,
that's exactly, yes. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Yes.
Like if you said something like the characters
no, I make a criticism, but you can't respond to any of them, and then you just immediately retreat to hyperbole.
Like, that would be an actual criticism.
You are retreating to hyperbole. You're retreating to hyperbole.
Benicio del Toro's character does not seem serious enough to pull off an operation like this. Like maybe they should have treated his character as more somber or something like that. That would make sense. But if you're saying things like, why did he make this exact decision at this moment? I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes people make decisions.
Can you think of other movies? I'm curious. Can you think of other movies on the top of your head where characters are making decisions? They just seem random. You don't know why they're making the decision.
Yeah, of course.
It's just like
wait, name a movie. What's a movie where characters are making random decisions.
There's a movie called Bling Ring. I don't know why those kids went into the house and started stealing stuff. That's the point of the entire movie, that these kids just want, I think they just want excitement in their lives. But you're going to tell me that, how do you know that that character wants excitement in their lives? But that's my hypothesis.
I don't know what Bling Ring is about, so.
Well, it's based on a true story. And even then, you can't really assess the motivations. I'm going to guess that they were bored, so they started shoplifting. Or they started breaking into houses. But they don't tell you that.
Yeah, but like, okay, so you read the book about this movie, and then you watched the movie, and you
I didn't read the
still are
book
basically
about this
there's
movie.
like
I read
zero.
the book that this movie is based on.
You
And
read
I'm
the, sorry,
not,
you
I'm
read
not
the
actually
book this movie
entering
based on,
anything from the
and
book.
you're still saying there's zero.
I could,
There's
if I wanted
nothing.
to. I could talk
this
about the
movie
book,
has to
but
communicate.
because you haven't read it, I'm not going to.
Damn.
Yeah, but the movie should be like emulating something. Like I read the Dune book and I watched the Dune movie, and it was like pretty similar. Like the themes, like
No, you
the
don't
idea
have to.
this is a
It does
3-hour
not have
movie.
to match. I can
It's a
think of 3 movies
it
off the top of
doesn't
my
match
head that do not
one-to-one,
match.
but there's
The
like
Shining is
themes that are
one.
communicated in the movie and in the book, and like for some reason you engage with this way more than 99% of people, and you cannot explain the point of the movie.
I've said it 1,000 times. Okay, the point of the movie is to show you different types of revolution. Now, you might not like that. You might not like that answer, but that is the point of the movie. That is the point of the movie. It starts off with one person and then moves on to another person. It shows you all of them in different contexts. That is the point of it. Now you can say that I'm smarter than Paul Thomas Anderson, I'm smarter than Thomas Pynchon, who are really established in these fields, and they couldn't think of a point. But it would be very stupid to do that. So if you can come up with what you think the point of the movie is, or what they were trying to communicate, then I would take that as a substitute. I could be like, okay, I could be wrong. But you're not able to provide that even. Like, you're not admitting that these are stalwarts in their industry, and they probably did have a point to communicate. You're just saying that they took these scenes and they put them together with no thought behind it. At least I can come up with a reason why they're formulated in this way.
Get Benicio del Toro to be the competency character. Get Leo to be a loser stoner.
Yes, that is the point of the movie.
Slap 2 plot lines together. We have the beginning
That's
plot
how
line,
many
the
movies are
revolutionary
made.
shit that
Yes,
doesn't mean
slapping
anything,
many
literally
plot
doesn't
lines
matter
together
at
is how
all to the
many movies are
movie.
made.
And then we have Leo being a loser the entire fucking movie, and the daughter literally does
saying that.
everything.
You keep saying that. Like, you keep saying he's a loser in the movie. Like, do you want him
Like
to be
the-
like some kind of great protagonist? Like, what
no,
is
like he
what is
just
the
has to like
criticism?
stumble somehow into like being competent to some degree, but like it literally
Yeah,
his
you
character doesn't
want
develop.
him to be
He's
James
the same
Bond.
fucking
You want
character.
him to be James Bond, and
He
you're
doesn't have to
disappointed
be
that
James
he's not James
Bond.
Bond.
He doesn't
There are
have to be
several
James
James Bond movies that are very good, and I suggest you watch those instead.
Wait, why does he have to be James Bond? You keep saying, you keep mentioning fish out of water movies. Don't fish out of water become competent in the end?
They don't have to. No, they don't have to become competent at the end.
What's a fish out of water movie where they're not competent at the end?
Big Lebowski. That's why I brought it up before.
How does that movie get resolved? I forgot.
It gets there's nothing to resolve. It does get resolved, but the main character has nothing to do with it. He's just like stumbling through life.
Does that even?
The main
I don't
character
even
does
know if
not
there's
have to
like
be
a point.
competent.
I don't remember. I just don't remember Big Lebowski enough, so you're lucky on that one.
You can't think of a single movie where the protagonist is not competent. I can think of. I just brought up one, like The Shining. There are 2 protagonists.
He was competent.
They just
the point
luck
was just
into
that, like,
killing.
Leo literally doesn't do anything. So like, what the fuck is the point of his whole character arc? Or like, if he literally contributes nothing to the story.
I feel like you would understand this if you had a heart and not just a
What is it? Wouldn't School of Rock? Wait, could School of Rock not be considered a fish out of water movie?
He's willing to sacrifice. He's willing to put himself out there and try to find his child, even though he's
That's not every. That's
something that a loving parent would do. And I hope someday you get to experience that.
This is not a plot. This is like the plot of a movie. If somebody watches a family member die and they're sad, that's like, yeah, welcome to the
You
most.
just described the slop movie. You just described like the slop feel movie.
True.
Like the dad saving his daughter, but like somehow
But that
it
is
wasn't
but
that.
you keep saying what's the point of it? He goes on this.
He doesn't do
expedition,
it, though.
Even though he's not competent enough for it because he loves his child, and that is the point of his character. That even though he's not competent, and even though he doesn't actually save the day, and his daughter turned out to be self-sufficient, the fact that he's there, that he's trying, is what's important.
Or they just wanted to put Leonardo DiCaprio in that role.
True.
Okay, like.
It's
You
just
have
like
a-
it's
you have a
like it's
problem
like a
with casting
3-hour
directors
movie, and it's
casting
just like
famous
the
actors?
defense of this character is like, yeah, he's useless, but at least he tried. And it's like,
Yeah.
like, you know what? He can be useless, okay? It's fine. But they have to do the plot line with "I'm not your dad." They have to do the "I'm not your dad" thing. They have to do that at the end, where she figures out that he's not her dad. They have to do that somehow if he doesn't do anything else.
You want that. You think he's only protecting her because he thinks she's his daughter?
I think that would be
Oh, wow.
interesting. That would be no. It's not even that. It's not even
Wow,
that. It's just I think that would be.
sociopathic-
I think that would be
tendencies
10
on
times
this
more
call.
interesting to explore. Him literally exploring nothing.
Wait, hold
Okay,
on.
so
Wait. Are you saying
I'm
the
a
primary
sociopath
motivation? Wait,
because-
are you saying the
because
primary
I
motivation
want-
of him saving the girl is not that she's his daughter?
I think if he found out that he wasn't her biological dad, he would still try to save her with the same
That's
might.
canon. You don't know that.
See,
Hold on,
see,
wait,
this
wait,
is the
I just
thing,
wanna
you don't
say-
know that. You
wait.
don't know that. Like that's why I asked
Oh
you
my
to
God.
name a movie that
It's the
you
ultimate
like, and I can do
filibustering.
that for any
What you
movie
just
that-
said would have
doing
actually
analysis
been
stuff, you're doing
interesting.
theories.
What you just said would have been an interesting if he found out that she wasn't his biological daughter and then still
Yeah,
persevered the
you
same way.
want
That would
every-
actually be interesting.
No,
That would
it
be
doesn't have
interesting.
to be that way because.
Yeah, I never
because
said
you
it had to
want
be that way. That
everything
was saying it
to
would be
neatly
interesting.
resolved with the bow on
Doesn't have
top,
to
and
do.
that's not how
Yes,
movies
the
work.
hyperbolic extremist example again. Yes, true.
Yes, but see, that's the you keep asking for scenes that the director and the novelist didn't want to include, and I don't know why that is. Like, you can't criticize a movie saying that, "Ooh, if I were the writer, I would have done
No one
this."
has.
If
No
I
one has
were-
laid. No one has given that criticism.
Yes, you are. You
No.
are. You're saying that. Oh, it would have been cool if they explored, like, if there was a dramatic scene, like
Yeah, that would have
in
been cool.
Everything
I'd never
Everywhere
said
All
it
at
would
Once,
Because
when
it
she
would have
confronts her,
meaningfully.
and he cries.
It would have
and says,
made
"Oh,
the.
even though you're not my daughter, I still love you."
It would have
Like, you
made the
want-
reveal a meaningful thing for the relationship between the dad and the father. That would have made it meaningful. Right now, it really doesn't matter. The paternity test could have gone the other way, and it would have zero impact on anything.
Okay, you can keep saying that, but like the entire reason he's determined to kill her is because she's his daughter.
That's a plot contrivance. It could be that the
He didn't even
we
kill
we
her,
could
though.
very
He
easily
handed
think
the
that the
henchman.
we
He
could very
tried-
easily we could
he-
very
he
oh
was
my god we could
determined
very
to
easily
kill her
imagine that the
because of
machine
it.
spits out the wrong answer and they realize it's the wrong answer, but he feels like he has to kill her anyway because nobody will believe him. Like we could contrive a plot where he still has to kill her at the end, but it doesn't meaningfully change anything.
But that's
Even
a
if he
reach.
does
That's
kill her,
a reach,
even if he
but
does
would
kill her, by the way,
someone random.
they still kick him out of the club. By the way, even if he does kill her, he still gets kicked out of the club. So it didn't even matter because they already knew.
Yeah, that's true. But
yeah,
yeah,
like, so what was
that's true.
the point? What was the point?
That's true. They would have kicked it, but he didn't know that. That's the point. That he didn't know that even if she was dead, they would have kicked him out of the club. He was so determined to get in.
Yeah, but then what was the point? Like then that plot was always going to end the
So
same
you're
way.
saying
that
what is
plot
the
was
point
always going
as
to be
you're
the
saying
exact
what is the
same way.
point as
There's
not the character, but someone who's watching the movie and looking at the things and saying, "Oh, what's the point?" But he doesn't know that he's going to get
Sure,
kicked
but
out
when
of the
they
club.
introduce like that they're like onto him, the idea that his choices have zero impact on them discovering like that
That's
fact.
exactly the point of the movie.
Kind of the point I'm saying
That
was
is
just
exactly-
meaningless.
he did
It's just
all that
meaningless.
shit. He
It
did all
doesn't matter
that
what
shit.
happens.
He got shot in the
All
face.
everything,
It's meant
nothing
to
matters.
Shock you. It's meant to shock you that he did all that, but he still couldn't escape. Yeah. That's the point of it. So you keep saying what the point of the movie is with like this tone of like disdain and hope that substitutes as
It
criticism.
really
and it
wasn't
doesn't.
shocking. He said he got reverse raped, and it was like very obvious that they weren't gonna fucking let him live there.
He didn't know that at the time. He didn't know that. He was determined to get into the club, and he did everything he could. And we do see him walking into the office and dying anyway. So that's the point of it, that everything he did was for no purpose. But that's the point of the movie, that he did all this shit, and they still got him. It didn't matter. His efforts don't matter. His competence doesn't matter. They're still gonna get you because you had this one transgression when you were younger.
Nothing matters is the conclusion you said.
Oh, like everything everywhere all at once.
Nothing matters. No, the movie shows you her going off to a protest, and it shows you that she hasn't given up on revolution just because her parents were imperfect or she found out that her dad is not her dad. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, she is pushed into action regardless of all of that. So it does matter at the very end, but it doesn't matter in the way you want it to matter. I think you want it to be something like, oh, she grapples with her paternity, and you want it to be a character study of this one character, which it turns out not to be. That doesn't make it a bad movie. Now, you
Imagine
could say that
wanting
it didn't
somebody to
connect for
grapple with their
you.
paternity when they find out their dad is not only not the person they thought he was, but actually the exact opposite in every conceivable way. He's a white national. Imagine wanting the character to actually grapple with that for like a microsecond. How crazy.
I mean, when you say a microsecond, do you mean like an expression change? Because I definitely saw an expression change.
Yeah, I wanted her to grab the camera and do a soliloquy about her newfound father.
It does
yes.
feel that way because
yeah,
you're
I know it does.
presenting
Yes,
an alternative
true.
of what you want. You're not telling us what you wanted her to do. Did you want her to pull her hair? Like, what exactly did you
Start
want?
cutting, maybe get a tattoo.
Like explore like the
Get a
biggest, like,
4chan
dramatic
trip.
You can do
Start
the meme response,
posting.
but like the fact that you don't have an alternative shows me that you think any other alternative would be too cringe.
You want me to write a script for a movie? Because I also couldn't tell you how I would want the ending of Game of Thrones to change. I mean, I can't levy the criticism that Jon revealing that he was the fucking Targaryen whatever is meaningless. That I can't have that criticism because I can't write a whole different Game of Thrones ending. What?
You can't suggest. Yes, if you've thought about it this much, you should be able to suggest an alternative.
No,
of how
that's
the
just
plot should have
completely
gone.
wrong. No, absolutely.
You totally should
no,
be able to.
no,
Like,
no.
if you want a
no.
plot to be a certain way, you
criticism
should be
and
able
the
to be like,
creation
it
of
would've
art are
been
two
nice to
entirely
have
different
a
things.
dramatic
No.
action.
But so then who do you
Yeah,
critique
these
art
are
then?
very different things. Like the people who make movies, it's their job to make the movies enjoyable, not the viewer's job to do
It's
that.
our
So
job
viewers
to
shouldn't have to
scream
know
know
these
about
things.
them on stream.
Who's that directed to?
Well, towards you, because I feel like you said that it's like when
Yeah,
you watch
I
a
have fun in the
movie,
movie,
like as
and
a
I
consumer,
understood-
you
I
don't
understood
have
the point of
to
every
like know
scene,
how
so
to make
that
movies,
means that the
right?
director was successful, and obviously the entire academic voting body felt the exact same way. So it was communicated to. It's just a niche
Oh wait,
audience who
I
doesn't
thought you
seem to
said
get it.
before that their vote wasn't that important and it doesn't mean anything because they just
No, it
what
doesn't.
they
Yeah, but it
like.
means that it's popular. It doesn't mean that it's the best movie of the year. It just means that it's popular enough. You just said that it needs to connect to people,
Wait,
and
really?
it
Did
did.
Avengers win Best Picture? I didn't know if it was just a popularity contest.
Wait, did it not?
It's
It
not
should
only
have.
a pop. It's not,
The
it's
Avengers
not
was the
a
best movie of all
popularity
time.
contest in that domain. It's not meant to be a box office reward. It's meant to be. It's meant to be a reflection of what the Academy likes. Now, you can have like a slasher movie that's never going to win an Oscar, right? Like even if it's much more well
It's
made.
meaningless drivel like this.
Ooh.
What can you name a slasher movie that you think could have won?
No, I didn't. I wasn't advocating for a slasher movie to win. My point is just
Yes,
that
but a
this
slasher
movie
movie
shouldn't
can
have
never
won
win
this.
an Oscar. Can never win an Oscar because they like a particular type of middlebrow sort of prestige movie, which this is. So it's in that category of Oscar bait. That's my point. That it's in that category, which is why it was awarded.
Sure, because it was IMAX slap, and it was good IMAX slap, but it was completely meaningless.
Shrimp alas.
Okay. All right. I mean, obviously it connected with a bunch of people. Now, I'm not saying this was my favorite movie of the year, but I just feel like when people criticize it, the criticisms just don't hit because everyone's like, the plot. And that's why I asked you to name a favorite movie of yours because I can criticize the plot all day. So that just means that you're looking for a pretext to dislike a movie. You just can't be like, oh, this movie is just something I didn't enjoy.
I feel like Dune, like you could there's like a line and I can follow it. Like I just don't know. Or even The Substance last year, it should have won Best Picture. But the idea that like
The Substance, the entire last portion did not have a point. When this person goes on stage.
Wait. No, you gotta extrapolate that. What do you mean by that?
She's
Yeah,
confused
I was going
with
to
not
before you cut
like
me
doesn't
off.
have like a necessarily coherent plot to not have a point. Those two things do not mean the same thing.
What part of The Substance did not have a point? I want to.
The part of The Substance, the ending of it didn't have a point. Why is she on stage like a morphed creature?
You think that didn't have any relevance?
No, nothing. It had no relevance at all.
It was completely meaningless.
Completely meaningless. It's
Her
drivel.
taking the drug that had these negative side effects, like when she's obsessed
No,
with
no,
beauty.
not that part.
When
I
she's
just think
obsessed with
the
beauty and
stage
she's
part,
obsessed
the
with
exact
her vanity,
stage part at
and
the
the
very
idea
end
where she's
had
at the
no
stage
point.
and everyone sees. Like her,
Yeah, it
like,
had no point at all because all of
it had
that was
0
resolved
point.
before.
Very 0 point.
She's damaged. She's damaged now. We didn't need to see like the laughing crowd.
Yeah, but it was just further. But that had a point though. What do you mean it didn't have a point?
It didn't have a point.
She was a disfigured fucking monster, and she did it all in hopes of like becoming beautiful.
Yeah, but she
again.
didn't have to stand on the stage for that. We saw her be discovered at the home. Why did she leave the home at the very end?
Because that was the whole point of her character, was she wanted to be publicly seen as beautiful. How many times was she on billboards? And then the disgusting monster that she turned herself into was putting on this ridiculously
Yes, but we would have
over-the-top
gotten that
grotesque...
even if she stayed at home because it was very well established that she wanted the limelight. We didn't need
Yeah,
to
but like
see
when
the
you're
people
again for
laughing
people
at
that
her
are
on
watching
stage.
movies, they're not just supposed to fanfic out the rest of it in their head. You want to see things on the screen. That's the point of seeing a movie. movie. He's not inventing like, oh, I'm sure afterwards she had a performance that was symbolically representing her failure to actually develop as a person.
The movie could have ended with her disfigurement right there, and she didn't need to be on the stage.
Sure, but now you're
We
doing
didn't
the
need to
thing
see
that
that
you
last
said that we
part.
have to do. You're saying that
walked
you
away
would
with
have
the
rather
exact
had
same
it
feelings.
directed a different way, but like it had a meaning, like it had a purpose, and you're.
But
denying
it didn't have
had
a purpose because the preceding scene established that purpose. So this next scene was purposeless.
Wait, what was the what was the preceding scene that you think was that established the ending?
She morphs into the creature and sees herself in the mirror. That means that she's no longer beautiful.
Yeah, but the public doesn't.
Wait,
see
hold
her.
on.
Yeah, the public doesn't need to
Stop.
see her.
No.
She knows she's not beautiful. She knows she's not going to be perceived
But
as
her
beautiful.
relationship with her own image
She
to
didn't
the
have to go to
public.
the stage.
The whole point of how she viewed herself had to do with how the public views her.
Yes, but when she saw herself in the mirror, that means that she saw that no one was going to perceive her as beautiful. So we
I
didn't
don't
need
even
the
know
last
if
scene.
I'm not even sure if she knows that at that point because she still goes out and she does her appearance to the public was the entire
This
point
is
of
fan
the.
fiction. You can't know that for sure.
I can't know what for sure.
fiction.
I can't know what for sure.
You can't know for sure that she needed to go out and get the public's validation. She would have known it.
That
when
was
she
the
was
whole
I don't
in the
think
mirror.
you either didn't watch the
character was that
movie.
she was fucking
You
doing
didn't.
music videos.
You either didn't watch the movie or you didn't understand the movie at all. I don't even. That's an insane take.
I mean, that's how we feel.
She's reading Wikipedia on it right now.
Well,
That's what
to
she's
be
doing.
fair, what I'm doing is exactly what you guys have been doing for the
Except
last
it's
half
not
hour.
because
Just
I can
being like,
justify
this
every
scene
single
has no
thing.
point.
I can
This scene
justify.
has no point.
I can
That's not an
justify.
argument.
You can keep filibustering, but I can justify every single thing I give with scenes from the film, and you have to bring up like out of like things that aren't even in the film. Say, oh well, this is probably like when we asked like why you said it was a study on revolutionaries. Like, well, why was this character different from this character? Like, oh well, he probably had a thing happen, or maybe this happened. It's like, well, how was it a study on revolution? You don't even know why the difference between
you
these
guys are
things.
extrapolating
And then,
that she needed to go to the stage to see people's reaction to her.
but
When I'm
that's
telling
not.
you
That's
that
not.
she would have
Yeah, the
seen
movie
people's
You're
reaction
filibustering.
to
You're
her
filibustering.
earlier.
You're filibustering.
Mirror.
You're filibustering. It's not. That's not extrapolation. The entire point of the whole film is scene after scene after scene of her and how other people view her and the sacrifice she willing to go for other people to view her as beautiful and seeing. I'm pretty sure there are scenes where she sees her younger self like on the billboard outside. Do you think that's just for her to look at? It's for the public to see her. The whole performance that she's doing at the end is a public performance.
Yes, but she didn't need to go to the stage to establish that. We didn't need that part.
Okay, I think it was meaningful.
So it's an extraneous scene.
It's
like
not
the scene
extraneous.
That could have
Saying
been
that you
chopped
didn't-
and the movie would have been the exact same.
It wouldn't have been
Like,
the
it could have
exact same.
ended
You'd be
with her
missing
in
the
a
whole
house looking
point.
at her ugly self.
No, because there are other ways that scene could have gone theoretically, right?
How?
I don't know.
Like
It
she
could
goes
have.
to your key?
Maybe
she's
she
good?
goes up. Maybe she. Stop. Hold on. Okay, stop. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Maybe it goes up at the end to where maybe she goes on and she can't bring herself to go on stage because people in the audience are booing her and she has to run away or something. Or maybe it's she goes on stage and I don't know. There's a million different
Okay,
ways.
so you also need to do fan fiction to justify a scene. This
Hold
is
on.
the
Stop.
problem,
Stop.
though.
Stop.
Any
I'm going to
scene-
serve
any
you. Stop.
scene
You
can
can't say a
be-
random retarded thing like that. I'm not doing fan fiction.
No,
You
it's
asked
not
me.
retarded.
You asked me.
It's not. The movie
You
could have
asked
ended
me.
before and
You
you would have
asked
walked away with the
me.
exact
You
same
asked
feeling.
me the question of like how could it have been different? And then when I tell you how it could have been different, you tell me I'm doing fan fiction? No, I'm telling you that the last scene was meaningful because it could have been different. And I just gave you some ways
Yes,
it could have
because
been different.
When I tell you the outcome of her paternity is important because the only reason she has a target on her back is because she's his daughter, you said that, oh, actually, maybe he could have murdered her even if she wasn't his daughter because he was too afraid. That would be fan fiction. Like, you also have to extrapolate. When you're justifying the presence of any scene or the absence of any scene, some extrapolation has to be done, which is why I was demonstrating that the last scene was not required for the substance, and to show that it is required, you do have to do some extrapolation and guess what the character could have been feeling and thinking.
No. The reason why I said the paternity test thing doesn't matter is because the only reason it seems. Now, it'd be cool if this was incorrect because then it would actually make it a movie that deals with the issues of what it's trying to show. The only reason why the paternity thing mattered was because it was a plot point in order to drive the plot forward. But it didn't seem to have a meaningful impact on any of the characters. We could have invented a million different reasons why. Maybe instead of it being a paternity test, maybe the whole thing was she just watched. That was a random black young girl that watched him.
It's like saying that. It's like saying that the only reason the substance, the thing, doesn't work for her is to drive the plot forward. The only reason this technology turned out to be bupkis was because we need to drive the plot forward. You can do this for any fucking movie. It's stupid to do it for movies that you don't
that didn't
like.
even remotely connect. But listen, I understand the comparison. It
So
just
look,
we're just thinking about these in totally different ways.
If the medicine that she was taking, if the thing that she was inserting into her spine, if it worked perfectly, as most technology tends to, or most medicines tend to, then there wouldn't be a plot. That's like saying that's a plot contrivance that it didn't work.
But it would
and made her
meaningfully
ugly.
change. Yes, that would change.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm getting
Just
baited. No,
like
no, no,
in
you
One
don't even know what I'm
Battle
gonna say.
After
You don't know.
Another,
You don't know. You have
if she
no
wasn't his
idea.
daughter-
No,
if she
that would
wasn't his
change the
daughter, She
entirety.
wouldn't have a target on his back.
Oh my
He
God,
wouldn't be
no, you're
determined to
so
kill her.
wrong. No, they would change the entire purpose and point of the movie. If the medicine were to work perfectly, you would be
Yes, and if she
changing.
wasn't his daughter, it
No,
would change
no,
the
it
trajectory
wouldn't.
of the
That's
movie
my whole
because
point.
he would
You're
probably go
Oh my God,
home.
the filibustering is crazy. When you ramble random stuff, it's because you know that you don't have a point. Okay, if you were to make it so that the medicine works perfectly in the substance, that would mean that we should achieve the impossible levels of beauty that are imperfect, or I'm sorry, that are impossible for a normal person to achieve. It's the fact that there are byproducts and side effects to chasing such impossible perfection. That's the whole point of the movie. Now, if it was the case that him being the father of that girl, if that was like integral to the plot of the movie, not just to drive the plot forward or whatever, but it was like a meaningful message that was conveying something to the audience, then it would be meaningfully different if it changed one way or the other. But it being one way or the other doesn't really change anything besides just giving us a plot device to move the characters forward. In the substance, it would change the entire message of the movie. How would it change? And I can ask you this very simply. How would the message of the movie change if she wasn't... No, I'm asking the question. How would the message of the movie change if she wasn't actually his daughter?
If she wasn't actually his daughter, the message of the movie, you're asking me the main themes of the movie, how they would change? Like
Any
the
part, yes.
revolutionaries theme? No, it wouldn't change. What would change is probably the way we look at the dad. So one of the reasons her relationship with her dad is probably repaired. Now you're going to say the word probably, like you're speculating, but I have to because you're asking me about the themes. So themes are speculated upon.
No,
so I
they're-
think
I
at the
know.
very end, she
they're not.
appreciates that even though she's carrying the genetics of someone who she thinks is vile, she knows that she has her own choices to make. She repairs her relationship with her father, who's not really her biological father, and goes out and does her revolution stuff. And she does not abandon her her adoptive father simply because he's not her real dad. Like she isn't like, let me chuck this relationship out. She appreciates that he tried to find her and that's her real dad. So that's why it's important in the movie that this person who she's not related to did all this shit for her, and at the very end she still wants to keep a relationship with him because she accepts him as a real dad.
Yeah, but it literally wouldn't have changed. It didn't change anything. If she still accepted him, even though he wasn't her dad, and if he was her dad, she would have accepted him.
Oh, you're not
It's
my real
literally
dad.
the
I'm
exact
gonna
same,
peace out.
the exact same line. It's the exact same plot line. It's just one fucking straight line. Nothing could have changed. There's no diverging
No, I
story.
think at the end of the movie, if she kind of told him that, oh, dad, I'm not really your daughter, and if she had left him, that would have been like something I think you guys might have enjoyed. But the point of the movie is that she doesn't care that he's not her biological dad. She accepts that he did this big act of courage for her, and she accepts him as her dad, her real dad, like
And that would
more
have been
than
the
her
exact
biological
same
dad.
if he was, and they didn't explore that at all. It would have been the exact same if he was her dad. Like there was no like change. There was nothing that changed. There was
What
nothing
makes it
meaningful.
incredible is that she's still with him and still living with him
Why
and
does
still
the
has a loving
distinction matter if it
relationship
doesn't
with
have
him,
any
and
impact on
has
the plot?
probably not told him about her biological reality
Why does the
because she
distinction
wants
matter
him
if
in
it
her
doesn't have
life.
any impact on the plot?
So, okay, so we're doing this thing where we're jumping around where Steven's telling me that he wants it to be reflective of the themes, and you're telling me you wanted to move the plot forward. So both of you have two different threads.
Well, no,
I'm arguing
it's
with
the
both of
exact
you at
same
the
thing.
same
You
time.
said in the substance that the ending public scene didn't matter, but if that didn't
didn't.
happen, like the movie would be very different. It would be like the
No,
ending of the movie would be very
if the ending scene didn't happen, the movie would be the exact same. It's a person who took beauty extremes to its natural course. She took it to the absolute worst point and sacrificed the little beauty she thought she had and became ugly. It would have been the exact same
Yeah,
movie.
but the public wouldn't have seen her as ugly, and she
Yeah,
wouldn't
but we don't
have
need
like
that
she
because
wouldn't.
that's not the only thing the
That
movie
was
is
one
about.
of the most important parts of the movie.
No, it isn't. It's only to you. So
So the
I
produ-
can
so
also
the-
say
the
that the
whole- all of
paternity
her
might not be
interaction
the
with
most
her
important
producer.
part of the
What were the-
themes of the movie, but
all
it's
the
part of the
interaction with the
plot
producer
to
that
drive
was
the plot
meaningless.
forward, and it might not matter. I think the overarching theme of the movie is about revolutionaries. The paternity thing, I think, is a throwaway plot. Is not even a throwaway plot. It's just something that happens, and I think
Yeah,
it
so it
made the
doesn't
movie more
matter.
interesting.
That's basically what you're saying. It doesn't matter.
I'm just saying it's something that is underneath.
That doesn't matter.
Underneath the overarching theme of revolution.
It's not
So
underneath
that's
though.
what I'm
It's
saying.
like
The
we have the
substance, the
most
last
dramatic
scene, I
scene
can
in
do
the
the
movie.
exact same thing and
is
say
that
it doesn't
scene.
matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter that she goes on stage. She's ugly. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like I can keep saying the same thing over and over. But your attachment to that scene is because you liked that scene. I liked that paternity reveal scene. I liked that scene. So I'm not going to throw it away. Now, you can say that the plot would have moved forward regardless. I don't think the plot would have moved forward. Thematically, too, I don't think much would change, but I think it's cool that she had repaired her relationship with him despite knowing that he's not her biological dad. And she
So then
decided to stay with
why
him.
would I care about this story if literally none of the choices made have any impact on what's going to happen, and it's just all heading to the
So
same
you're a plot
destination?
person. You need everything to service the plot.
No, it's
which
just
is
that
fine.
there's it would have been interesting if
You can't keep saying,
if
look,
there
you
were
can't keep saying for half
diverging
an hour.
things that
You
could have
can't keep saying
happened.
it doesn't advance the plot, and then when I say, which I think you think to be a pejorative, like you need everything to service the plot. You can't be like vehemently like, no.
No, I just need
accept it.
any
You
plot.
need
It's a
to service
3-hour
the plot,
movie.
and that's
It's a
okay.
3-hour movie.
That's okay. You need it to service the plot, and that's all right. That's you though. Most people don't need
You're
every
saying the
scene or
3-hour
everything
movie
that happens in
didn't
the
say
movie to service the
anything.
plot.
Isn't that a bigger indictment on the movie?
No, it isn't. We don't need everything explored in a 3-hour
You
movie.
want art to not be meaningful. Is that what you're trying to argue?
Yes. Have you ever heard of abstract art?
It wasn't an abstract art, though. This was not abstract art.
Okay, but you just said
This
you
was
don't want art to be meaningful, which is why I brought in.
Sure, but you're defending it like you're doing the
Abstract
Lynch
art.
thing again. You're saying it's like a Lynch. It's like a Lynch.
Just as a quick thing for the audience, abstract art is still absolutely meaningful. I don't know what that. I don't know.
Just splashes on a fucking canvas. It's just throwing paint at the wall.
Well, I don't think most people would categorize abstract art as that way. Like Jackson Pollock and stuff, you can find meaning in it if you want to, but you seem to be vehemently against that because you want artists to spoon feed you everything. You need everything to be representational.
Yeah, but this movie wasn't
every
that.
movie
Though.
does not have
It's not what you're saying it is. It's not that. It's like it has all of these things it's trying to explore. It just doesn't do it well.
You've decided that this movie has to be a certain way and it's not meeting your personal requirement. And that's okay to admit. But then saying that the movie itself is bad, that's what I have a problem with. Like if you engage with the movie on its own terms and say, oh,
There's
but it
nothing to
still
get
didn't
with.
work for me, that's fine. And to be fair, like the substance thing, I do understand the point of that ending. I just think it was a bit long.
Oh, so it had a point.
It did, yeah.
Okay, so
It did,
then
but
it had a
But it
point.
was just
The
negated
whole
by the
movie
fact that
can
the
be
previous
defended.
scene also had the exact same point.
In
Through
one
the
battle
movie,
after
like
another.
you're hammered over the head with the theme of the movie, and even if you trimmed the ending, it wouldn't have changed your perception of
Sure,
like,
but
how
that's
you should
because
be
like it was going toward like that's the ending of the movie. You're comparing like one of the most important like plot points in one battle after another to the conclusion
Keep saying
of
that
the
in my
substance.
head, in
to
your
the
head,
conclusion
to me,
of the
to me.
substance.
Most important plot to me. Like it's important to you. Like to me, like I told you exactly why for me her paternity being the way that it was important because at the very end, very end, her connecting with her non-biological father, her adoptive dad, is important to me. Now, I think that's interesting. It might not have connected to you, but that's a you thing.
Damn.
So the revolutionary. So if you asked 99% of moviegoers what this movie was about, what do you think they would say?
I think they would say it's an absurdist political satire.
Yeah, I think they would
And
just
it's meant
say
to be.
it was
meant to be.
about saving. It was about him saving his daughter, and then everything else was just setting.
No, I think no. They would say that it's about revolution and how revolutionaries
what
are not
revolution?
how you might expect, and it's about within that context, it's about a former revolutionary trying to save his daughter. You would expect a former revolutionary to be hyper competent, which this person wasn't. If you don't have that backstory, if you don't have that backdrop of revolution, then you don't have it just would be a regular dad trying to save his daughter. The movie would be totally different. It wouldn't be interesting at all. Her mother would not be relevant. Like nothing would be relevant there. The last scene would not be relevant. Her going off to a political protest wouldn't be relevant. The white supremacist thing would just be completely diluted.
True. And based.
Okay.
How's everybody doing? Are we good? Did we get all that out of our system?
Yes, we did. But I actually don't understand. I don't understand why. By the way, we've been doing this for like how long now? Why in my little section do we have many people allowed in the call? How is that? It's not that it's not fair. Obviously, I did a good job handling all of you, but it feels like people had a lot of feelings about this movie, and They've been scared up to this point to talk about.
99% of the chat agrees with you that One Bad After Another is a good movie. I'm like the only other person who thinks it's a bad movie.
If you don't accept that it's a movie about revolutionaries, you think that the entire revolutionary thing couldn't.
I think you could have switched
not
out for literally
been,
anything else, and it wouldn't have mattered. Like you could literally, like you could put
You think if
anything
he was
else
like
in the
if he
revolutionary
was a
bucket.
former actor, if he was a former film actor trying to save his daughter, the movie would have been the exact same? Like seriously?
Basically, yeah, functionally, yes.
Oh wow. Okay. You just don't have the type of brain that most people have then, which is fine. I mean, you just don't understand why your former profession and being competent in that former profession should inform how you live out the rest of your life. People would think that, but it doesn't give you that.
It literally
Like
was
most people
all
would
just
think,
for
oh,
him.
most people
for
would
the
probably
joke,
be
the
expecting
joke
like
of
a
him
good
on the
movie to
phone.
contrast this with would be that Liam Neeson movie Taken. Like a lot of people would probably think that, oh, like his daughter is taken, like he's gonna like jump into action and just be really, really good and like kill all the bad guys. That's the type of movie
that's
you
what I
want.
wanted
And
this
that's
movie to be,
exactly
true.
the type of movie that this movie probably was kind of spoofing a little bit. Like a fish out of water, a former revolutionary that you would think is really good at this, but he just turns out to be not very good. She turns out to be self-sufficient. And yeah, and they showed you
It's
a
just
bunch
that
of
like
other
if you took the
revolutionaries
dad
to
out of the
contrast.
movie literally would not change at all. And I feel like the idea is that like the character should be relevant to the movie such that is like if something goes differently, like if he's actually her dad, like something actually changes. Like there's something meaningful about
What
that.
would that thing be? So when I ask you to speculate on what that thing can be, like what would you have liked if it turns out that she's not her daughter? Yes, the plot is gone. There is no plot if she's Leo's daughter. He would have returned her or left her alone.
Well, yeah, but like then there would be like some result. He would like have resolved the fact that he doesn't have the biracial daughter, and like that would have been a meaningfully different story. But like my point is that like none of the
So your
choices in the
point is that
movie
there is
matter
a
at
plot
all.
device in the movie. Is that your problem? Like in a murder mystery, are you ever complaining like, wow, if there was no murder, we wouldn't have to solve this mystery?
That's not what I'm saying. That's not the
But
point
it
of what I'm
sounds
saying.
like that's what
I'm
you're
saying
saying. So why don't
thematically,
you
it
tell me what
literally
you're
doesn't
saying?
even matter. At the end of the movie, there's no like her being his daughter or not. It doesn't matter. Nothing changes.
To you, it doesn't matter to you. It probably means something to her, and it meant something to me.
Yeah, that's fanon.
That's what?
That's fanon. You're creating a story that wasn't told in the story. Like, sure, there's like things you can infer, but like that's fanon. That's something you created in your head.
It's not something I created in my head. The fact that she's with her non-biological dad shows me that she is not only interested in biological connections. That is not something I need to be a genius to figure out. That is a very basic inference.
I know you're going to make the same
Sure, then why does it
criticism that
matter?
you said to everything else. It's like, oh, you need this spelled out on screen. But for what you just said to be a true point, she would have needed the opportunity to leave and go join some other group of people instead. But I don't even think that opportunity is presented. So to say that she chose her dad, that's not a very meaningful choice.
She also has a loving relationship with her dad.
That's fine. I'm
She
just saying
tells
that's
him
not.
that
Yeah,
she's
but
gonna be
that
back.
theoretically, that's the only person that she has. I'm just saying that's not a meaningful. What you're saying is another fanfic thing. That would be an interesting idea addressed on screen if she had the opportunity to leave and join some other group of people,
Hold
but
on.
she didn't. So.
Her relationship with her dad is changed. Now, these are nuances that a normal person should be able to pick out, but at the beginning of the movie, you can see that their relationship is strained. It is strained. By the end of the movie, they have a much more open, communicative relationship despite the revelation. And that is the point of that little subplot, if you want to call it that. But even if we didn't have that scene, it is still a plot device to make her Lockjaw's daughter so that he pursues her. So that would have been satisfactory to me. But that last scene of her lovingly interacting with him, telling him that she's going to be back despite this revelation, to me, means that their relationship is improved. She can still be a checked out teenager like she was at the top of the movie if she didn't
I
have
don't
anywhere to
disagree
go.
with anything you just said, but I just don't know why. I don't know why it changed.
It changed because he did something incredible for her, which is try to save her despite not being good at it. He probably told her the story of how, okay, now this is going to be an extrapolation. Are you guys ready? He probably told her all the shit he went through for her. And she probably told him all the shit she went through the
That's
day.
fanon.
And they probably bonded over that. Is that too much of an
Wasn't in the
extrapolation for
movie.
you guys? Do you think it's weird that they talked over dinner about what happened, what transpired?
PTA
And they
didn't put that
probably
in the movie
decided to
because
bond over it.
he needed the IMAX image of the
You
car going up the hill.
needed to have like a cutscene, like a
he
little
cut
bit
it
of
out
a
of the movie.
cutscene where they're like at dinner being like, you know what, I did all this shit for you, and that's why we should.
Remember
we should have a
when the
loving
car went up the
relationship."
hill? It looked really cool in IMAX.
Yeah, it did. A movie is supposed to be visually stunning, and this was.
Yeah, and that's all it was. The movie should be more than just being visually stunning.
And it is.
Otherwise, I would just, you know, it could just be a picture, right?
That's true. Yeah. I'm not really sure what kind of point you're making, but you can't be like, oh, this movie was pretty, and so it
As in
was
there's
bad.
people who are paid to write for the movie. There's people who are paid to act in the movie, and if none of that
You
matters,
think
and all
you're
that
doing something,
matters
but you're
is
not. You couldn't,
like the movie
like,
looks
you've only
nice.
named one
Well
movie
then,
that you like,
why would
the
I watch
substitute, and
any
I've already
fucking
shown
movie
you how the
ever
last scene
if
could
nothing
have been
fucking
cut out, and you
matters?
would have walked away with the exact same theme. You would have been like, the beauty industry sucks. You didn't need that last scene to show you that the beauty industry sucks. That was established in the first like 15 to 20
It's not
minutes
the
of the
beauty
movie.
industry sucks. It's like there's like this parasitic relationship between the fact that like she's getting older and she doesn't look as well and she can't like be portrayed in
Yeah,
media.
and you didn't need
Like,
the last scene to you didn't need the last scene to establish that. It was well
it
established.
did.
So
It,
that
it was like a
scene was
dramatic
extra.
way to establish that the public, like she was viewed as a monster by the public.
You would have known that whether you need
No,
to
because we don't
see
know. She could have
people
not
pointing and
gone to the
laughing
public.
to know that
She could have
someone
not
who's,
gone to the
who
public.
looks like a freak would be
She could
perceived
have
as a
just sat
freak.
in her room and then she could have become a
Yeah,
monster.
that could have
and
been a
it could have never
perfect
happened.
ending. A lot of people would have preferred the subtlety of that. But see, they don't cry about it. Like when I saw it, I didn't cry about that last scene being there. I just think that it was a bit extra.
Hers, just to be clear, also her staying in the at home and not going out, that wouldn't be subtlety. That would be changing the meaning of the movie. That would be changing
No, it
the
wouldn't.
ending of
It
the
wouldn't.
movie.
She knows that she would be perceived as ugly.
You
would
have
come
no
away with the
idea
exact same
about that.
themes
You have
about the
no
parasitic
clue.
nature
Why
of
do
the
you
beauty
think?
industry.
Why do you think she knows she would be perceived as ugly? Why would she go to that performance anyway? Then
Yeah, you tell me. That's a silly scene.
because she was like desperately wanted to be perceived as beautiful by them. That was like the whole goal. She didn't know. I don't
Yeah,
want.
but she knows she was not going to be perceived as beautiful. So the only thing that serves is to create a dramatic ending
You're
for the
reaching
movie.
so hard right now. It's not a dramatic
I'm
ending.
not.
Also, it's
I'm
like an
not.
absurdly silly ending. But it's like the
It's not. It's
culmination
not.
of everything.
You just like that scene. You like that scene of the people pointing to her and like being like, "Oh,
It's
you're
not
a
an
freak."
absurd.
You already
You don't
knew
think
she
the
was a
ending
freak
was a
before she
bit
went there.
absurd? The ending where
Do I
she's
not think it was a bit
spraying
absurd?
blood everywhere, and it's like a 2-minute scene of her exploding, and I think it ends with her like crawling to like a Hollywood star.
Yes,
and her...
I think that was way extra. That we didn't need that. We didn't need that for the theme of the movie.
It's the
But as an
culmination of the
independent
movie. What do you
piece, It might be
mean?
interesting.
It's literally the climax of like the themes of the movie.
Yes, just like the daughter going away to a revolution thing, driving to that is the culmination of the themes of this movie about a revolution.
Wait, so the climax of one battle after another, the whole point of that movie was that the daughter would become a revolutionary at the end?
No, it's that her mind has changed and she's now more politically engaged because she has understood that revolution is,
That's fun.
to be corny, one battle after another. It's all these small things that people do, like Sensei, like the other people who are part of the revolution, even though they're not perfect. It's all about
Wait, has
these
she ever
little
even
things,
met the
and
Sensei
she's
guy
more
before? Does she even
politically
know anything
engaged.
about this guy? Or are we just inventing this?
Does she know anything about whom?
The Sensei guy? I forget. Does she even know this guy?
Yes, he's her karate teacher.
Well, no, I mean, I'm sorry. Does she know that he does like illegal immigrant, like underground railroad things or whatever?
Oh, but that's what I said. She probably found out.
How do we
Dude,
know?
okay, hold on. You're being ridiculous here. You're like you want a scene of them going through the events of the movie so that you know that this character
It could
finds
be a
out
2-minute
what
line.
his off time.
There's
Don't be
a dramatic
ridiculous.
scene for everything.
You don't need a dramatic scene for everything. You can infer that she probably now has found out. But the idea is that she
You're
now
inferring everything.
understands the
You're inferring
meaning of
it
being
all away.
politically engaged. Or she appreciates it more.
So I'm gonna become more politically engaged after, like, knowing that my dad's a failed loser revolutionary and my mom's a failed loser revolutionary who ditched me. That's what you said.
Okay, it's not important that he failed as a revolutionary. She knew that before, but he tried to save her, and all the shit that he did in between the movie is important because he does it despite not being good at. Like, you need to understand that when people do things, they don't have to be competent at it for you to reward them with affection.
So
And
if you had two parents who were failed revolutionaries and then one of them ditched you because of that, that would
Yeah.
make you become you would become a revolutionary after that.
no, I think I would become more politically engaged once I found out that my dad, despite being a failed political revolutionary, tried to save me and did all this, like,
Remember
awesome
when he
shit to
chugged
try
the
to save
beer?
me, even
Remember
though
when he chugged
failed.
the beer on his way to save his daughter?
So your problem seems to be that Leo's a loser in the movie. You don't like movies with losers.
So if you're gonna save your daughter, would you hit a blunt like after you're trying to remember the password to save your daughter?
Okay, but did you consider that he chugged the beer
to
in
help me
IMAX?
relax, yeah, that's like taking a drink.
Well, the point was that like
I can't engage with this.
And
It's like the fact that like you're saying like he's like earnestly trying to save his daughter, and then there's like these like things that display like his lack of competency, and like you just completely disacknowledge them. It's like
Here's
it's
the issue.
meaningless.
Wait,
It doesn't matter.
so here's like a huge issue, and I already know you're gonna debate all of this because you can't possibly give any of these points. But like the thing is that like the end of the movie very easily could have been the daughter like just going off to college and studying full time and realizing that she doesn't want to be a revolutionary at all. And if that was the case,
It could have been that, but it wasn't that.
okay, that okay.
But didn't you just
Well,
defend it
stop.
literally being
In my
that
mind,
she-
in my mind, that's like that doesn't make any sense to me. That the movie could have literally been the exact opposite, because then it feels like we were never meaningfully building or reinforcing or commenting on anything the entire time.
Okay, so you think if she went away to college, you'd just be like, oh, like revolution doesn't matter. But this movie wants to tell you revolution does matter. That's the theme of it.
Does it?
But what I'm saying is that at the end of the movie,
movie,
if she would have gone off to college, then what you or anybody else would be saying is like, oh, well, I mean, let's look at what the movie sold the entire time. Well, her mother being a revolutionary, she completely quit and gave up and abandoned her family. Her father being a flunky loser revolutionary, well, he's the one that tried to show up at the end to even help and save her. And he's the one that has been there for her entire life. So she decided at the end, like, why even waste her time on this crazy revolutionary shit? She should be more like her dad, who never even wanted to be part of it in the first place. And that's why she went off to college. And that's what the whole movie was about. But because she decides to be a revolutionary, we can like spin up a whole other reason why she decided to be that. So it's like, what was the point of anything in this movie at all? If the ending could have been the polar opposite, we still could have found justifications for it.
But the point of the movie is that revolution matters. So you want it to deviate from its theme. It's, yes, that is in service of the bigger theme of the movie. Yes, her turning out to be some kind of politically engaged person is in service of the movie. And yes, we do have to guess, we have to infer that she does this because she finds out what her dad did, what Sensei did, and understands the importance of all these small things. We have to infer that. But if she went off to college, you're saying that we could have inferred the exact opposite? Actually, no, I couldn't infer the exact opposite, because that means that she has no reverence for her parents, that she is kind of like, I hate to use the word, but she's kind of like sociopathic or not empathetic.
Wait, why would
or
she
doesn't
have
understand
no reverence for her parents?
Like, I would have
What
to
do you
take an
mean by
extreme
that?
view of like
Her
what this
dad
type
quit.
of person is.
Her dad quit completely.
Her dad quit. Yeah, her dad did quit the revolution completely. Yeah.
So
he
why would
did.
there be no reverence for her parents to do what her dad wants her to do, which is to like study and not go out and do crazy shit all the time?
I don't understand what you're saying. So you're saying that the natural outcome of the movie would have been her not wanting to be a revolutionary.
I'm saying that it could have been, and we could like find arguments to justify that just as much. If anything, I would argue that more of the movie.
You could, and then you could find that justification, but that doesn't happen in the movie. I don't know how to explain to you, like, just because a movie ends in a certain way doesn't mean that you need to be like, oh, everything in the movie was working up and building up to this.
Because it would
doesn't
be.
have
I'm
to
just
be
saying
way.
that. I'm just saying that if the
Sometimes
ending
characters
could
just make
be.
choices.
No, my okay. If that's your perspective, that could be your perspective. That's fine.
Yes, it's natural for her to be inspired. Like I'm erring on the side of like it's natural for her to be inspired by the revolutionary acts.
If we're going to say the decisions are random and everything else, you're not talking about art or something else. You're talking about like a random collection of images. I don't understand there's no way to engage with that statement. It's not supposed to be random. To go back to the substance, if the substance would have ended with her being on stage.
The entire movie would be fixed if like she had a sit down with Sensei and he explains to her that life is one battle after another.
You can keep filibustering with a complete and total random hyperboles that have nothing to do with what I'm saying.
How can it be fixed? Because you want all these themes
you can
to come
keep
in
filibustering
for you
keep
to
filibustering.
give you like a character realization
nobody said
that
anything
is
of that.
never
No
going
one
to
has even
happen.
remotely said that's your fantasy.
I
No
don't
one has
know
said
why
that
you
at all.
keep framing it that way.
Wait,
Like,
I'm saying, wait, stop. Hold on. What I'm saying is that like if the substance would have ended with her going out on stage and her the audience cheering her on, and then let's say her mask falls off and they see her and they actually continue to cheer and she's beautiful and she's like celebrated and everything else, and the movie ends like that would meaningfully change like your perspective on the entire film. You would come away feeling completely differently about that, and it would that would just be a crazy way.
Yes, and also the same way if she went away to college, I would come away feeling like, wow, she didn't learn. She does not think the revolution is important. She was not inspired.
Yeah, but what I'm
by
saying
the
is that like
acts of
it
these people,
seems like
and it totally undermines the tone of the movie because the movie obviously wants you to think that a revolution is important, just like the substance wants you to think there is a toxic relationship between women and the beauty industry.
So then the question would be, why does the movie want you to feel like revolution is important? How does it convey that?
That it does convey that because it shows you the character of Sensei. It shows you the other characters holding out on selling out. Like Regina King's character has to be threatened multiple times. It shows you along the way. And this girl is also exposed to revolutionaries along the way. So she's understanding and learning a bit more and probably learns about Sensei by the end as well. So that's why she makes this decision to be politically active in her own way. Now, she doesn't go out and become an exact revolutionary like her mom. She becomes like a version of it. She becomes like a more toned down version of it. She's just going to a protest. That's probably the middle ground that she found acceptable to her. So she's doing it in her own way. Now, I'm not saying I'm not satisfied that she's not going on blowing up buildings and shit. Maybe some leftists would feel that way. I don't feel that way. So this is just a choice that she made. She could have made the more extreme choice and gone out and like started bombing buildings, abandoned her family. She decided to find this middle ground of being with her dad, being attached to her dad, not leaving
How
her
does the
family,
movie
and
convey?
still being politically engaged.
How does the movie convey that revolutionaries are important?
How does the movie? Okay, so we have the character of Sensei. Like I said, he holds out the longest, even though it's really hard to hold out and stick with your principles. But
How does
he
the
doesn't
movie
really ever
convey?
sell
You're
out.
just telling me.
He
How does the
usually
movie
makes wrong
convey that
decisions.
revolutionaries are important? Holding out is not important. How does it convey that revolutionaries are
Yes,
important?
it is. Holding, yes, not cracking under pressure is a very important characteristic of a revolutionary.
For what?
And it does show you people not doing that throughout the movie.
What? But for what?
There's
For what?
one
To what
person whose
ends?
sister had to be threatened.
Does that override all the other negative interpretations of revolutionaries in the movie?
So this is the problem, though. You guys want like
You
the
want the one
revolutionaries to
scene
be
in the
perfect.
camera? No one has said
Yes,
that.
it
It's
does
not
feel that
perfect.
way,
It's just
because
that we have this
when you
scale.
interject
We have
with
the
things like,
scale.
oh,
Hold on. It's not that they're
when
not perfect. You
When
understand?
you interject with things like, oh, so the guy had flaws despite
Hold
being
on.
a revolutionary.
Excuse
that
me.
means all
Why do you
revolutionaries
think
are
the
shit.
woman's mom and the dad had to go into hiding? She fucking murdered a guy for no reason. That's far from not being perfect. She's a fucking murderer.
Yes, and a lot of revolutionaries tend to be murderers as well.
That's a far cry from they're not perfect.
Okay, stop. Like, are you telling me you don't understand that many revolutionaries have murdered people?
That we're not talking about that.
Yes, we are, because she's the type of revolutionary who would murder someone. I'm not advocating
No,
that.
you're
but
not.
Her mother turned out to
You're
be that
so
kind of person.
far off. No, you're so far off that I don't even think when somebody says would a revolutionary murder somebody that's what we're talking about. When you
Yes, you
when
did.
you say
Because you said that it's not a perfect person. Revolutionaries do things and they are chaotic. They're not going to be like perfect people because there's no manual to follow and they're not going to follow the manual either way, because the entire point is that the manual is rigged, right? That's why they're revolutionaries. So this woman, she goes out, she murders someone, and she breaks under pressure when she's asked to give away the address and the locations of her fellow revolutionaries. That to me is a flaw. So she does have that flaw. She should not have broken. But the point of the movie is revolutionaries are not perfect, but everyone has to find a way to still affect political change. That to me is the point of the entire movie. Now, they all do it in different ways. And at the very end, the daughter finds her middle ground where she does not abandon her family. And yeah, I think that's a good middle ground. But she could have gone either way, like you said. She could have become like an extremist, like her mom, or she could have totally checked out like her dad. And yes, the movie, like, I don't think the movie reinforces how she made those decisions, but most people don't need, and I don't need her to tell me exactly how she came to the
you
middle
keep
ground
adding,
that she came to.
I don't know if
enjoy
you know
that
what this
she came to that middle
adjective
ground.
means. I don't understand. I don't know if you know. Are you aware when you say exactly? Do you know what that word means?
Yes, obviously.
Like if I tell you to build a computer and you don't know how to build a computer and you go, can you like give me some basic whatever? And I say, oh, so you need me to tell you exactly what to do on every single part. And I haven't even left like a basic list of, like you keep saying that phrase. Like most people don't need to say exactly. There's nothing in this movie about that. That's all fan fiction. Nothing in this movie conveys how revolutionaries are important. Conveys
tell me how
why
you would fix the movie. Tell me what you need, because I think you're avoiding telling me what would be in there because you know that anything you tell me will be.
What's the
some
movie
kinda,
supposed to be about? That's the first question. Because there's 20 million different things that you could.
The movie is okay. It can. You understand a movie can be about many different things.
No,
right?
I didn't know that. I thought it had to be about only one thing.
Okay, good. So the movie is about a bunch of different things. It is about revolutionaries, but within that framework of revolutionaries, we see the story of this one particular person. Okay,
Which
and that
person?
person happens to be a girl
Okay.
who has two extremely contrasting parents who are both revolutionaries as well, and she makes her own decision at the very end. Now, we don't see the exact mechanism of how she comes to the
Hold on,
conclusion.
wait.
that
Would
she
you
should
hold
go.
on? Wait, I'm
Nor
so
do we
curious.
need to. We
I don't know why you're
need to see
filibustering.
it
Can I
for
just
it
ask
to
a
be a
question?
good movie.
Do you
The movie
think?
is
Who do you
still a
think
movie
is the
about rescuing
protagonist?
her from her plight.
Who do you think is the protagonist of this movie? The main like character?
The movie, I don't know that it really has a protagonist. Like I would say it probably has like more. I don't even want to say anti-heroes, but it's an ensemble. I wouldn't say there's like a singular protagonist.
Okay, I feel like
It's an
most of the
ensemble
growth and everything happens through like Leonardo DiCaprio's character. It's kind of sort of following his thing. Like even the girl going to
Yeah,
the
I would say he has some growth. Well, he doesn't exactly have growth, but he kind of. Well, it shows that when he has something he cares about, he can actually do something. He doesn't chicken out and sticks with it.
No, that I think that's supposed to be like a growth. I think it's supposed to be like a growth thing because I think he has like a ton of anxiety over fucking everything, and he gets over it and throws them. And I think that the culmination.
Yeah, it is a growth thing, and he does grow, and I did accept that, but that doesn't make him the protagonist of it.
I think that he's the one that like. I think if there was one, I think it would be him. I think that ending scene where she goes.
I don't know. I think it could easily be the daughter. Actually,
Okay.
I think the daughter has the most complete arc.
Okay.
It could be both of them. I mean,
might
just
actually agree with her on that point.
I don't know what your mumbling friend is saying. I really don't. I can't even hear.
I said
her.
I agree with you on that point. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think the daughter is the protagonist.
No,
Yeah,
I think that at the end when the girl goes to the protest, I think that's supposed to be a growth moment for Leo more than the daughter, because he's the one. Yeah, I think so.
Why?
I already know why. I know I'm 100% correct on this, but you're going to try to find a way to talk out of every single reason. But the entire movie is the dad being incredibly nervous about the daughter going anywhere. There was the whole thing about the cell phones and everything else. And I think the big deal at the end was the fact that, and the big deal at the end, and the big deal at the end was the fact that she left and he was okay with her leaving. And he's like, oh, well, just make sure to call me and that's okay. And it was like a huge growth moment for him, showing that it wasn't anxious about her going out and doing things.
It is kind of because but that's because she demonstrated that she's self-sufficient.
No, she didn't.
She solved her own
didn't.
problem.
No, she didn't.
She did. She did. She at the very end she kills the guy, or like she thwarts him. I forget exactly what happens.
I don't think his daughter murdering somebody at the end of an insane adventure like that is like, oh, I fully trust my daughter to go do everything. But no, it required a whole bunch of personal development from him and trusting his daughter and trusting that to go not horribly or whatever, 100%.
So incrementally, like, I don't know how they could incrementally show that, ooh, he's impressed by her taking small little leaps instead of like one big leap. And
I never said they had to show
herself.
anything incrementally. I never said that had to happen at all. That's a fantasy that you're inventing.
But that's the thing. I can't really imagine how this movie with this plot could have gone any other way. I can't really think of an alternative way to do this movie without being super obvious, which is why I keep saying, like, is that what you want? Do you want it to be
what
a
do you mean?
drama
The
where there's a
ending very
confrontation?
easily could have just been her saying that she doesn't want anything to do with that world because she finds all of it to be fake and hollow. That the
She could have had that. Yeah, she could have had that.
Without changing any of the underlying, without changing any of the...
me, oh wait, hold on, Steven, hold on, one sec. Are you telling me that every good movie you've ever watched, all the events of the movie, the way they prime the character and the decisions they're making, you're telling me at the very end you can predict the exact outcome for that character or the exact decisions they'll make based on everything you've seen before?
It's supposed to be a fulfillment of or a culmination of everything in the movie that is demonstrating a point that
it doesn't have to be that way.
All right.
That is a you thing. That is something.
No, that's like an artistic
like.
thing. You're talking about some random, like a machine choosing random numbers out of a hat thing that I don't think anybody in the history of art engagement has ever engaged with art.
I can see her saying that, oh, I'm going to check out of Revolutions. Yeah. But the director does not want you to take, the director has a message he wants to convey to you, which is Revolution is good. And most of the movie shows you that Revolution is all these tiny selfless acts. It is about getting off your ass and like going to things. Yes, it does show you that. It does show you the messy side of Revolutions as they typically are. But at the very end, it wants to tell you that you still, despite all these flaws, we still want you to go out and protest, and it is a good thing to protest.
If it wanted to demonstrate that, then if he wanted to show that, then he would have to show some type of like positive thing attached with the revolutionary protesting or whatever activities. But overwhelmingly, it feels like the film portrays it really negatively.
You feel that this movie portrays revolution negatively? I feel like it gives you a realistic view of what to expect from revolutionaries. I think they are like this, and the message is, despite it being negative, you should still go out and do it. Because if anyone thinks that revolution is supposed to bring you notoriety and fame and you're going to sit back and watch the checks roll in, that is a weird thing to think. Revolutionaries
sure, but they were
are
on the
always
other
meant
end.
to
Like
be
they were
negative.
hardcore shitting on revolutionaries. Like the mom's like a loser who like ditches her daughters because she's obsessed with chaos and she does the Sean Penn subplot. And then the dad just sits on his couch like just fucking all depressed.
So, in your opinion,
You're
the
supposed to come away
people
that
who did the
revolutionaries
French
are like good.
Revolution, like let's take the French Revolution. You think everyone who was in the French Revolution, you think all of them were good people?
They don't have redeeming qualities though. There's not like they're like this
Wait,
flawed
you think
archetype.
the
It's like
people who
this.
did the
He's
Reign
like a
of Terror had
flawed. He's
redeeming
like a
qualities?
flawed character who still has some upside. It's like he literally just has all of these negatives that are associated with him being a revolutionary.
But his redeeming characteristic is that he gets off his ass and like gets over his
To
anxiety.
save his daughter. It
Just-
has nothing to do with revolution. It's just it's to save his daughter. It's his tie to his daughter. It has nothing
Yes,
to do
it
with
has
revolution.
nothing to do with the revolution. Yes, it doesn't. But it shows that when he is passionate about something, he can do something. And like I said, there's other revolutionaries through the movie, like Regina King's character, like Sensei's character, are redeeming. They do have redeeming characteristics. They are consistent. So you have all these different types of people. Now, it's not showing
Sure,
you.
but on the
it's not
scale
showing
of
you
everything,
only
the
the positive
revolutionary
aspects of revolutionaries.
it's more negative. It's like more negatively loaded towards revolutionaries than it is positive.
But why do you need it to be more positively loaded?
Because you're the one who's interpreting it as saying that like revolutionaries, like everyone should like revolution is good and that like it's portraying revolutionaries as good. And then I'm telling you that
I'm not telling you.
it's not
I've
portraying it
never
that way.
once said. I keep saying they're messy. They're flawed. I'm not. I don't use the words like good and bad, like evaluative judgment. So I almost never use.
Okay,
words
sorry.
like that.
I don't think I literally just said they're not flawed.
Getting
They're not flawed. They're
politically
just bad. They're
engaged
just
is
bad.
good. Getting politically engaged is probably a good idea, despite you not getting the exact outcome that you want. That is the message of the movie. Now, it's not telling you to go out and murder people like Perfidia's character. The middle ground is what the daughter achieves, and I still think she's a protagonist, even though I do think that point of Leo having that little growth moment where he lets her go out, both of those things can be true. Like both him and his daughter have that growth moment, but it's telling you that a revolution is still good. Despite it being
It
messy.
has nothing to do with revolutionary stuff. It's literally just like it's like a family. It's a family thing. It has literally everything you just described, like him letting his daughter
Yeah, that's
go.
because you're choosing to ignore the revolution. Like I can also say the substance has nothing to do with the beauty industry. Like it just
You
has to do
literally
with
can't.
medicine.
You literally
It just
cannot
has
do
to do with
that.
medicine.
It's literally impossible to decouple the substance from beauty. It
No,
literally
I
is
just
impossible.
say that it's a meditation on how we're over medicated and we should probably get off Xanax and shit. It's not about the beauty industry.
There's literally no
per
way you can
se.
interpret it that way.
Yeah, I could. I just did it. Like, if you want to, if you're determined to leave out full chunks of what the movie is showing you, you can interpret a movie any way you can. But I'm saying that the fact that the movie has all these revolutionary aspects obviously means that it's trying to tell you something about a revolution.
All
Now,
of
you
them are
can
portrayed
ignore it and say
negatively.
that you only wanted to focus in on the family, but that's a choice you're making because you don't want to engage with the political stuff that the movie has to offer.
There's no political commentary.
Okay, well, I can't help you then. Like, if you're telling me a movie with so much political commentary on it,
Yeah, it's like
does
a
not
fucking
have
pirate
political
hat. They're
commentary,
wearing the
you can
pirate
say that
hat,
it
but the
wasn't
pirate
effective.
hat,
I can
they're not
admit that.
pirates.
I can tell you that. Okay, that's if you're saying it wasn't
They're
effective
wearing the
for
eye
you,
patch, but it doesn't impact any of the story. It's all a family. It's all about him and his interaction with his daughter, like his relationship with her.
No, for huge parts of the movie, you don't really see the daughter for huge parts of the movie. Like, you see Sensei's activity and you only see it, yes, because of Leo trying to save his daughter, but the movie does make a point to show you that Sensei is doing all this shit.
Yeah, so that he can save his daughter. It's all connected to him saving his daughter.
No. Sensei's not doing the stuff he does with the revolutionaries because...
No, him tanking the police for him is so that he can save his daughter.
Yes, but you're only looking at the plot. All the stuff that they show you that he's doing with immigrants, that is not meant to be in service of the
Yeah, it
plot.
isn't
Like,
explored at all.
that
It's
didn't
just
need
a
to be
pirate
there,
hat.
but it's in there because the movie's trying to tell you something about revolutionaries. Now, you can say that, oh, that wasn't important, or I didn't choose to pay attention to that, but that is a choice you're making because you don't want the movie to be political. Perhaps it's difficult to grapple with these political ideas, and you can say that the political ideas are not explored.
There's nothing political
very
about it
well.
though. Like if I'm a progressive, I
It
watch
has
this
a
movie
political
and
message.
I'm like, they're shitting on fucking revolutionaries. They're shitting on me. If I'm a liberal, it's like, oh my god, bro, they're shitting on revolutionaries. If I'm like even
You
farther
think this
left
movie is
and I'm
shitting
using
on
it,
revolutionaries?
and if I'm
No,
even
it's just-
farther
it's just
left,
showing you that
I'm like, oh my god,
revolutionaries are probably not
the
gonna
mom's
be
character
perfect.
is like fetishized throughout the movie, and this is like a really negative portrayal of like her. Like, there's like none of the political people who are politically engaged got anything from this movie.
That's not true.
What would if I was a
I would say
person
the
who was like
director himself was
pro?
politically engaged. I'm politically engaged, and I got that from the movie.
If-
I got that it was trying to tell me that political engagement is good.
What in the movie sold you on that?
What in the entire movie? The entire movie is about political engagement.
That was good. That was a
Based.
good one.
What? It's like ask me like what in the movie sold you on.
Well, if you would have
I know,
asked me
it's a
what in the
weird
movie
thing to
made
ask because
political
the entire
engagement
movie
look
is about-
bad, I can give you several things that make it look really bad. So I'm saying, like, at the end, what is like the thing that is like, oh wow, okay, this is actually kind of base. So
It
I need
is
to get
meant
politically
to
engaged.
look bad, though. The point of the movie is
It's
that
not.
revolution
You keep
is
mixing up
never
the word
going to
messy.
look
Stop.
good.
You're
It's not-
misusing
it's not
this.
an
You're
optics
misusing
game of,
this.
like,
You're
let's-
misusing
it's
this.
not a marketing
You're
endeavor
completely
like,
wrong.
Mission- what's that movie with
Revolutionaryism
Tom
and
Cruise?
progress is all about marketing. Of course it is. What are you talking about? Everything about huge social movements is about marketing yourself. It is picking the perfect victim. What
No,
we're
it
talking about
isn't.
It
No, it
literally
isn't.
is. There were black women that were kicked off of buses before fucking Rosa Parks, okay? And there were other people that were getting fucking attacked by policemen before the kids were getting eaten by the dogs. And Nelson Mandela making public appearances on TV was really fucking important. Every huge social movement in all of history. Look at the Palestinians today videotaping their children getting blown up by fucking bombs.
So when you
stop.
had
Hold
Martin
on.
Luther King, you also had Malcolm X,
Yeah, and no
who
one knows
was
who he
very
is. He's a
against
fucking
optics
loser.
and wasn't
He went to
optics
Africa,
correct.
realized he was retarded, came back, and got murdered by the Nation of Islam. The same people he was sipping for his whole fucking life. Okay.
Stop.
Nobody
No.
cares about Malcolm X. Okay.
Okay, now you're filibustering.
No, I'm not.
Stop
It's true.
doing my
That's true.
critiques.
Hold on. You listen. All I'm saying is that if you were to look at this movie, you keep saying that like, oh, it's messy, it's messy, it's messy. I think it'd be messy, but still overall portrayed as good.
But it's not trying to market. It's not trying to market. It's not.
You
trying to
just said
market
it's
it
trying to
you
make
like it's going to
revolutionary
get
stuff
you-
look good. Now you're saying it's not trying to market it at all, so it's supposed to be neutral?
It is not. No, it's not. It's not trying to make it look good to you. It's actually trying to show you that it is always going to be
You're
messy.
saying messy.
And
That's
you should
not. That's
do
a meaningless
despite
word.
that.
It's meaningless. We're not
Despite
asking for
that.
how
That's
messy
the
or
point of it.
yes.
Not-
Now
not
that's what I'm
because
asking.
of
I'm
it,
saying,
but despite
it, what is the thing that shows you, despite it being messy, what is the redeeming quality of pushing these types of actions? What are the redeeming qualities in the film? How is that redeemed? Where are the redeeming qualities at?
So inside the film, you need the film to tell you that helping other people.
You need to stop using that argument. Oh my God,
that's
Jesus
the
Christ.
best
you know
one.
better.
There needs to be a scene where she
than
looks
to
at the
say that it
camera.
has to be
She needs
obvious,
to grab the camera and look at it and go, "Being a protester is good." Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Yes.
There's no other
Yes.
alternative to think of. Like, there's no other way to make movies, I think, unless you come up with it, Destiny.
On default, a person entering this movie on default probably thinks that being politically engaged, I'm not saying being an actual full-scale revolutionary who goes out and murders people or bombs people, they probably think it's a good idea to be politically engaged. The average person watching this is probably a liberal, okay? So they're going to this movie thinking, yes, I want to make a change, or making a change is probably good. So this movie is telling you that it's not going to be easy. Doing that and like sitting on your ass all day or like talking about it to your friends is probably
Okay, but
not
when you
gonna be good
say
enough.
something's
So
not
shows you
supposed to be
portray- wait,
easy,
hold on, don't
no,
interrupt me.
because
Let
you're
me
filibustering.
finish
You're
and then I'll
filibustering. I understand what you're saying, but it's something not being easy. There's still supposed to be a payoff. When you say it's not going to be easy, but there's this good payoff at the end. I don't think that existed in this film.
The payoff. So the movie is not concerned with showing you a payoff because it's always good to help migrants. Like, do you need like Sensei, the person that he's helping? Do you need to
Really,
show?
if I'm MAGA, why would it be good?
Wait, hold
why
on.
would it be
Okay,
good? to
I don't
help
need
migrants?
this 3-on-1 action right now. Okay, hold on. But 1 second. So you need Sensei to take a migrant and like get him a green card or something, and that would be like, yes, like his actions have paid off. Of course, his actions are going to eventually pay off. They always pay off. Like doing good things for people who are oppressed is always going to pay off. The movie does not need to tell you that. What it is telling you is that it's always going to be hard, and people are going to be in it for the wrong reasons, like Perfidia, like the mom. They're probably going to sacrifice their families. That's actually a really big theme for many revolutionaries. It happens a lot that they sacrifice their familial life for the cause or for the chaos or whatever they like. So the movie's telling you that it's going to be hard, but you still should do it. And that's what the daughter takes away. That's what I think most of the liberal audience who watch this movie probably took away as well. The movie doesn't need to tell
where
you
does
that
it
it's going to be
communicate the
good.
should, that you should do these things?
What in the movie? What? Hold on. Who's asking me this question? Who's this?
That's me. Sorry, I don't talk much. I'm mostly just listening in, but I'm just curious, like, where does it communicate that you should do these revolutionary things?
It is not trying to communicate that to you at all. It's not telling
Why?
you should do revolutionary things.
Like,
Most
how can you
people
make the
watching this
argument then
movie
that it's
most
a
people watching this
nuanced
movie
take?
on default think that being someone who fights against the government, who fights against the system is a good thing. Most people know that, and they're like, they know it already. They're liberals. They think
That's
the
an
system is
innately
bad,
good
the
thing.
system is rigged. They should probably do something. The movie is telling you that if you have that, if you really want to do that, it's going to be messy, and you should do it despite that, or find the middle ground that you think is comfortable for you. That is the message of the movie. It's not trying to market revolution to you as good. Like, okay,
Well,
you
the thing is, like,
understand how
to me, it comes
revolutions
across
work?
as negative. Like, I saw it as a negative thing. The whole revolution arc seemed like it was a net
Okay,
negative.
hold on. Okay,
rather than something that was
hold on
like,
one sec. Let me ask this question because I'm guessing all of you are quite politically engaged. Did finding out that most of the founding fathers have slaves, did that tell you that our nation is worthless because they had a few slaves, or how did you grapple with that?
No, because you had the payoff of the United States of America at the end of that.
Yes, and the payoff here is that she becomes like some kind of politically engaged person. Sensei does help people. There might have been bad people around, there were bad actions happening around them, but they still persevere despite all that. They don't expect perfection
but a lot
from
of these
everyone
things are
around them,
portrayed as
and they go on with
personal
their
things
lives
that
and
they
they
do
help.
that are good. They're like
Sorry?
good character traits rather than like revolutionary action. Like it's personal growth for a lot of them. It's like they're doing good things personally that have nothing to do with the revolution. It looks like a lot of these
Yes, but
people,
that's
to
the
me
point
at
of the movie,
least, I
that the
saw it as like they're
revolution is
doing good things in spite
is doing
of
good things
the
for people.
revolutionary stuff.
But doing good things for people is the entire point of the movie. That revolution is about doing a small amount of good things over a long period of time.
I don't know what your definition is of revolution at this point.
What you just described sounds like basic morality.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's in the context of revolution. In this movie,
Yeah, but the
doing good
context
things
is
in the
presented
context of
as a
revolution
bad
only.
thing in my mind.
So this
I
was
don't
like
I don't see the part where it's presented as a good thing that has some nuance and complications.
So, hold on. So the movie is not telling you that being, so I don't believe that this movie is even trying to tell you that revolution is good. I think it assumes that most people believe revolution is good. That is a basic assumption it's making. That some
I think
kind
that's a
of
really bold
political dissidence
assumption,
is
and I
good.
don't think that holds for most people. But maybe I'm wrong. I haven't looked up the statistics on the general sentiment on revolutions. But
What if the immigrants
think
were
you said
actually
mo-
smuggling fentanyl?
So in the movie, like I said, there's different types of revolutionaries. I don't think the movie is pro perfidia. I don't think it tells you like, oh, go out and bomb things. But revolutionaries in the past have done that. You know, like people have done that in the past, and we sometimes do laud them for it. Like it's not always seen in a negative light.
Sure, but now you were the one preaching media literacy, and now you're the one telling us that this story, you have to innately believe that revolution is like an innately good thing because helping
I think
other
the
people is
audience
good.
watching this probably like I think this movie is made for liberals, and mostly
You think
liberals watched and engaged with this movie, and mostly liberals liked it. It's not a Republican movie. I don't think any of them would even watch this or even be primed to accept its messages. But most people watching this movie do think big systems are bad, like government is bad, like corporations are bad,
Do you think
and that's what this
do you think
movie is
liberals
catering to.
broadly think that the government has to be revolted against?
I would say most liberals think that governments suck. Yeah, that right now, yeah, they
okay,
do.
now we need to know what your definition is of liberal. What do you mean?
No, I'm not going to define that. We all know what a liberal is. But my point is,
okay,
just sticking
cool.
to this movie, the point of this movie is that there's different types of revolutionaries. There could be a more toned down revolutionary like Sensei. That's probably the best way to go. I think that's what this movie is saying. You could take another message out of it saying that, oh, like bombings were good, or like revolutionaries who like fight through blood and all that shit are also good. I don't think that's the message of this movie, but it is a fact of what happened. In the past, many revolutionaries who we now laud have done that in the past. So it does have that. It does have that aspect in the movie. I don't think it's endorsing that, but it's showing you that revolutionaries tend to be a mess. They're not these perfectly executed things, even though we tend to see them that way.
Okay, but if it's only portraying the mess and the negative things, how on earth are we supposed to get a positive takeaway from it?
So that's what I'm asking you. Would you like it if at the very end, like Sensei is given some kind of medal, or he's on a dollar
Okay,
bill?
I don't know why you keep
Exactly.
pretending.
Would you
Like, there's
to have it?
no such thing as subtlety. Like, you know better than that. I don't know why you keep asking us for how
No,
to
but
present
I
things
keep
with
asking that
subtlety.
because
Like,
it
that makes
seems
no
like that's
sense to
what
me.
you
Like,
want.
you know better
want
than
like an
that.
outcome.
You know
You
that,
want
right?
an outcome that you're not given, and that's your beef with the movie. But the movie is not trying to show you like, oh wow, you're gonna get all this shit if you do a revolution. That's not the point of it. The point of it is to just do it, despite not getting the stuff that you might want, the accolades that you might want.
No,
So
I
should
just don't understand how the movie is showing the point that you're making. you say that the movie is making a certain point, right? And then I'm saying that it doesn't seem to me like it is making that point.
So I'm asking you, how would it make that point? And you are not
Yeah,
willing
there's
to answer
simply
that.
no way to have subtlety in anything, right? There's no subtlety anywhere. We
No, but
have to
I'm
show
asking you
everything
how.
directly in front of the
How can you do
camera,
it? Like,
right?
give me what
Yeah,
would,
I don't know how
what
to do
would you
subtlety.
change in the
Yeah,
movie
yeah, everything should be like
to
overt
drive home
and
that the
obvious
revolutionaries
and
are
like.
good.
Yeah, I need someone to stand in front of the camera and just tell the audience that
Okay, so
revolutionary is
you're
good
just prepared
actually, and then
what
explain.
Daddy Destiny gave you. All right.
No, I'm saying that you are pretending to be stupid. You know better than this.
No, I don't. So please tell me, what would you put in the movie? What would you personally put in the movie to show me that revolutionaries are good?
I think Leo should
Any
have been minted
positive
on a coin.
outcome anywhere. It could even be
Yeah,
in the
give me one,
background.
give
It
me
could be
one, give me a
subtle. It could
specific
be
one. Like, you would
see
want
it on
Leo
TV.
to-
There's
What
a
if there was?
newscast
What
where
if at
something
some point?
positive
What
is
if at some
happening. There's
point?
maybe
What,
some.
what if at some point the girl had some kind of extended conversation with the sensei guy? She has no idea that he's a revolutionary, but she had some conversation with him about how important it is to do right by your friends and family, whatever bullshit. And then when her dad picks her up at the end, and they're talking about him or whatever bullshit, he also reveals, oh hey, by the way, like this guy is the only reason I'm here. Maybe now knowing that he's a revolutionary and seeing what her dad did and knowing what the other guy did, now she views that conversation in a different light. She's like, oh wow, like they're, these people are good people. And that's a contrast to her mom, who seems to be a piece of shit, who murdered some dude and then fucking abandoned her fucking family. Maybe, I don't know, that could be one kind of subtle way to have her review an earlier conversation. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think that would be subtle though. So that's
Okay.
that's the point I was making before. Like, you could
Yep.
probably infer, like, this is not a stretch. This is absolutely not a stretch. Like, she knows the events that transpired in the movie, right? You accept by the
It
time
doesn't matter. None of them are
leaves for a
meaningful. None of
protest,
them
you
are
know she
meaningful.
knows
None
the
of them are
events in the
meaningful.
movie.
None of them make any sense, and none of them are meaningful. So it doesn't matter. That's irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant.
It's
We know that
irrelevant because
she
you're trying to
knows
have
the
me
events of the
fanfic out a
movie. Like, she
conversation that
probably
would
by
make the
this
guy
point
sound
knows that
retarded.
Sensei's a
Hold on.
revolutionary.
You admit that
Like,
the
we
guy,
don't
you admit that
need-
Sensei's a bad person for sacrificing his entire Underground Railroad operation to help Leonardo
No.
DiCaprio save his daughter. No? Do you think
No,
that?
no, no.
Do you
I
think
think-
that the
I think
life of
that's
his
like the
daughter?
trolley
Do you think that
problem.
the
Like,
life
both
of
these
his
outcomes would
daughter?
have been
Do you
bad.
think that the life of his daughter was worth more than every single illegal immigrant that the Sensei guy was helping?
I don't think that. I think it's a trolley problem. I think.
Do you
both
think
of
that
them,
do you think that it was
any
worthwhile
choice there
then? Do
would
you
have
think that it
been
was
that
worthwhile
choice.
for him to sacrifice himself so that the Leonardo DiCaprio's character could save his one daughter?
I think it's a trolley problem. Like
Do you
I
think
said.
that
I
it was a
both-
worthwhile action for him to sacrifice himself for Leonardo DiCaprio to save his daughter?
In that moment, he seemed to think so. Yes.
Do you think that it was worthwhile for him?
Would I have done it?
I didn't
Would I
ask
have
that.
done
I'm
it if
saying,
I
do
were
you
him?
think it
Like,
was good? Do
maybe
you think it
not.
was a good action for him to sacrifice his entire Underground Railroad operation, or at least his position in it, for Leonardo DiCaprio to save his daughter?
Yeah, I think if he believed that that's what needed to be done in that moment, yeah. He is probably thinking that her life
If
needs
he
to be
would
saved,
have,
and
let's say
he's-
that he would have found 10 children and raped them, would you say that that's a good action or a bad action? And would you answer that question with, well, if he thought at the time that it was
No,
important for him to
that's
rape
not a
10
trolley
children.
problem. I said that his
There is no
his
trolley. I don't know why you're
like,
saying
his-
trolley problem. He chose to get in the car. He's not given a choice where he has absolutely no choice whether or not he can engage. He chose to help Leonardo DiCaprio's character. He chose to make he wasn't forced to make any
Yes,
of the
he chose
decisions.
that, but he didn't know for sure that he would get caught. Like he
He's
had to,
helping
he had to put
Leonardo
himself in the
DiCaprio
line.
run from the cops.
Okay, yeah.
So
and he
why?
sacrifices
So he
himself in that moment.
Why?
Yeah.
Why was it worth it for him to risk his entire position in that Underground Railroad thing just for Leonardo DiCaprio to help his daughter?
Because he had to save. At that moment, he decided that saving her life was more important
Okay,
than
this
his
is not an
other
answer
operation.
or an
Yes, he
engagement
did.
with my
But,
question.
like,
But okay.
So then, how does that
but
portray
it is a
revolutionaries
trolley
as
problem.
good?
Should he have just been like, no, fuck you, fuck your daughter? Like, I don't really give a shit. Like, no.
I'm asking for the why, and you're giving me the what. You're saying he chose to engage. I'm saying I'm asking how it was moral. Was it moral? And you're saying you're just telling you what he did.
Yes, it was moral. It's like I said, it's a trolley problem.
not a
There's no right decision
Why not?
because things are already in motion, and he decided.
Okay,
to
here's
jump in the
what
car
was
and
in
help
motion.
out.
Okay, here's the trolley problem. The trolley is on its way to running over one person. He has the opportunity to flip the lever so that it runs over 10 people. Should he flip the lever? And you're saying, well, he could do anything.
No. I don't think he was
that's
flipping the lever there.
It is. His position was he was helping the Underground Railroad people in the illegal immigrant, whatever the fuck bullshit, and he had the opportunity to switch over and turn the trolley to fuck all those people to help Leonardo DiCaprio's daughter. Why would he do that?
So wait, you wanted to listen, so okay, over here you're talking about like a plot nuance and why a character made a decision in that split moment, and I can't really tell you. To me, it just seemed like he thought this was more
split moment
urgent in that
decision.
moment,
I
and
thought
he
this
could
was supposed to be the
probably
calm and cool,
recover. That's
cool
my
and
thinking
collected
of
guy
why
who was
he
super
did it.
competent.
Yeah, he is super competent. He's competent in his domain. Yeah, he is.
Then why did he make this decision? That seems to be a really bad decision.
To you, it's a bad decision. To
Yes,
me, it
to
seems like
me, it's a
trolley
bad
problem
decision. How is it a
It does.
trolley problem
weighed the
decision?
two- he weighed the
Do you
two and he
understand?
decided
Wait,
that
what
it
do you
was
think
more
the trolley
important.
problem is?
He's a bad
Wait,
revolutionary,
wait, stop,
but he's a
stop,
good
stop,
friend.
stop, stop. What do you think the trolley problem is?
The trolley problem is you have two horrible outcomes and you have to pick one of them.
No.
And there's never going to be a good choice.
No, that's not the trolley problem.
Yes,
the trolley problem
that is
is
the trolley problem.
no, it's absolutely not. The trolley problem is at least numerically, there seems to be a much worse path that things are on, and you have the opportunity to diverge it to make a less bad thing happen to a person that otherwise wouldn't have been involved. Broadly
but
speaking,
it would both be bad. No. You're inserting the less bad thing.
No,
the trolley
no, it's
problem
less
is
bad by
famous
definition.
Because there is no less bad thing.
No.
No,
To argue
there
that
is
it's
no
less
less
bad.
bad thing.
No, to argue that it's less bad.
No,
you have
I disagree.
Okay,
I
you're just
completely
wrong. You're
disagree
wrong.
that,
You're
like,
wrong.
10
You're completely
people-
wrong.
no.
You're just completely wrong. You will never in your entire life see a version of the trolley problem where somebody says you're a train operator and you see that a train is headed down the track about to run over one person, but you have the opportunity to throw the lever so that the train switches tracks and instead runs over
Yes,
5 people.
That's why
Do
they
you
have
throw
that
the
little
lever?
addendum where they say that it's one person that is a Nobel Prize winner or your family member. That's
Sure,
why
but
they
it's
have
metric
that.
something. It's not the same. Like you said, it's not.
It's supposed to be. Can you divert from
Yes,
a?
but it's still difficult. And in this case, it's his friend versus people that he doesn't know. But it's still a trolley problem to me because in both these cases, something bad would happen. Like someone would die or someone would like lose the ability to be in the country. But in that moment, my guess is he thought the saving her life was more important than like
Sure,
saving
but
these other
then your
people.
whole overarching theme of you have to become a revolutionary is just completely undermined by the
No,
fact
it's not.
that this
He
guy,
makes
who is
a bad
the
decision
good,
because he's in a
earnest,
bad position.
competent, revolutionary
He's-
character, completely undermines his revolutionary tendencies to help his friend.
It's not to help his friend. The friend is only in trouble because he's a fellow revolutionary, by the way.
Well,
that's the only reason they're in trouble at all.
Not really.
So
No,
he's
that's
still
not really
helping
true.
a
That's not
revolutionary.
really true, right?
It is true. The only reason they're in this position is because they had to go into hiding.
The only reason in this position is
his
so
wife
white
was
dude
in this
fucked a
position
black
because she
girl
was a
and they had a kid,
revolutionary
right?
arrested. What?
The only reason in this position is because the white Nazi dude fucked a black woman. She happened to be a revolutionary, but that's not really the reason why any of this is happening.
I think his decision is a version of the trolley problem. I think he sees two bad outcomes and he picks one. He picks like one because he just decides that that's
We
more
are
important in
on
that moment.
motivated reasoning on a completely other dimension right now to try to get to this explanation. I think no part of this was a trolley problem presented.
So wait, hold on. So his operation, I don't. So when you say like his entire operation failed, what exactly do you mean?
His role in his operation, I'm guessing.
Yeah, his role in his operation. I think his operation would have continued without him either way. But
So I thought
mean,
that you
we
might
can
bring
set
this
aside.
argument, but the problem is that if you bring that up, then the whole point of him being hyper competent is completely undermined because now it doesn't matter because he can easily be replaced from one person to the next.
Competence. I don't think you understand what competence in this means.
Okay.
It
can
means
mean
that
whatever
he's
we
been
want it
doing
to
this
mean,
for a
apparently.
really long time and is
Yeah.
good at it. It
Yes.
doesn't mean that
meaning he's not
chooses
easily
not to put
replaceable
himself
from
in
one
risk
person to the next.
in another domain.
Okay.
Competence just means that he's been doing it for a really long time and has been good at it, been successful at it, but it doesn't mean that in like a split second he might not decide to go help someone else out or deviate from his script. That's not what
competent people
means
are
to me.
known for being impulsive and risking their entire operation.
So wait, when you think this
You don't like
was
flawed
put
characters?
together, when you think this entire script was put together, they missed that, or like what exactly do you think happened? So
Well,
to
I
me,
haven't read
it's
the
very
book.
obvious.
Do you-
It's very
oh,
obvious
I
that
thought
he
you asked a
chooses
question,
one
sorry.
out of two things. Like he had to put himself at risk and other people at risk, sure, but that's because he thinks that this person's gonna die. He's not sure that the other people he's putting at risk are gonna die for sure. That's what I took away from it. But like when you think the entire thing was put together, what do you think they were going for when he makes this decision? That he's evil, that revolutionaries are bad?
It can be whatever it means to us is what it can be.
Remember
Okay.
earlier when you compared it to Taken, and like now we have this character. You're saying the whole story is about like how like trying to inspire you to become a revolutionary, and then we have this character who's a revolutionary who undermines his revolutionary characters.
This movie is trying to inspire you to become a revolutionary.
Didn't you say you
never
were
said that.
inspired? Didn't you say you were
I
inspired
said
to
this movie
politically
shows you
engage
that
because of this
revolution is
movie?
always messy. Now, it's not my fault that you can't tell what the difference between both these things are. I've said it like at least 3 or 4 times that this movie already is catered to people who think revolution is probably a good thing, or at least political dissidence is good, or fighting against systems is good. It's for people who admire people like Martin Luther King, and who are not very critical of revolutionaries, even if they do wrong things. That's what this movie's catered to. It's not trying to sell you on a revolution. It thinks so you already believe these things.
So then,
It's not trying to change your worldview.
yeah, but like, but you're saying that like this movie is like, you're saying it's portraying them as messy, but it's just not, right? Like we just named like 5 negative characteristics, and like there's not like a
Messy means while you do good things, along the way some bad things might happen. That's what messy means, and that's what most revolutions are actually like.
Well, yeah, but messy, like the implication is like this person's like flawed, but like there's something that like is redeeming about them.
So do you think during the chaos of a revolution, people have like a running?
Do you think Martin Luther King is like he like or
Wait, no,
actually,
wait, stop.
Malcolm
The
X
easy
referred to
question
this.
is
Malcolm X-
what are the mom's redeeming qualities?
I don't think the mom needs to. So to me, the mom does not have many redeeming qualities.
Okay, so then she's
that
not
she
messy,
needs
she's
to.
bad. That's not messy, that's just a bad person.
I don't know if I'd characterize
That's
her
fine.
as
Then
a
you
bad
then
person.
don't
I
use
think
the
she's
word. Then don't
attracted
use
to
the word.
chaos. I
Then
think
don't
she's
use the word
attracted to chaos,
messy.
but
Then
she's
don't
not
use the word.
best role model.
Well,
She's not
if
the
she's not a
best
bad
role model.
person, then the question is, what are redeeming qualities to make her not bad? You agree that there are some bad things about her, right?
I think her attraction to chaos.
Do you agree
is
that there are
probably
some
not the
bad
best.
things
I
about the mom?
prefer-
Wait. Do
I
you agree
prefer
that there are
all
some bad
revolutionaries
things?
feel
Do you agree
passionately
that there
about
are
their
some
cause.
bad things about the mom?
Sorry, repeat that.
Or were there some bad things about the mom? Did she do some bad
Yes.
things? Okay.
Yeah, there's bad things about all of them. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Do you agree there are bad things about the mom?
Yes.
Okay. What are the redeeming qualities of the mom that make those bad things just imperfections or messy things? What
She's
are the
willing to take risks for the sake of a cause. That itself is a good quality.
Is that true though?
Yeah.
Okay, I
She is. She's
disagree.
willing to put
I think
herself
that
at
the
risk.
I could be wrong. Maybe I need to rewatch it, but the impression that I got was that she was not in it for taking risks for the cause, but there was some other
Yeah,
type
that's
of
the point though. You don't know. You don't actually know where the line between her attraction to chaos and her allegiance to the cause begins.
That's
and
why
ends.
that's why we look at the on-screen behavior. So we see that she's engaged in an extended sexual relationship with a guy that she knows is a really bad dude, and we
And that's
see
why I
that
said
she
she's one.
and we see
That's my
stop saying
takeaway
messy.
as well.
Stop saying messy. And we see that she engages, or I'm sorry, we see that she murders a guy for what I remember was essentially for no fucking reason. It's not like they were in some huge self-defense struggle. She basically shoots a dude for no fucking reason. So the idea that she was like attracted to the cause and willing to take risks for the cause doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be more that it was like a thing of
No, I just
self-service.
said her risk taking at all.
No,
Her willingness
risk
to
taking
take
is not.
risks
That's
for
not. That's
anything
not
is
a
probably
redeeming.
good
No,
quality,
no, it's not.
but
No,
you can
no.
obviously
Risk
twist
taking.
it. You can
Stop. No,
twist
risk
it. Like I can
taking.
say
No,
discipline.
no,
Hold on.
no.
Hold on.
I'm not gonna hold on. Risk taking for good causes is called risk taking. Risk taking to do bad things is called being impulsive. It's not a good thing. It's never seen as a
That's
good
not
quality.
true.
That is okay. Give me one example of
That's
taking
not true.
risks
Risk
for
taking
bad
things
things.
is impulsive. No.
Yes.
Impulsive just means that you haven't. No, hold on. Impulsive just means that you haven't put in a lot of thought into your risk taking. Risk taking with
Correct.
like assessment is just
When
risk
you
taking.
take, nobody takes risks to do things that are bad. What do you mean? That's just.
Yes, you can take risks. You can take calculated risks if you think that the outcome is more important than your safety.
What was the calculated risk that she took when she murdered the dude in the bank or whatever?
No, I think that was a bad thing that she did.
Okay,
I do.
what was the
But I
calculated
think
risk in hooking
general-
up with the with the white
let me-
nationalist guy? These are not risk-taking things. These are just bad
So,
actions. She
wait,
was.
I don't need every character to have like.
No one's talking about every character. You're broadening it. You're broadening it. You're broadening it. We're only talking about the mom. We're only talking about the mom. You're broadening it. You're only talking about the mom. We're broadening it. You're broadening it. We're only talking about the mom. What are the redeeming qualities of the mom? She does really bad things. What are the redeeming qualities? I didn't say I need every single character. Never said that. Nope. You said that she was a messy character. I'm asking you to justify messy over bad. Seems like she's just a bad person.
Oh, you just want to change the language from messy to bad.
Well, I want to change the language because those two things mean two different things. Wait, you agree that messy and bad are two different things, right? Messy and bad are two different things. Do you think that messy and bad are two? Do you think that messy and bad are two different things?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
think
so
they're
that's why I'm
different
fighting
things.
on the difference between messy and bad. I see her take at least 2 or 3 really bad actions in the movie. I don't see the redeeming actions in the movie ever for the mom.
So I wouldn't characterize her as a bad person because I can't recall the circumstances of when she murdered that person, on whether or not it was avoidable, or if you just think it was avoidable because you're like a third party and not in it. But I don't know. I don't
First
know.
of all,
I can't remember
definitionally,
exactly
we're
why she
literally
murdered the
all
person.
third parties. It's a movie, number one. But number two, I thought that and I could be wrong, but didn't her black friend didn't the people with her when she shot the dude, weren't they like, whoa, what the fuck? It wasn't like they were in a heated moment where they had to do some shit. I think she was like getting ahead of herself. She was like excited. She was like, don't, I thought it was some dude. She was like, don't fucking run or move or whatever. And she shot. So that wasn't like a justifiable shoot, and you could understand. She was
no,
like,
it wasn't. It wasn't a justifiable.
It was bad.
Shoot.
It was a
And
bad thing. It was just bad.
I have said that she's a messy person, but like if you want to elevate it to bad, yes. If I were to like calculate like like the aggregate, where does she land? She probably is a bad person, but she's not the only revolutionary in the movie. That's the point. She's not the only person.
I'm not. Yeah, but
She's
I'm saying
like
that for
one
the
of many.
mom, I don't know why the mom is messy. I feel like she was just portrayed as bad.
Okay, well, I'll grant you that she's bad. All right.
Okay.
Next. So so you find the rest of the revolutionary characters are also bad, or like what is your problem with the rest of them?
The problem is that for the rest, the Sensei character seems to be portrayed as a good character. I don't know why he makes the big sacrifice at the end or whatever. For Leonardo DiCaprio's character, his revolutionary stuff seems to be bad. His only good actions are in the capacity as a father, not as a revolutionary.
Yeah, we're not really sure. So because they had to go underground, we are not really sure what he could have done with the rest of his life if they weren't forced or if their locations weren't given up. So it does feel that he was derailed and wasn't completely with the cause, but he does have some redeeming qualities in his personal life. Yeah, that's true.
So then, I don't know what we're supposed to take from this movie. Like, oh, like revolutionaries are good, or there's some like.
Yes, but that's what I keep telling you. It's not telling you.
No, you're not telling me anything. You just say messy as a thing to not analyze any of it.
No. I don't think the movie is meant to tell you revolutionaries are good. You're supposed to know revolutionaries are good. They're good.
That's not art, then.
Political
It's not
dissidence
art.
is good.
Chill. Okay, I don't know what the point. Okay, I just don't know what the point is. Then if we're supposed to come in knowing the point of the movie.
I feel like you said the whole point of the movie was to say that revolutionary action is good, but you already have to know that coming in. So what is it actually saying or doing
Hold on.
in that case?
So the point of the movie is that revolutionary action is not going to be this perfect, like picture perfect, like, oh, I do a thing and then I have this great outcome of like everything falling into place. It's always going to be messy. That's what I've always said. I've never said that the
I don't know how to distinguish that
revolution
between
is
like,
good, but it is to steer you towards action. Yes, like the character, like the main character to me in the movie is Chase Infinity. What's her name? Willa. Like at the end, she finds a middle ground between the violence of her mom and like the complete checked outness of her dad, and she finds a middle ground. And that to me is what the movie is trying to tell you, that that's doable. Action is still doable, even though around you might see different types of revolutionaries. You can still find a middle ground that is good for you. That is the point of the movie, not to tell you revolution is good as like an overarching theme.
Now that's what I found a cool
settled
story, bro. Okay, can I go to sleep now?
Okay, well, I think I made my points.
Okay.
I mean, you could say you don't buy it. I think if you say that, oh, we find that it didn't portray the themes of revolution very well, I might accept that. But like to say that this movie had nothing to say about politics, I think that's a reach.
What was one meaningful thing it had to say about politics without using the word messy?
I think I've said it a couple of times now.
Okay, then say it one more time.
Sensei's actions.
No, what was that's a particular character. What was one meaningful thing? What was a commentary that this made on politics?
So you're gonna hate this, but that revolution is hard. Revolution is gonna be hard. Political dissidence is hard. You don't like the word messy, but it's always gonna be difficult. But you still have to do it. People have to do the work. I think that's the theme of the movie.
You know, they're all portrayed negatively.
Stop.
I don't think they're all portrayed negatively. That's something that you're taking away from the movie for some reason. Yeah, but I like that. I like that they at least showed like revolutionaries are flawed. They don't have to be perfect.
Not that they're.
What? Stop. Okay. Thank you all for joining for our 7-hour movie talk. Good job, guys. You did a great job. Be careful.
All right.
Okay. I love you all very much. Good night.
All right. Good night,
Have
all.
fun, bye.
All right. Good night.
Okay. I'm going to sleep. I love you. Be careful. We need to watch this movie on Kick at some point, okay? Stay safe. I will catch you guys next streamer now. Be careful.